it's close to the middle of the field.
I don't know if I'm supposed to care or not that he did or didn't run the 40 because he didn't, so nobody really knows how fast he is. And that was one of the.
Well, they know he's not very fast because he chose to not run the 40.
He wasn't healthy or he was coming off the injury.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He chose to not run it.
I just don't know, his speed as opposed to somebody else. I heard this morning the hope is that he's a Mike Williams type, right? That he's a a
bigger receiver who is maybe. How about this? When you hear about an NFL receiver, and it's always a receiver, he has long speed.
Right.
That's not a compliment. Long speed means what, Matt? It takes him about 15 yards to get up to speed, or he's a long strider. That's not good, people.
He's not going to beat you off the line the way Garrett Wilson might.
Now, I was going through that same Evan Neal thing last night. I want to give you what I think is true and is insight into, again, Scary Terry and all the scouts and everybody else. What if Evan Neal would have gone undrafted, not to 7, but he was still there at 8, and the team still took Drake London?
I wouldn't. That's not shocking to me. It's disappointing.
I was watching that last night unfold, and when the Falcons didn't take Charles Cross, I was like, I don't think they would have taken Evan Neal.
I don't routinely care about
that is a pink flag to me.
And that's a maybe. I was listening to the post-draft presser with Terry and Arthur, and Arthur said in one of his clips.
Oh, Arthur's giddy.
He said, I heard the word giddy.
He loves it.
Had there been a defensive player, Terry might have said this too, had there been a defensive player on our board that stacked up the way that Drake London did offensively, there would have been a discussion. So they didn't look at Jermaine Johnson. They didn't
Who was the next defensive player off the board?
Gosh, I'd have to look.
Wait a minute. I have this.
Cross was 9. Who was 10? We'll get the number, but they didn't value Kyle Hamilton the same way. They didn't value Jermaine Johnson the same way. Whether they're right or wrong, we'll find out. They just did not look at those guys the way they did with Drake on their board. So let's hope they're right about it because they've taken him. They need him to be great, but now they need so much else, and that's again why tonight matters so much. We'll talk a lot about it throughout the day today. So our night last night. Let me compliment Las Vegas. That draft theater they built right around the corner at the Link.
I got it figured out, man.
I don't know what the crowd was. I'm not good at projecting crowds.
They said 650 at first.
Well, no, they were hopeful of 600,000 the way they had in Nashville pre-pandemic.
Okay.
Talking to, again, some folks in the hospitality industry who always have a better feel just for how busy or how, compared to a New Year's Eve or a convention, they feel like it's a little lighter than that, but it doesn't matter. It looked awesome. The draft situation over there is great. People were into it. It was nuts. The whole city, every casino you go in, every restaurant, every spot, every lobby, everybody's in a jersey. Everybody's in a team shirt. So the NFL crowd showed up in a big way in Las Vegas. Now, after the draft was done, Chuck, we had the run of the city. This city was our oyster last night.
I don't know where you're going with this because I wasn't with y'all, but I will say if you were anywhere near the south end of the strip, you could own the place.
All right, well, so why wouldn't we start at Bally's? I mean, you've got Aria, Cosmopolitan, you've got all these beautiful, wonderful Wynn, Encore.
Instead, you choose a place with an 8-foot drop ceiling.
But that place had $10 craps. So the boys hunkered down at a craps table. And,
at Club Emphysema.
At Bally's. And
Matt started smoking last night.
I might as well have. I mean, honestly, the way the smoke
we were partying and
thank you, Kristen.
I got news for you. If I was there, watch Matt for me while I smoke these 3 packs. So we hunkered down at a craps table.
It was everything. I already see this. Everything but the plastic batting helmet with the 2 beers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's not even a question. Things started a little slow. Had to dig back in the pocket. Don't like digging in the pocket that early.
At the $10 table, you had to go back in the pocket.
Well, it doesn't matter you're at a $10 table, and I'm going to tell you why. Anybody who plays craps knows. I mean, real quick, you got a bunch of stuff on the table. So that $10 minimum, that's great.
You threw out a pass line bet and a couple of numbers, and then you saw the odds.
Well, I've got my
$10
pass bet. I back it up with my odds, and I got 30 there, and then you start covering numbers.
It's at a point where Matt starts going, what numbers do I have, Hoyt?
I lost track. How many times did I look at you that I lost track of what numbers I was?
That field bet pays double.
He looks at me and goes, you have everything but the 5 now. He's like, he's my mortgage broker, my accountant. He's like, I'm rubbing his hat for luck.
6 and 5, 15 to 1.
At one point, I'm like, I need a 5 and 6. He goes, you don't have the 5. I was like, let me cover the 5. So now I've got every come bet on the board. I've got odds backing it up. And the run began. It was a nice run. It was a very nice.
Oh, do tell me.
Now, the only thing that broke up the run
is some numbers and points.
Yes. The only thing that broke up the run was the amount of times I threw the dice off the table. I hit the stick man.
No. You didn't hit the stick man. You hit him in the side of the head. The stick man is up above the craps
he's
table.
the only one standing.
It's not like his head is down by the dice.
And he turned his head for a second because why would you think dice would? So I have this thing where I'll get some air under it and they'll bounce and hit the wall and kind of pop up.
Because of Matt, craps tables are going to be like MLB with nets,
nets.
all the way down the side.
Chuck,
like, literally, this was like a right-handed batter hitting the concession guy up and right down the line.
He had turned his head because why would anybody ever hit him? He gets hit, the dice goes 5 feet away. I went off the table 2 or 3 times, but to my credit,
Band-Aid, table 44.
I always get nervous after dice go off the table that, here comes the dreaded. But the roll continued. It was quite a roll. It was like, again, I don't bet enough where it's going to turn into big money. But
but you buy the odds, and I don't do that.
No, we didn't. Jersey Joe, who popped in next to me, by the way, I'm in the middle of a good roll. Some guy, he's so close to me, we might as well be in a relationship.
Oh, you don't do that to the shooter.
No.
Shooter gets a berth.
Oh, you saw this.
Matt just clued me in on the movie The Cooler. Is that the movie?
Yeah, with
Bill Macy.
Bill Macy.
I literally thought, okay, Matt's on a good roll. They just sent somebody over. So I take everything off at that point, and I'm down in the middle of Matt's hot roll.
Which is disturbing.
This guy is a cooler rat. The guy's hammered on Heineken. He's betting the boxman that he can have 24 within 6 hours.
Oh, yeah, I heard that. He wants to start drinking cases.
For $1,000, he will drink 24 Heineken.
He throws out a who's got 2 thumbs and
this guy. Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm getting the hell off this table in Matt's big roll still.
So it continued. It was
that's
nice.
not good etiquette.
So, but we finished up, had a good time, made some cash. That was good.
Then we wanted to upgrade with our winnings.
Well, hold on, though. We hopped over. Okay, well, there's a lot to cover.
Hang on. If you're backing up odds, though, you made a nice little roll.
Yeah, we had a nice time.
Even at $10,
no, it was good.
$25.
I had a nice time. Was it at Bally's that we played?
Nope, it was the link.
Okay, so then we go over to the link.
There's a game called Free Blackjack, Chuck.
You ever heard of this?
No.
If it's free,
because
it's got to be a good game.
Because there is not anything such as free blackjack.
So we sit down. This was the only table we saw. Link was packed because it's right by the draft. We were having dinner over there.
And we don't notice that it says Free Blackjack. We just read Blackjack.
Correct.
And we were like,
I
awesome.
gotta tell you guys, that's a hard pivot from Bally's.
Well,
now to the link.
So draft is
That's
over.
a hell
It
of a
is.
pivot.
Oh, we did some. We got our steps in.
We're not to the best point, by the
No,
way.
we're not the best. So we get to the link and we're gonna have dinner, but we were gonna play some blackjack first. It was one of the tables open.
Free Blackjack.
Next thing you know, and when I have to read rules on the table.
So the first hand I get dealt are sevens. And the dealer goes, you want to split those?
And against the 9, I look at him. I go, "Is she nuts?"
And then all of a sudden the table's like, yeah, split them, split them, split them. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And they go, it's free. The dealer pays for the split.
Have you ever heard of such a thing?
So if you have a $10 hand and you split to basically ruin it, they'll cover the second $10 bet.
But you don't. It's still. Put it this way: your one hand, you're still going to win. If you get the one hand, you're going to win it.
They will split any single double you have other than tens. They will split them and pay
Or
for
a
your
soft,
split.
or a soft with an ace.
So if you have a pair of 9s, they
it's
buy
split.
you
Correct.
into
Correct.
splitting a winning hand.
But
you don't have to. You don't have to take it. If you
no,
want.
but also if you have a double down hand,
Right.
Chuck, they will double it down and
For
pay
free.
for you for free.
Okay, now here's the other side. You ready? Here we go.
Why not just put it on like a fishing wire and just like?
Have you ever heard of this? The dealer wins on a push of a 22. I looked at her and I went,
There's nothing. 20.
"You're going to laugh at this."
How does a 20?
Okay, she pulls an ace, and I'm like, "That's a 2, and a 10, and a 10," and I went, "Pay me." She goes, "No, you pushed." I go, "What do you mean I pushed?" She had a 20 bleeping 2, and I pushed.
Oh, so this doesn't turn into the hand where she's got to take like 6 more cards?
It is I could have a 19 and outpoint. If that's not a bust in a 22, it's a push.
Did they send you flowers?
We're all looking at each other going, what are we doing? My head is exploding trying to understand these newfangled fakakta rules that we're trying to play free blackjack.
Like, did you get one of those like Derek Jeter autograph photos or something on the way out?
I mean, okay.
That's brutal.
It gets better, though.
Hang on. They couldn't have that game unless weed was legal here. I'm
not
serious.
wrong.
Like, I promise you there are games that debuted after marijuana was legalized.
There was a point where after going into the pocket a couple of times, I looked around and said, why are we sitting here? I mean, I was having the dealer was fun. Her blouse popped open at one point. She made a thing about that. At one point, she's like, "I'm going to change your luck. I'm going to put a mask on." I was like, well, I don't know how your mask is going to help my luck. So we got our tails kicked there.
She keeps telling Matt, by the way, as Matt's getting beaten, be positive, be positive. Matt's like, I'm positive this game sucks.
I'm positive you're killing me right now. So we leave there, have some dinner.
So she gets bullets, and you can't beat her no matter what.
It was I was Chevy
Like,
Chase. Changing 500.
Pair of kings.
She can, if she pulls a deuce, guess what? All right. So we go to dinner. We have, again, the night is still young. We have the whole strip at our disposal. Look around here. There's the Bellagio. There's Caesar's
Big,
Palace.
nice places, man.
Look around the corner. There's Aria.
Ocean right there.
Cosmopolitan.
All of it, yep.
Hoyt looks at me and goes, we're going to Ellis Island. Have you ever heard of Ellis Island?
Uh-huh.
I hadn't.
There was a big sign that said $2 blackjack, $5 craps.
Okay, there is hang on. There used to be a site called Cheapo Vegas.
Well, we found it.
And it would give a lot of the more, I think that the phrase was value properties.
Yeah.
And I think this was a value property. So go ahead.
You walk into Ellis Island, and it looks like it's 1922.
Yeah.
Like, we looked like those people were getting off boats looking for, a way to start our new life. And we found
You must have looked like Powerball winners compared to the clientele.
We found a craps table. One of the two craps tables. $5 minimum craps. Which sounds great because I can't lose much. You can't win anything.
Oh, you won $12.61.
Because I got a 5 and I'm backing it up with a 10. Oh, I'm getting some big odds. So we played there for a good hour, and one of our buddies with us, Kenny, made a friend.
Another friend, not the Korean.
It's half Korean, half Irish girl.
No.
Who's, by the way, what was her line?
She can do math, and she's lucky.
Right. And she started just giving money to him. Here you go. Here's another 25. She's all right. So he makes a friend who decides he's going to be funny guy and starts singing every time our buddy Kenny starts rolling the dice. Instead of Annie, are you okay? He starts singing every time.
Kenny, are you okay? Are you okay, Kenny?
Every time it was.
That doesn't get old.
Not at all. Are you okay, Kenny? Kenny, you okay? And I'm going to do this for a second. I'm going to invade your space. Kenny's rolling. He's in his face going, Kenny, are you okay? Are you? And I'm thinking, this is the most obnoxious human being on the planet.
Except for Kenny gets on a roll.
It was a nice roll.
And we don't care.
No, when you're winning, you'll deal with obnoxious. Like this dude, Seattle Seahawk jersey, knew everything.
Heater, though?
We're on a heater.
You've got to roll with it, yeah.
That heater paid off $64.
Real quick, I'm going to tell you, because this is why I have always capped my winnings, like what I am able to win. Because I said a while ago, you win numbers and points. I only win numbers. I bet 6-8 in the pass line. I never win on the point.
Right.
And the point, like if the point's 4 and you hit that, that's big odds.
That's nice. But I play 3-point volley system.
Not me.
So I have like 4-point numbers, 5-point numbers.
6-8 pass line, and I will grind out a win.
Here's how good Ellis Island is, by the way. Who is the guy that's handing out the money?
Boxman.
Boxman. The Boxman has no idea whose money is
how
whose
funny is this?
At this point,
he starts doing that. I don't know if we got paid or he paid us or we took money. This guy starts grabbing the dealer, the Boxman. This is your money. This is your money. There's money moving around. I have no idea. I don't think you got paid on 3 of them. He gave me your money. You took my money.
Go to the camera.
It's $5 table though, so I'm not going to the camera at this point. But then he starts betting Madden. Yeah, you missed your comeback. Let's come back here.
Oh yeah.
He just.
All right.
Oh, like saying, sir, you wanted 5 on this.
But then it was a little bit of an attitude, which was uncomfortable. So then I grabbed the dice, and the guy who's screaming, Kenny, are you okay? You okay? He gets in my face, Matty Ice! Here we go, Matty Ice! And he's screaming. And I hate this guy with such a passion right now. I'd like to throw the dice at him. But again, we're back on a little bit of a heater. You're dealing with it. It's okay. We're hitting some numbers. It's fine. I've never hated a person more than this, but in that setting, you're willing to deal with it. Thankfully,
the winning setting.
Thankfully, he walked away. We lost, and he's like, "No, you guys got to stay." He was actually a good, he had some good luck when he was throwing, but I was not about to wait for him again. The night ended. I couldn't deal with that guy. We walked away. Ellis Island, by the way. There's our recommendation. Las Vegas, $5 craps.
I will tell you that it is on Cheapo Vegas. It is ranked higher than only Travel Lodge, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That's tonight.
Uber does not pick up at the casino doors at Ellis Island either.
Ellis Island from $43 a night.
Well, I can understand it now after spending many hours there. So we'll see what the night brings us this evening, round 2 and 3 of the NFL draft. And then, gosh only knows what happens from here. But it's been a great trip so far. I saw some numbers that I wanted to share with you guys. Now, we know if you're a first-round NFL draft pick, well, you're gonna get paid. But the difference in being Trayvon Walker right now, and when this process began, the draft analysis, nobody had Trayvon Walker at number 1, so congrats to him. Nobody really probably had him in the top 5. But for being the number 1 overall pick, Trayvon Walker will ink a 4-year, $41.4 million deal with a $27 million signing bonus. To give you a little context and the difference, let's say you're Jermaine Johnson. And I'll use the dumb term for the sake of this. He fell to 26. He was projected top 10, top 12.
But he ran slow and cost him.
If you were in that range, you're talking about signing a $13 million deal with a $7 million signing bonus. Think about that for a minute. I just told you.
It's kicking the ass.
Trayvon Walker just got, here's $27 million for everybody doing the analysis, both the teams and everybody else saying, 6'2", 275 pounds, you just got $27 million. Jermaine Johnson might be the same beast that Trayvon Walker is, and he got about a third of the total contract and less than half the signing bonus. So it's not a bad night for the Johnson family, but it's a different night.
You want to go back in time 12 years? July 30th, 2010. Now, I'll give the Players Association credit. They did good. And we basically ended holdouts and everything else. Sam Bradford was the last player who was a 1-1 under the old CBA, the system where the first overall pick and rookie quarterbacks and all that would get broke off. 6-year, $78 million contract for a guy who had never played a down. The next year, Cam Newton was the 1-1, and he had like a $24 million total value. So compared to where Cam was, as I think the first guy who signed under the new CBA arrangements, where the Players Association is like, we got to stop. We have to reward the guys who have already bled for you. It's basically doubled in 10 years. And it still trails what Sam Bradford and Matt Stafford and Jake Long and everybody else was getting in the $75 million range.
If you want to put it even to more context, we mentioned Jamarcus Russell yesterday. If you want to do the rankings of the biggest busts, which I don't feel like, let's say he's the biggest bust. He signed the deal you're talking about. He only played 3 years in the league. Nobody ever picked him up again. I don't know what he did with his money or who handled his investments, but if he was smart, it doesn't matter. Because of the deal that they could sign back then, Sam Bradford never really accomplished much, being more than a tease in the NFL. He always looked like he could be a big player, but he signed that deal, and I think he signed another one.
He got paid by the Eagles, maybe, or
somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody gave him a deal. So the point is, this is still really good money, but it's not that stupid money that was being given out not too long ago.
And what you just said, stupid money. How stupid must the money be if it's the Players Association's? Hang on.
Right? Yeah, no question. Are you familiar with Houston Rockets owner Tillman Fertitta?
Yeah, he owns Landry's, a bunch of other restaurants. He is a U of H, Maca, and he's a seriously different sort of cat.
So he also used to have some, Vegas properties, and he might still. The reason I bring it up, news broke that Tillman Fertitta, the Rockets owner, is now going to take on Caesars Entertainment, MGM Resorts, and others. He has purchased land on the Las Vegas Strip with plans to pay $200 million for a 6-acre site and build right between MGM Grand and Caesars Planet Hollywood. like there's less room here. There couldn't be any less room between properties. He's going to pop up another high-end resort and casino in the middle of Caesars Planet Hollywood and MGM.
Well, he's a billionaire. Owns the Rockets, owns restaurants. He basically owns the University of Houston athletic department. I mean, he's their Arthur Blank. His deals work out.
Do you know the sad part?
What that?
The site currently holds a Travel Lodge motel. So now the cheapo Vegas site has one less resort. One less property.
Kidding? Are you making that up? So the only property that is below, the Ellis Island Super 8. The Ellis Island Super 8 is where you were. All right, do you want the skinny on Cheapo Vegas? Because for every hotel, they give you all kinds of breakdowns, prices, all kinds of stuff. And then at the bottom, there's a very short paragraph, the skinny. Ellis Island Super 8 Las Vegas is the locals joint that's as smoky as they come.
Oh, that's how you sell it.
And then they unfold it from there. So that's where you were gambling last night.
I love it. I did want to mention we've been so busy this week with 15 other things. I don't know how you guys have been, Hoyt. I don't know how you have or BJ or anybody else. I haven't spoken to my family. Like, I tried to FaceTime once. My daughter, I think she screened it. No.
Wow.
I tried to call my wife. She didn't answer. She texted back. And then that's sort of been it. My 9-year-old might be 12 by now. I don't know. The reason I bring this up is I got an email yesterday for an interview request from a writer at Atlanta Parent Magazine who's doing a Father's Day story that she says, I'm working on a story for Father's Day about advice famous dads in Metro Atlanta can offer to other famous dads. I'm hoping to speak to you about your thoughts on fatherhood. I should call her back from Vegas and say I haven't talked to my family in 48 hours. How's that for advice?
I haven't talked to my wife or children because I've been in Vegas.
Correct.
Gambling.
So how do you, I would say text when you can, FaceTime if you must. There's my advice to other dads in Atlanta for the edition of Father's Day, the famous dad edition of Atlanta Parent Magazine. Who are the famous dads in Atlanta? Is it going to be like me, Burt Weiss, and like who are the famous dads in Atlanta?
Hey, Cha-Cha.
Croy Bierman. Croy Bierman will be interviewed for this special edition of Atlanta Parent Magazine.
Famous for being dads? Because Croy is famous for being a dad.
Uh-huh.
He is, but he also played for the Falcons, a double win. So Atlanta Parent Magazine, which I have not read yet.
I didn't know there was.
I didn't know
I think
either.
This is part of it. They wanted you to talk about this.
Oh, well, then they win. Wait, have you talked to your family? Have you seen your children?
I called Lisa on my way over to the dispensary. And
The what?
dispensary.
You meant the ATM.
Well, you have to use cash there.
It's the weed Apple store.
He went to the Genius Bar for weed.
Now serving.
By the way, you're not missing anything, by the way. I call Lisa, so how have you been? First, I get the guilt immediately. I haven't spoken to you in 2 days, so. Okay, well, what's been going on?
Nothing.
Well, the kids are doing this. Okay, has anything? Nothing important has happened, by the way. Nothing important.
But you're in a time warp out here that it's hard. Like, the math of 3 hours is not hard to do Atlanta to Vegas, but of when to call and all that stuff. My kids, when I woke up, had been in school for 3 hours this morning. You know what I mean?
Hey, Dad's calling to see how you are. Algebra.
Atlanta Parent Magazine, I called and my kids were having lunch at school.
Daddy was hungover, so he didn't call until third period.
Daddy was on a heater at the craps table last night. I couldn't answer.
Well, BJ wakes me up.
Hey, want to put a hustle on that Bloody Mary?
BJ wakes me up this morning. He goes, "Hey, we got to get ready." I go, "What time is it?" He goes, 8:30. I go, "Our time or their time?" Like, I still haven't
I
figured
know.
the hell out, man.
Again, it's not, the math's not hard. Your body, by the time we adjust, we're back on a plane, back to Atlanta. So, Atlanta Parent Magazine, I will be proud to offer my advice to other dads on handling being a parent and taking it responsibly. If I talk to my kids again before the weekend's over.
Here's the cover of Atlanta Parent Magazine right now. 5 community pools that we love.
Awesome. Well, that's a good help. I like my community pool, but that's a nice piece of
That
advice.
mean like swim tennis communities? Or
Do people go to other people's pool? 5 Atlanta playgrounds with shade access.
that wasn't OPP. That was
Shade access. So, yes, the Atlanta Parent Magazine.
Is that just like neighborhood pools?
I don't know.
I'm going
That's
to
their
imagine
way of saying not a city pool where anybody can show up.
I'm going to imagine these are public, like, go to the Lifetime Fitness pool.
I don't think those are public.
Dial up that, get to the bottom of this if you would, please. I want to find out the 5, what was the
No, the
title?
public pool is like Park East in Lawrenceville.
What do you got? Because I bet these are going to be like, wait, what's that Cherokee place we took the kids to? The Splash Pad or whatever it is?
So I got Murphy Candler, number
Okay.
1.
There you go.
Piedmont Park Pool, number
There
2.
you go.
Brown Mills Aquatic
Yep.
Center.
All aquatics.
All
Cherokee
right.
Aquatic. That's what I'm
Like
saying.
Mountain Park.
Yep.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, all right.
That's what it is. All right, very good. All right, coming up next, today was a good day for Bo. Broadway and the wide world of sports. We'll tell you about it next.
Stream all your favorite shows, podcasts, and the biggest play-by-play in the South on the all-new 680 The Fan app. It's totally free and loaded with the best sports content in the entire South. Driven by Beaver Direct, the fastest and easiest way to shop online for your next vehicle. Visit BeaverToyotaofComing.com and see
Life
what
is full of
wow really means.
Life is full of challenges, and sometimes you're not expecting a challenge to pop up. You thought you were going to live happily ever after in the perfect marriage, and it just didn't work out that way. But you don't know which direction to turn and the first step you have to take. Well, if you're considering divorce, I don't want you to wait till it's too late to visit areyoubravenough.com to schedule a consultation with Hobson & Hobson Divorce and Custody Law Firm. Hobson & Hobson's focus is helping their clients make the best legal decisions during the most challenging time in their lives. Hobson & Hobson will always rely on its special litigation training and expertise in divorce and custody cases that will help you with an efficient, effective outcome while protecting your parental rights and protecting your finances. Before you file for divorce, you need to speak with an experienced divorce attorney, and you don't want to wait till it's too late to visit areyoubravenough.com to schedule a consultation to see how Hobson & Hobson can help you. Their goal is a simple one: help protect your finances and always protect your parental rights. Child support cases, child custody cases, you need the expertise of Hobson & Hobson fighting for you. Visit areyoubravenough.com to schedule a consultation today.
Jaron Solomon here to remind you that Mother's Day is May 8th. Make sure Mom knows how much you appreciate her with a sparkling gift she'll love from Solomon Brothers Jewelers. As a bonus, we're giving you something the whole family can enjoy too. Solomon Brothers is giving you a free Big Green Egg Grill courtesy of Georgia Spa Company with any qualifying jewelry purchase. Shop our selection of diamond tennis bracelets, diamond stud earrings, classic pearl styles, or vibrant gemstone jewelry. Solomon Brothers' large selection means you'll be sure to find something on her wish list. Already found Mom's gift? You can still pick out something beautiful for that upcoming birthday or anniversary for this special woman in your life. She deserves the best, and why not get something for yourself while you're at it? For all the details on how you receive a free Big Green Egg Grill with your qualifying purchase, visit Solomon Brothers Jewelers in Buckhead or Alpharetta, online at SolomonBrothers.com, or on Instagram at Solomon Brothers.
Convenience is defined as the state of being able to proceed with something with little effort or difficulty. Well, at RBM of Atlanta, we embody this philosophy. Meet our Mercedes-Benz pickup and delivery service. It gives you back time and money. Does your Mercedes-Benz need service? If so, we'll pick up your vehicle that's requiring service from your home or office and bring it back to our dealership for the required service. With over 100 appointments available every weekday, over 50 appointments on Saturdays, and more than 200 courtesy vehicles in our fleet, we're here to serve. We'll work around your schedule. We're here to save you time, energy, and money. Find out today why we are a 2021 J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence, a 4-time winner, and Atlanta's only 6-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best winner. We're proud to be Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964. Pickup and delivery service restrictions do apply. Ask your service coordinator or service advisor for details.
Energy efficiency, comfortable temperatures in your home, security, less maintenance, more curb appeal, saving money, peace of mind. If I told you one home renovation purchase could help you with all those things, what do you think it would be? Time's up. It's your garage and entry doors. Call All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors today, and we'll come out and give you a free consultation and show you how much changing your doors can improve the quality of your life. Check us out at allfourseasonsgarages.com or call us at 770-517-7078.
Wendy's knows a better breakfast starts with a better biscuit. That's why you can get a hot and buttery Wendy's breakfast biscuit with bacon or sausage, fresh cracked egg and cheese for just $1. Get your Wendy's Buck Biscuit Sandwich today. Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. You've heard the latest news, traffic, and weather. But there's something else you should hear. Consider getting a COVID-19 booster, as recommended by the CDC. Brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
The latest news on demand. This is the Fan Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Dan Matthews. The Braves are in Arlington starting up a weekend series with the Rangers tonight. Ian Anderson throwing against Garrett Richards. 6:80 game day going to start at 6:05. This update is brought to you by Bruce Hagen.
Hey, this is Bruce Hagen. If you've been in a car wreck, insurance companies immediately get to work to try to fight against you. Let me help you balance out the tables and make sure you get a fair recovery. Hagen-law.com.
Rounds 2 and 3 of the NFL Draft coming up tonight in Las Vegas. As of right now, the Falcons have 2 picks in the second round, 2 in the third. The league-leading rugby ATL looking for revenge when they take on LA tomorrow. That's going to be at 3 o'clock over at Silverbacks Park. It's a rematch of last year's MLR championship. We are your flagship home of the world champion Atlanta Braves. This is The Fan, and you're also listening on the Fan app.
No barking from the dog, no smog, and Mama cooked a breakfast with no hog. Today was a good day.
That was a good day.
It was a good day, Buck. It's a good day for Chuck and Chernoff live in Las Vegas. We are high atop the Paris Hotel at the Chateau nightclub. You can watch us on our 680 The Fan YouTube channel. You can watch us on the 680 The Fan app. Behind us, you'll still see this beautiful setting of the Bellagio Hotel and the fountains and the NFL Draft stage as we prepare for day 2 of the NFL Draft, which begins at 7 o'clock Eastern Time tonight with round 2, followed by round 3. On this day in 1918, Tris Speaker tied a career outfield record of 4 unassisted triple plays. How does that happen? I'm trying to do the math. 4 unassisted triple plays. Was he just running around tagging people in the outfield? Baseball was played very differently.
A diving catch.
And then he just did it himself?
Bases loaded, diving catch.
Interesting.
And the guy on second is already at third. The guy at third was already at home. And
this feels like Little League where everybody just runs and doesn't realize, oh, do I have to stop and just keep going? Were we playing that style in 1918?
Can I tell you something about Tris Speaker that I think is pretty cool?
Can you save it for the break?
He had a habit 3 times in his career. He was on base during a rain delay. When the game restarted, he started on a base further along.
Oh, nobody's paying attention. That's what I mean.
It's like an hour and a half later, and so he was on second. He just walked out third. All right, let's go.
1961, ABC's Wide World of Sports debuted, giving the world this memorable theme and this introduction.
Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport. The thrill of victory. And the agony of defeat.
The helmet popped off right there.
I mean, but for the time,
that poor ski jumper, when he flipped off the end of that.
It stayed on the open forever.
And right on that note is when he hit the ground and his helmet popped off.
And the agony of defeat. We saw more different sports. That was the first time you saw Wimbledon.
First time I saw the Harlem Globetrotters.
That was always a big one on the Wide World
it was
of
good.
Sports.
I saw Evel Knievel. You got to be of a certain age, but Evel Knievel played big, man.
You had F1 racing shown for the first time. All these different things. Wide World of Sports was intended to be a fill-in show for
it was awesome.
A single summer season until the fall sports came back, but it became wildly popular. The goal of the program was to showcase sports from around the globe that were seldom ever broadcast on American television. It originally ran for 2 hours on Saturday afternoons, but as the run went along, it was 90 minutes and stayed there for 4 decades.
It also gave birth to ABC Superstars competition,
which I loved.
If you don't know what the Superstars were, it would be like today in some off-season because nobody was getting paid. It would be like if you had an athletic competition, swimming, biking, obstacle course, and Mike Trout, Ezekiel Elliott,
Carl Lewis,
like the best of the highest paid profile guys would show up because, hey, I can win $25 grand.
And it was on Saturday afternoons, and it was just always, you always had somebody, if one of your local guys happened to be on there, it was always fun to root that guy
But it would be like Pete Rose versus Joe Frazier in a sprint final.
You would have an NBA center against an NFL running back, and everybody was in great shape.
It was unbelievable.
You know, 1967, Aretha Franklin released her single called Respect.
Oh,
went on to win the Billboard Song of the Year. The song has often been considered one of the best R&B songs of its era. It earned... Thank you, very good. Aretha Franklin, 2 Grammy Awards in 1968 for Best Rhythm and Blues Recording and Best Rhythm and Blues Solo Vocal Performance by a Female. She was also inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame with the song in 1987.
You had a Winging This Idea question about 2-3 months ago, greatest female singer, and I said Aretha. I'm not kidding. I said she could hum into a microphone they put on record. She stole the Blues Brothers movie in a 5-minute scene.
Well, this wasn't her original song. This was Otis Redding who sang a Respect originally. She made it into this hit.
And gave mainstream birth to the term propers.
How many times?
Give me my propers.
How many times at a wedding has the bride, before you get on the floor at the first dance, she's out doing this, and the poor groom's in a chair, everybody's laughing. Or was that just me? Anyway, 1981, Philadelphia Phillies left-handed pitcher Steve Carlton joined the 3,000 strikeout club. For the Phillies, listen, there weren't a ton of great times. They had a few in the early 80s, give him a little something.
I want to say I never liked him, but he probably never liked me either because I'm in the media.
He didn't like many people.
No, he was unpleasant.
He was ornery. 1986, Boston Red Sox pitcher Roger Clemens struck out 20 Seattle Mariners in a 3-1 Red Sox win. Now, just as impressive, Clemens didn't walk a batter in the complete game win. I mean, think about that. 20 Ks, doesn't walk a batter. I don't know what the pitch count was. That's unreal.
That record is safe.
The 20 strikeout record? Didn't Kerry Wood match it? I think Kerry matched that with his 1998.
Ain't nobody touching it.
1986, friend of Chuck, Auburn running back Bo Jackson became the first pick of the NFL draft by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How'd that work out?
Do you know the main reason he wouldn't sign with them? Hugh Culverhouse, the owner at the time, told Bo it was okay to come to a personal workout in Tampa, so he sent the plane. He knew that it would make Bo ineligible for the spring baseball season because he didn't want Bo to injure himself. And so Bo was like, all right, I'll go play baseball. And they said, no, you won't. And then he showed up in Memphis.
They did.
Playing AA baseball.
Yep. 1988, the Baltimore Orioles, and I remember this, they ended their record 21-game losing streak by beating the White Sox 9-0. They started the season 0-21.
Is that Cal Sr.?
Yes. Do you know how hard that is to do? Just statistically.
You can't.
Like 0-21?
Can't.
Congrats to the Orioles. 1995, the final broadcast of the NBC show Empty Nest aired on a Saturday night.
Funny
show. Empty Nest was a spinoff from Golden Girls. They were the neighbors of the Golden Girls. It ran for 7 seasons, covered 170 episodes. Syndication dollars were probably very good. The show's star, Richard Mulligan, won the Emmy in 1989 and the Golden Globe for Best Lead Actor in a Comedy Series. The series received a number of Emmy Award nominations and wins, along with Golden Globes for show, for actor, supporting actor, including Park Overall, who always stole that show. As the nurse in that show, she won a Golden Globe and an Emmy, was nominated 3 times for both awards. 1995, the longest sausage ever made.
Go ahead.
Measured in at 28.7 miles long.
I thought you were going to go hey now, but
Hi-O, is that work?
Yeah.
Was made in Ontario, Canada. My question on all this is, what made you think this was the time to decide to make the 28-mile-long sausage?
Well, it was only 22 miles when it started.
So they had to keep going?
You know,
and why do you stop at 28?
It got provocated, and then...
Wow. But, don't you want to go to 30 at that point?
A really big tub of mustard went by, and
feels like you're a shower, not a grower at 28.7. I don't know.
It was really cold
1996, the Broadway hit Rent, starring Idina Menzel and Taye Diggs, opened for the first time at the Neverlander Theater.
Oh, I had a better punchline.
Too late.
Give the length on the sausage again.
Are we going to try this again? All right,
I got a better one. Go ahead.
1995, the longest sausage ever made, measured in at 28.7 miles long.
It was 35, but then it got cold.
Too much build-up.
All right.
Too much build-up. Back to the Rent story already in progress. On Broadway, Rent gained critical acclaim, won several awards, including a Pulitzer Prize for drama and the Tony for Best Musical. The Broadway production closed on September 7, 2008. 12 years their run, making it the longest ever running Broadway show. The production grossed over $280 million, then would become a motion picture starring most of the cast of the Broadway show, and the movie actually did very well. Did a good job.
I hadn't seen the show or the movie. Have I missed out?
So it's a wonderful show.
Right.
It's one of the great shows ever. Yeah, BJ.
Everybody from the original cast went to the movie with the exception of Rosario Dawson.
Rosario
character,
Dawson.
which-
Jeez.
Pauline Vega
Yep.
was the Broadway actress, but she looked too old.
Did she really? Rosario did a good job. I love me some Rosario Dawson. Yep. Taye Diggs was in it. Idina Menzel. Everybody else came back. Anthony Rapp.
Yeah. And then I forget the other guys.
Yeah, everybody was back.
Pascal.
Very good. Nice pull. And in 2018, the animated series The Simpsons surpassed 635 episodes, which passed Gunsmoke, making it the highest number of any series ever on TV. The Simpsons, now in their 33rd season, they've done 724 episodes. At one point, The Simpsons was Fox's #1 show and one of the top 30, which for Fox was a very big deal to have one of the top 30 in the Nielsen ratings. The Bart Simpson Mania, which remember Bart Mania became a thing in the early 90s.
Yeah, hit record.
It became a merchandising success of dolls and shirts and everything else for Bart Simpson. And here it is today. Is that show, when did they decide enough's enough with it? It's
It's still consistent.
I don't watch it anymore, but to people, is the writing as good?
And it is an adult show.
Oh yeah.
As much as it is like there really is a bunch of stuff that a fourth grade boy probably can watch and laugh about. But it's an adult show.
Yeah.
It's
still holding up. And sadly, now it's been 108 days since anybody around here decided they wanted to win a title.
This is ruined a perfectly good day. I just washed my car.
Y'all hear that?
The Fan is Atlanta's one and only home for Atlanta Braves baseball. And Saturday mornings are loaded with the best baseball staff in the South. Kick it off at 8 a.m. on Hardball with Chris Domino for all the latest news from the week and interviews with the biggest names in baseball. Then from 9 a.m. to 11, it's 643 with Dylan Short as we keep the Braves talk rolling. Stream the biggest Braves coverage in the South and every pitch of the 2022 season totally free on the all-new 680 The Fan app.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind. Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
No matter your learning style or experience level, Babbel has lessons designed for you that will get you speaking quickly and confidently.
I tried learning Spanish before, but I couldn't stick with it until I found Babbel.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said now we speak Spanish.
I can't wait to use our new language skills on our upcoming adventures.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Body Armor Edge is sports hydration with a boost of caffeine. Get your edge and take your game to the next level. With 100 milligrams of caffeine and 1,000 milligrams of electrolytes, Body Armor Edge is boosted hydration that will keep you going through the last buzzer or finish line. Plus, it's got potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, B vitamins, and no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes. It's more than just a sports drink. It's Body Armor Edge. Get your Body Armor Edge today at your local Kroger.
Hey Atlanta, Sarah Beth Brown and Tom Glavin here, talking about Brown & Company and diamonds.
Pretty much when you think anything diamond, you should think Brown & Company. Their diamond selection will meet your every need. The quality, the pricing, the design, Brown & Company has it all for you and your loved one. So when you're ready to pop the question or upgrade her diamond, be sure to go to Brown & Company. Trust and transparency is what they believe in, and diamonds are their specialty.
Make her diamond dreams come true with Brown & Company. Holcomb Bridge Road in Roswell and Peachtree Road in Buckhead. See you soon.
The only thing better than cheering on your World Series champion Atlanta Braves is cheering on their championship greatness with a mountain cold Coors Light. Whether you're cheering at the Battery, the park, or your home and your living room, make sure you're maximizing your fan cheering and chilling potential with the official beer of the Atlanta Braves, Coors Light. 2022 Coors Light Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
We know you'll love the beer at Red Top Brew House. That's a given. But you'll also love the amazing food made in our from-scratch kitchen. We are famous for our fish and chips and grilled wings, and we serve the best Sunday brunch in North Georgia. Conveniently located in downtown Ackworth, visit redtopbrewhouse.com.
Who's ready to take a trip to the dark side of the moon? Head over to Stillfire Brewing in Swanee on May 7th for the Hopnoxious Block Party with headliners Interstellar Echoes, Atlanta's very own Pink Floyd cover band featuring a fantastic jaw-dropping concert and laser show. The all-day release party for our most popular beer will feature fire dancers, gladiator jousting, axe throwing, and more. And don't forget the special release of Stillfire Brewing's third iteration of our double-sized freak of an IPA, Hopnoxious. On tap and available to go in very limited 4-packs. Tickets available now in the taproom or online at bigtickets.com. Use promo code HOP, H-O-P, for 20% off.
Atlanta's only home for Braves baseball.
First pitch swinging, hits one deep down the left field line. Back there towards the wall. This might leave the ballpark. It does.
WCNN North Atlanta, a Dickey broadcasting station. Your 12-year home of the Braves. The Fan.
Na 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 na. It's Chuck and Chernoff. Na 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 na. It's Chuck and Chernoff.
3 o'clock on the dot, you know what that means. It's time for Matt Atlanta and the King, yeah.
Na 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 na. It's Chuck and Chernoff. Na 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 na. It's Chuck and Chernoff on the Fan.
Driving home Atlanta is a traffic jam, but we got Chuck and Chernoff on the Fan.
Na 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 na. It's Chuck and Chernoff. Na 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 na. It's Chuck and Chernoff on the Fan.
It is indeed, as we continue day 2. Live in Las Vegas, we're at the Chateau nightclub, which has become a day club. Oost for us, as we're high atop the Paris Hotel, overlooking Las Vegas Boulevard. Behind us, the Bellagio, the Fountains, and the NFL Draft Stage, which again prepares for night 2, rounds 2 and 3 this evening of the NFL Draft. You can listen to the show on the radio, on the 680 The Fan mobile app. I would invite you to check out the YouTube channel or the 680 The Fan app to see this unbelievable setup, this background on a beautiful Friday in Las Vegas, where temps again are in the low 80s as we prepare to see what the Falcons can do, coming up with 4 picks in rounds 2 and 3. So a lot to look forward to there as we get going. We're with you till a little later tonight. We'll take you through 6 o'clock, and then we'll give you a 680 game day before the Braves are in Texas against the Rangers. Our 3 o'clock hour is brought to you by This Stuff Matters. Listen to the new This Stuff Matters podcast posted at 680 The Fan's website, under the podcast header, or at thisstuffmatters.net. Hi, Charles. That's where you talk.
Hey, Matt.
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Yep.
Can I ask you a question?
I would love you for to ask a question.
Up or down right now, so far, trip-wise?
I'm up.
Good for you. I am as well.
Yeah. Now, my goal is I'd like to leave more up, but if I don't have to – what's that? If I don't have to go into the ATM machine again, if I, brought what I spent and, spent, I'm fine with it.
All right, fantastic.
It's okay with it. It's been a good time.
All right.
Had a good run. We'll see if it continues. 2 more nights is risky.
Oh, yeah, and I don't have any more outstanding money. I had outstanding money last night in the draft, and it came in. Jamison Williams, under 14.5.
This guy.
And then I did a little dealerless craps this morning.
Why wouldn't you?
It's the one where, you push the button and the huge dice pop up.
It's him and the 382-year-olds
who don't like
the pressure
of the table.
Oh, it's the best.
So it's like the big boggle thing. And so I played that, and I won as well, so I'm having a pretty good
Can I tell you the machine that you need to check out? It's right at the front of right before the lobby at MGM. Imagine if you were at Stars and Strikes or Dave & Buster's playing the claw game, but they have a claw game with little, eggs of money.
Oh, I've seen that. Those little plastic globular things that you have no chance.
None. Nobody at Stars and Strikes wins the bear. You think you're going to win the balled-up $100 bills?
I've got, the claw. I'm trying to get a stuffed animal.
Right.
I can't get it to dig in that.
No.
You've got these plastic globes that they spray Rain-X on.
Correct.
And I'm supposed to but it's full of money.
Everyone gets picked up, and it looks like it's coming over to you. Oh, and it just slips out at the end. Here's another 50. So that's maybe the next thing in your future. In the Falcons' future is USC wide receiver Drake London, who became the 8th pick in the draft last night. I got plenty of thoughts. Front Office Lowe's will join us with plenty of thoughts on the Falcons pick, on the way the board played out in round 1. That pick by the Falcons began a run of 6 wide receivers that were taken in the top 20, which is a new NFL record. Incidentally, the Falcons, as I said, will be very busy tonight. 2 picks in the second round, one at 43 and one at 58. 2 more picks in the third round, one at 74 and one at 82 if they make all 4. The beauty of having 4 picks, it's a lot of draft capital to move around if they decide they like another player. So the 6 wide receivers went, which is a new draft record, after 5 defensive players were selected in the first 5 selections. That's only the second time in draft history that's happened where the first 5 selections were defensive players. It only happened the other time in 1991, which this is pretty funny to start looking back at some of the names, but that's the first time that's happened in over 30 years. And with the picks of Derek Stingley Jr. at 3 and then Sauce Gardner at 4, it's the first time since the 97 draft that 2 corners were selected in the top 5 picks. It was a very weird, no quarterbacks at the top, just an odd set of circumstances early in the draft.
I have told you, you need to treat top 3, top 5. I'm on it. Worst draft ever. Top 5 picks, they are NORAD codes. And you have to draft a player who we can win a championship because of him.
Agreed.
He's that type of guy. Cornerback, he's in even that position unless you are Deion Sanders or Darrelle Revis or Champ Bailey. And I mean, that level of player, You can't do it, and you had two teams do it last night, and I'm sure that both of those guys, and I love Derek Stingley, I'm sure both of those guys are going to be really, really, really good NFL players. That's not how you win titles. That's how you reveal yourself to be a bad franchise.
I would agree with you, but I would also
Jeff Okudah at 3.
I would add the wrinkle of this. So much of the team-building process has changed to where some teams don't even look at the draft anymore and value it the way you and I were brought up to believe the draft was. Like, I'm watching the Rams press conference last night with Sean McVay and Les Snead, and I think they were having the bag. They're just laughing and having a big time. Well, we just won a championship. We don't pick in the first round. We'll let you guys know when we see
drafted this thing.
Correct. I tend to agree that I want to build interior to exterior in the draft, but these teams have gone such a different way about acquiring those pieces of the puzzle. We feel like we're good enough that we can find that in the third round. We didn't used to be that way. We feel like we can do that.
It still is a measure of where you select, like third, for instance. And I said, Derek Stingley, I thought he was going to be the first corner. Absolutely, and that's what it kind of rebounded and became. It's the position that at that spot, it's just not going to result in the return. There is no possible way.
But I think these teams' evaluation processes are so different that
you still measure it against who you could possibly get. When I'm picking third, that means of all the draftable players, only 2 are gone.
Think about it this way, though. There was a time and place in the NFL where we were taking running backs commonplace. When I tell you how much things have changed, the value of the position is different, and it's hard for some to accept because I'm sort of old school about this too, that we're going to face 4 corners. We need 2 good ones. Well, what about your pass rush? Yeah, we think we can scheme that up, but we have back end that we think can cover. Whether they're right or not, that's how they go about it. And teams, I think, routinely, I'm going to use one of these dumb draft terms, Chuck, they used to reach because they knew the value of the position. Yeah, on our board, he was number 14, but he played offensive line. We need one. We'll take him at 3. These teams are not willing to do that now. Right or wrong, they're not willing to bend the way those old teams did.
Also, did you see the contract that Brown got?
You mean A.J. Brown, 4-year, $25 million a year? No, I don't know I don't know what the guarantees were.
It is a normal thing now. That is one thing. Do you remember we brought that up last week? Said that there is an emerging trend in the NFL that if you do choose to invest the 8th overall pick in a receiver, what's happening now is teams get like a 3-year look-see at a guy. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't developed around him, there are teams that will say, hell yeah, here's some premium assets for the guy who's just about to cost us $25 million a year.
Do you know the other reason, though, that Tennessee had to do this? Go look who got really expensive. Ryan Tannehill is not, you're getting him for value. He's one of the highest cap guys on the.
And Jalen Hurts is playing for beans.
So we can now afford the receiver. We talked about this yesterday. The acquisition business of wide receivers, it's never been easier to go get somebody in their prime who can step in and play. Like, the Titans were like, okay, let me look at this.
If you're willing to pay the freight,
sure.
Absolutely. Someone will hand you an all-pro receiver.
Think about it on both perspectives. Philadelphia's like, we could take a maybe at 18, or we could just pay A.J. Brown because we have a cheap quarterback. Let's do that. Tennessee's like, we have an expensive quarterback, and we need a wide receiver. We're going to take one. The whole construct of wide receivers has changed, which is another reason why the Falcons and 8 doing what they did is a head-scratcher for me, even if he was the best player on their board.
And that's why I presented it last week as it is a bailout. And when you need a bailout, when you went a little too far than you probably should have. And I'm telling you, when you have so many damn holes and you spend the 8th overall pick
on that position,
holy smokes.
When you can get that position, they're about to have a ton of money next year. They could take in somebody else's receiver who's already plug and play because they got expensive.
What I say about corner, you better be Dion or Darrelle Revis. Wide receiver, you damn well better be Calvin Johnson.
Or Julio Jones.
Yeah, sure, Julio. You at least have the bailout coming that in 3 years, if Drake London balls out and you realize, he's about to cost us $25 million.
The problem is you spent the 8th on it. You can't bail out after 8. You could do that if you – where was A.J. Brown taken?
He might have been a second-round
pick. A lot easier to move on when you can get a first-round pick and then not pay him. You took the 8th guy. So that, to me, when you move him 3 years later because he gets expensive.
But that happens. Like
hold
Jalen
on.
Ramsey was a top
wait a minute,
pick.
Chuck, you're acting like if you're the team, then we're dumb because we were hoping he was going to be good. We knew he could be expensive if he got good, and we have money. Like, everybody always brags about keeping their own. Keep our own. Pay our own. They're not going to have an expensive quarterback in 3 or 4 years.
If you have not developed around him, but he balls out, that's when the Falcons say, all right, he's about to get to be $25 million. Let's trade him for 2 second-round picks.
Great.
And then we'll reset.
You're not making me feel better.
It was Stephon Diggs and the Vikings. They were like, you pay him, we'll take Justin Jefferson.
It was a record-setting night for Georgia last night. They set a new NFL record with 5 defensive players taken in the first round. That tops 2006 Florida State and 2004 Miami. Trayvon Walker 1 to Jacksonville. Jordan Davis 13 to Philly. So happy for him. I thought his reaction was great. I feel bad he has to go to Kincaid land, but good for Jordan. Quay Walker to Green Bay at 22.
Always liked him. Always looked at him and went, man, if he played more.
A lot of people were wondering if he and there was Devin Lloyd talking all this stuff. Last week, you started hearing Quay might be the guy that
if he
is the number one linebacker. Devontae Wyatt, 27 to Green Bay, so they get a couple of dogs. And then Lewis Seen, 32 to Minnesota. I love the Lewis Seen story. So
Nakobe's still out there.
Nakobe's still out there.
He
George
could have been
Pickens.
a sixth guy on the defensive side of the ball.
Nakobe, Pickens, Channing Tindall, James Cook. Keep going. Jamari Sawyer, they just have players that are still there that are, to me, ready to step in and play for somebody and help out. So we have a ton on the draft today. Front Office Los will be with us all throughout the day, just to kind of recap, look ahead, do all the stuff, previewing round number 2.
For whatever it matters, he put a skin on the wall with the Trayvon Walker thing.
Yeah. I'll give him credit, too. He called the Derek Stingley 3. Yeah. He thought Stingley was going to be the surprise pick, and he was 100% right. A couple of thoughts on the Braves last night. It was all about the Ronald Acuna return, but, again, it became the Kyle Wright story. Here's why last night is different for me. Braves win 5-1. They win their first series. Kyle didn't have his best stuff. And I think that is such a big deal when a pitcher can not only get through, he pitched 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, around 4 walks, but struck out 8 again to lower his ERA to 1.13. I've heard pitchers say all the time, it's easy when my stuff is crisp and it's going. The tough stuff is grinding when those aren't there, and Kyle did that last night. I am so bullish right now on where Kyle Wright is, and all of a sudden you found yourself a lottery ticket. Not because he's a top 5 pick. What I mean is nobody expected this level of production right now from Kyle Wright. He might be one of the big stories in baseball.
I was asking about Kyle Wright. We'd had Ben on from Northport or whatever. I was asking about Kyle Wright in terms of him performing as the 4th starter or performing as the 5th starter. Right now, he's performed so far as the 1 starter, even ahead of Fried. Now, that numbers don't matter, but I'm just saying what my expectations. I was saying, hey, can he elevate to be the 4th starter? Yeah.
I never care about the numbers, but I agree with the way he's pitching. His confidence level must be through the roof. He has a 1.13 ERA with 34 strikeouts. He's top 4 in all of baseball in ERA. He's top 2 in strikeouts. This is silly what's happened.
Now, I'm going to say also ahead of a road trip, good night to say, hey, bullpen, I'll go 7. I'm not panicking yet. I would like to see a good start from Charlie.
I wouldn't. I still not. I'm
not panicking, like I said.
No, this stuff's too good. Acuna's return. Love the standing O. People were so excited to see 13 back. He ended up going 1 for 5 with a single, 2 stolen bases. You just see the energy that he brings, and I think it's not coincidence. Bottom of the order had their best night of the year. Dansby Swanson at the bottom is like, who's on deck? Oh, that guy. Dansby hits a home run, has 2 hits, and let's hope that's the beginning of a breakout for him. Austin Riley, Duvall, and Dansby all left the yard. It was nice to see Duvall hit his first home run. Marcel had 2 hits, 5 runs, 11 hits. That looked more like the Braves offense that we were expecting. And again, 1 game, but having Ronald back certainly makes a huge difference.
Nobody on with Riley. Was there anybody on with
Duvall? I don't know.
You get 3 bombs.
It was on behind me while Craps was happening. I know I had the 6 and the 5 covered. I don't know if the bases were covered for Duvall.
Duvall had a 2-run shot. Darno, I think, was on base.
Listen, I'm in Vegas. I'm trying my best.
So
how about you don't ask me questions in the middle of a Vegas show? Ask me how Craps went. I'll give you answers.
So you're right. Good power display. Still hadn't been scoring a ton of runs.
Well, that's why the 5 and 11 made me feel good last night. We'll see. Ronald after the game was like, I don't know who told you I'm not playing tonight. He's like, I'm playing tonight.
He's supposed to be off tonight.
Yeah, he was supposed to be off, and they're in Texas tonight.
Did they announce the lineup yet?
We'll take a peek at that when it comes out. I have not looked. Again, you're asking me questions in Vegas.
Oh, I apologize.
You got to stop that. New rule, Chuck doesn't ask me questions in Vegas.
Because after a night at the Ellis Island Super 8.
And Bally's.
Which, by the way, we had a listener, text Hoyt or tweet Hoyt in defense of the Ellis Island Super 8. Hey, it's got a pretty good steak dinner.
All right.
Did you say for the price? Okay, because if you said for the price and it's like $6.99.
Do you know what else it had? $5 craps. And that was enough for this crew last night. We had ourselves a big time. Breaking news. Dodgers, or former Dodgers, starting pitcher Trevor Bauer has been suspended by Major League Baseball for 2 full seasons, effective immediately. Damn. Wow.
That's like $90 million.
I'm trying to look at see
for something that
is anybody else on a 2-year that
Los Angeles County declined to pursue.
Yeah.
Much less like lose in court.
Damn. Tonight the Braves are in Texas. 3-game series begins with Ian Anderson against Garrett Richards. The game is yours on the Fan at 8:05 and the Fan mobile app. We'll walk you right up to the action with 680 Game Day and the Ford Leadoff Show because we wanted to. Management said you could be done normal time, and we're like, no, we want to stay for Game Day.
Yeah, what did we agree to?
To host Game Day with Domino.
Okay, and so we'll be here and just be a regular thing, just different.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That's good.
It's all good. We'll make it all happen tonight.
Can I back up to the Bauer thing one?
Sure.
Wasn't it like 3 days ago? He went chest out, taunting Major League Baseball's commission. He's like, hey, they cleared me. They're not going to charge me. Time for you to act. And he was thinking
they acted.
Manfred was going to go, okay.
Trevor, you didn't get arrested, but you have the right to remain silent.
Wow.
Just be quiet.
That's like that $85 million fine.
All right, let's get our winging it idea.
It's time to wing it. Brought to you by Wing & Burger Factory. With over 50 Atlanta locations, find yours at WNBFactory.com.
We'll take your winging it idea answers today at the Harrah's Cherokee Casino's Twitter feed. With the NFL Draft first round behind us, we figured it's a perfect time to find out who would be your fictional first-round pick in an NFL Draft. Any fictional football player you would take number one off the draft board. You have a wide array of TV shows and movies to choose from. Can I go with the backfield? Will you judge me for going with the backfield? I'm going to go with the backfield of Al Bundy and Forrest Gump. I've got my straight-ahead guy in Forrest Gump. As long as you give him a destination, he's going to get there. The blocking assignment has to be right. And with Al Bundy, he scored 4 touchdowns for Polk High in a big game. He is a guy who has a nose for the end zone. So I'll go Bundy and Gump as my backfield.
I think I'll roll with Charles Jefferson, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I like the edge guy, the pass rusher. Especially you wreck the Corvette. What are you going to do? You're going to set Jefferson loose.
Well, that's the key, right? F with his car before the big game. He gets emotional. Brian Hoyt.
Ohio State quarterback, played in a Rose Bowl, got injured. Johnny Utah.
Johnny Utah.
Federal agent Johnny Utah.
We're going to let him sit out a year, rehab the injury, and then we'll start there.
You're back ready to go, Brandon Joseph.
Ohio State quarterback played in a Sugar Bowl, Shane Falco. Then I'm moving back in to the first round to pick up Smash Williams, running back.
You get value.
Yeah.
I like it.
Did one guy play 2 different fictional
you didn't know
Ohio
that?
State quarterbacks?
And
I didn't know where they went.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know it was ever determined where Johnny Utah
and
went.
When it's Keanu Reeves, there's not going to be much spreading of his actorial wings. Like, he is what he is. That's what you're getting.
All right, Keanu, remember when you played the Ohio State quarterback? It's basically all the same here.
It might as well. Keanu, remember Speed? Remember Bill and Ted's?
Okay.
It'd be Keanu. Dan Matthews.
I am going to go with Steamin' Willie Beeman from the University of Houston.
Dual threat. I love it.
Lady dreaming.
David Holloway.
I'm going with the most underrated player on the Mean Machine in the longest yard. I'm going Cheeseburger Eddie.
I got the shakes that'll make you quake. I got the fries that'll cross your eyes. I got the burgers that'll... I just got burgers.
Very good. So who's your fictional number one pick in the NFL Draft? You'll send that to the Harrah's Cherokee Casino's Twitter feed. Front Office Los has all the winners and losers, all the projection to round 2, all that stuff, and all the jewelry and all the things coming up in 10 minutes. Coming up next, I told you I was going to die on this Falcons hill. Now I'm officially dead. Rest in peace, Matt. I'll tell you about it next.
This is Tom Gray, and the 3 o'clock hour of the world's best sports talk is brought to you by This Stuff Matters. We're here to help you make the most out of what matters most. ThisStuffMatters.net.
When you're having any company, any individual out to your property to do some work, certainly a job like taking down trees, there are some boxes to check. Licensed, bonded, insured. Check here, and I can assure you with ChopMyTree.com, answered all the really important questions. Yes, yes, yes. Chop My Tree is my tree removal company, and every item is crossed and dotted just like it's supposed to be. ChopMyTree.com goes beyond that, though. You're going to have certified arborists come out to your home. You're going to have Jaws at your disposal, a safer, innovative tree clearing machine. ChopMyTree.com is also there for you with tree trimming and tree pruning, property cleanup after heavy storms. It is chopping trees, but it's so much more. Including information, go to ChopMyTree.com. Tab right across the top says tree ordinances. Wherever around the city you live, you're going to know up front, well in advance, What needs to be done before the tree comes down? If you got an issue with a tree, first step, online. ShopMyTree.com.
O'Reilly. When you shop O'Reilly Auto Parts, you'll get the parts you need when you need them. Order online at O'ReillyAuto.com and choose same-day curbside, same-day pickup, or same-day delivery powered by DoorDash. Now available at participating stores near you. Trust the professional parts people to get you the parts you need today. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's not from the window to the walls. It's from the floor to the gutters. Hey guys, it's Finn here.
And Xander.
And my guys at the Atlanta Painting Company have yet another great special.
Through April, every flooring project comes with a 12x12 room painted for free.
That's because you guys do it all, right, Xander?
Damn right, Finn. On top of the free room, flooring jobs are also 20% off.
What?
And like you said, we do gutters too. Ask about our specials when you call.
1-800-PAINTING or AtlantaPaintingCompany.com. The Atlanta Painting Company.
The painters, flooring, and gutter folks you can trust.
Hi, Subaru of Gwinnett Hotline.
Hey, I'm on SubaruofGwinnett.com right now. Are these prices real?
Oh, they sure are. And you're going to pay less at Subaru of Gwinnett.
Yeah, but...
No buts. Just low prices and a huge selection right at your fingertips.
That's so awesome.
I know, right? Next caller.
Hey there, what about trade values?
Subaru of Gwinnett pays top dollar. And with Subaru's trade-up program, you could be driving a new Subaru for less than you're paying right now.
I'm on my way.
You chose Subaru because you know Subarus are built to last. And you know all about Subaru's legendary safety, reliability, and all-wheel drive standard in most vehicles. So now, the only decision you have to make is where to buy your Subaru. And that decision is easy. All right, time for one more call.
I just gotta say it. Subaru of Gwinnett was the best car buying experience I've ever had.
Subaru of Gwinnett, home of the world's happiest Subaru customers. Start your search online right now at SubaruofGwinnett.com. That's SubaruofGwinnett.com.
If you suffer from obstructive sleep apnea, you know getting into bed doesn't always mean getting a good night's sleep. And if you've tried CPAP or other treatments for your sleep apnea, but haven't had lasting success, you may be interested in a new clinical research study. Doctors throughout the United States are conducting the DREAM study. The study is for an investigational device designed to treat sleep apnea without hoses, masks, or machinery. To learn more, please visit dreamclinicalstudy.com. That's dreamclinicalstudy.com.
Thompson goes flying in and ducks one over the extended hands. Lyle off to Bomberry. Bomberry buried. Jackson from way outside. Mosley try for the dunk. Oh, baby.
The Georgia Swarm is looking to sew up its sixth straight playoff appearance on Saturday, April 30th against the Philadelphia Wings. Sting City will be rocking. Come out to Gas South Arena in Duluth to see pro lacrosse at its finest. For tickets, just visit GeorgiaSwarm.com.
The latest news on demand. This is the Fan Sports Center.
On LA tomorrow. That's going to be at 3 o'clock over at Silverbacks Park. It's a rematch of last year's MLR championship. We are your flagship home of the world champion Atlanta Braves. This is The Fan, and you're also listening on the Fan app.
Broadcasting live from Las Vegas are two guys who went to bed at 8:30 Eastern.
I'm old!
It's Chuck and Chernoff live in Las Vegas for the NFL Draft.
God, I wish that was right. I'd feel so good if I went to bed at 8:30. Tired AF is a good way to describe it, but that's what it's supposed to be. Live in Vegas, Chuck and Chernoff with the backdrop of the Bellagio Hotel, the NFL Draft stage. Those beautiful fountains on a 80-degree Las Vegas April afternoon. As we're coming to you live at Chateau Nightclub, high atop the Paris Hotel. You can watch us on the 680 The Fan YouTube channel or our 680 The Fan mobile app. You can have a button right there to take a listen or watch. We'll be with you until the Braves and the Rangers get things going tonight for Game 1 of their 3-game series. The 3 o'clock hour of our show is brought to you by This Stuff Matters. Listen to the new This Stuff Matters podcast posted at 680 The Fan's website. You'll see it right under the podcast header or at thisstuffmatters.net. Carlos Medina, front office host, joins us in about 5 minutes. We're going to do another rapid fire, a bunch of questions for him on round 1. Looking ahead to round 2, how his board played out, because he had a good night. And I always tell you guys, he puts that work in as much as anybody I've ever seen at breaking down the tape, and he'll tell you what's still best available heading into round 2.
All right, talk about just a brutal outcome if you're a fan, NFL fan. Now, check this. This was not Adam Schefter with 3 Fs or the non-blue check. This is from Adam Schefter with 9.4 million followers. Raiders had 3 first-round picks in 2019. Raiders announced today they have declined the 5th-year contract option on all 3 former first-round picks from 2019. Cleveland Ferrell, Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Abram. Holy smokes. I guess that's why maybe the GM is not there anymore.
That's part of it. That's Mike Mayock. It's also the guessing game that is this draft. And if I'm a team, I'm not doubling down just to try to pretend we got it right. In this case, it's a new regime, so you're right. All right, so let me start here with the Falcons. I was very vocal and honest about this for weeks, if not months, leading up to last night's first-round pick at number 8. And it's nothing against Drake London. Folks, I haven't seen Drake London play a full game. I've seen highlights. And in highlights, he looks awesome. So what I'm going to tell you has nothing to do with Drake London. What I'm going to tell you has to do with the Atlanta Falcons. They exhaust me. They exhaust me in a way that perplexes me, that confuses me. And I want them to be right on every move they make. That's the team I root for, and they exhaust me. Terry Fontenot just backed up his draft philosophy last night that he is best player available. Fine. Now, doesn't mean it was the best player available. It was the best player available to him. The Seahawks at number 9 went, funny, our best player available was Charles Cross, and they grabbed him at number 9. Drake London might be great. He really might be. But unless he can keep the quarterback clean, unless he can now double as a defensive end or an edge rusher, get pressure on the quarterback, I don't think it's going to accomplish much in the short term. Here are 4 things that have to happen for the Drake London pick to be a difference maker. Not for him. Drake might be a Pro Bowler. Kyle Pitts was a Pro Bowler. Drake might be a fantasy player that's a joy to watch. So was Kyle Pitts. For Drake London to really be impactful for the Falcons in winning games, they first have to find the long-term answer at quarterback. That's 1.
I've told you that's the part that scares me.
Then number 2, they have to fix the offensive line. Then number 3, Arthur Smith has to really be a difference-making play caller. And last but not least, Drake has to be good. Like, that's the stuff that has to happen. Let's say Marcus Mariota's okay. He's pretty good. I don't think he'll stay healthy, but he's pretty good. You're going to have him for a year. You're still going to try to find the next quarterback, I think, even if they end up sticking with Mariota long-term. There's a chance Drake London in his first 2 or 3 years catches balls from 3 different quarterbacks. Think about that. Doesn't mean it can't work, but there's a transition period you're going to go through.
You invest that sort of pick, and I'll just give you an example. The Lions got it right with the quarterback and Calvin Johnson and still never won anything. It's just not really – they were 50% of the way there. They got it right at QB.
But I want to make this clear for Falcon fans. Like, I know fans have no patience. The likelihood is Drake London's going to struggle a little bit his rookie year. Typically, pass catchers –
Most receivers do, yeah.
Or just pass catchers. Yeah. Like, Kyle had a good rookie year. Kyle didn't have the year that some were hoping because they had these ridiculous projections of touchdowns and catches. He had a really good year. Typically, though, Roddy White. Like, it doesn't happen to all of them. Jordan Jefferson popped.
Oh, it's normal,
It's normal, though, for most rookies to have.
A little less normal.
But you transition, and there's a struggle, and it's speed, and it's playbook, and it's all those things. And if that happens, I feel bad for Drake because people are mad at the Falcons for not taking another position. Then they're going to apply it to him during his rookie year 4 games in if he hasn't exploded already. So there is that part of it. But when I look at the roster building process, every team has their own way of doing it. I just want a one-time root for the team that believes in your term, the bricks and the mortar, the interior of Charles Cross, had they taken him. He starts at guard this year. I really believe that. They don't give Caleb McGarry a 5th-year option, which now maybe they might. We'll see. And then after Caleb is allowed to walk, you move Charles Cross to right tackle. Then maybe, I don't know, maybe Jalen Mayfield's still here and they feel like he's developed and now he's my right, or he's my guard. And I can now go out in the free agent market and address other things. Instead, I'll ask you, who's your starting right tackle in a year?
Barring a 17-game improvement, not Caleb McGarry, and I don't know who it will be.
Who's your guard?
Maybe a rookie next year.
We know Chris Lindstrom's one of them. Who's the other guard?
Maybe a new rookie.
Well, because Jalen Mayfield was drafted in third. Okay. Who's your center?
Second-year guy.
Okay. Very good. So who is rushing the passer off the edge?
Well, they only had 19,
I think.
19 sacks, and they lost 8 of those in the offseason. So.
Right. So we don't know who either edge is.
I don't know.
And again, the draft didn't end last night. They have 4 picks tonight in the second and third round. But the way the board was going to break, I really thought there would be an excellent choice of wide receiver in round 2. And I still think when they get to 43, there'll be another receiver there that you would go, wow, that's great value where they got him.
Sky Moore, the kid from North Dakota.
I know this sounds.
There's a lot of good talent. You're right.
Chuck, there's a dumb thing I'm going to say here. They can't take a receiver at 43. They shouldn't, because they just spent value at 8.
They absolutely can.
They can, and they
might.
might.
Actually makes sense for a guy who does something different. Like, I mean, a high octane, like 4.3 guy. And I'll just say that as a guy who's,
great. Let's take a whole wide receiver draft. We'll just take them all.
I'm not advocating. I'm saying it would make sense to kind of round things out.
When I say you can't, you can't. You have so many things to address.
Mm-hmm.
And at 43, let's say it was George Pickens. If I told you the first 2 picks were Charles Cross and George Pickens, do you know Falcon fans would be jumping for joy of stud tackle, big-time potential at wide receiver. Now we move on to pick 58. I don't think they're feeling that way.
If the Falcons had taken a quarterback in the first round last night, whether you think the guy's going to work out or not or whatever, how would you feel about a receiver at 43 or whatever? Be different.
Of course.
That already addressed one need.
Absolutely.
I told you, this is the part that scares me a little. What if Coach Arthur and other folks really believe they have addressed quarterback?
They might.
We're talking about they have so many needs, this, quarterback, etc. What if in Flowery Branch is like, quarterback, well, we already taken care of that.
Oh, play callers and offensive minds always think they can. They did it with Ryan Tannehill. They think they can do that. Yeah. My last point before we get loose.
And maybe he lays hands on Marcus and he becomes a Pro Bowler.
At that position of wide receiver, it's never been easier in the history of the league to take somebody else's who's in their prime who they don't want to pay. And the Falcons are about to be rich in a year. NFL rich. But they decided we're going to spend on 8. You just saw the Tennessee Titans trade away A.J. Brown. You know what the Eagles were like? We could take a receiver at 18. Or we could just take theirs because we have money. And we get a plug-and-play A.J. Brown in his prime. We don't care about the money. We have the money. Let's go pay him.
They were telling the truth about being committed to Jalen Hurts because now, well, they got a quarterback making like $6 million or whatever.
Here's the one thing I wonder about, though. And I don't want to get lost in the weeds of the Eagles. What this is Jalen, we're giving you a bunch of stuff in a year to prove it.
Yeah,
We might draft another one next year if you prove you're not, but we're giving you a bunch of stuff to work with. So it's never been easier to go get DeAndre Hopkins or to go get Tyreek Hill or to go get any receiver you want who a team who has an expensive quarterback is not going to pay, and we invested 8. I hope they're right. I want them to be right. They exhaust me. They effing exhaust me. Every time I think, well, it's going to change now.
I told you, man.
And it's nothing against Drake London for the 50th time. I don't know anything about Drake. It's the position.
Your brain may melt right out the side of your head when the next receiver is announced. And I hope that doesn't happen because it's going to make it hard to do the show. But when you look at there's, as you said, there's so much talent that you may have a GM look at, I don't know, John Mechie.
Of course.
And go, damn it.
He's too good to pass up.
What are they?
43, 58, 74, 82.
58. At 58 and go, that's not even our pick.
I know.
You know what? John Mechie, hell yeah. And then your brain is going to ooze out the side of your brain, ears.
And I don't have much to work with, so I can't live that life. All right.
Wandale Robinson is still there. Mekhi Polk, Calvin Austin. Calvin Austin be a good pick.
Sky Moore, Christian Watson. There's a bunch on the board. Round 1 is in the books. Round 2 is upcoming. There's not one guy that I would turn to for more on this stuff than our man front office Los.
He's the man that knows the cap, bonuses and all of that. He's the one that gets you good. Front office, so don't give a word. He's the guy who knows the law, can't put him against the wall. He's the guy with all the answers. Matt and Chuck are backup dancers. Front office, knows it all.
All brought to you by Entry Point Doors and Windows. Let's change the windows in your home. You know you need to. You've gotten the letters from the HOA. Let's get this work done with Entry Point Doors and Windows. They've been doing this for over 20 years here in Atlanta. Just go over and sign up for the free estimate. EntryPointAtlanta.com. By the way, guys, we're over at Academy and Conyers for their grand opening, and I now have what I think is going to be the internet sensation of the weekend. they have one of those 360 cameras that you see when people are on recruiting visits.
Right.
And Adam Gillespie took one of them shirtless.
Why wouldn't
Awesome.
It's beautiful. It looks amazing. I can't wait to share it with you.
Yeah.
It's got to stay on brand. So let's start off.
Let's start with the Falcons here, and I want to get your thoughts on the way the board played out, where you had Drake London. You probably watched a hell of a lot more tape on him than I have, so give me him, give me where they took him, and kind of how the board played around them.
This is what made me a little bit crazy because Drake London I have as my number 3 wide receiver. I felt like Garrett Wilson is a better player. I like Treylon Burks more than I like him, but he's a good player. He's deserving of a first-round pick and definitely was going to be right around in this range. The part that makes me crazy was that in the first 9 picks of the NFL draft, I had my top 8 players go off the board. So I felt really good about where it was. The one team that did not pick somebody that I had in my top 8, top 9, that was the Atlanta Falcons. And so I had Drake London at 17, but the rest of my top 8, Walker, Ekwonu, Hutchinson, Neal, Cross, Gardner, Thibodeau, and Stingley Jr. were all off the board by that time. So, like, again, my top guy on the board at the time was Charles Cross, and it's just staring at you. And they decided that they were going to go with the receiver. I'm not knocking the player. I, too, am knocking the decision because in this round, if we get to 43 and there are some good quality receivers on the board, I will tell you that there is not another starting capable plug-and-play right tackle, left tackle in this league right now at this part in the draft like there was when you were talking at number 8.
Maybe it is a case of, like, you could have a guy same height, weight, speed, everything. Well, we just like this guy. Maybe it's just Drake London, we think he's a better receiver. But do you believe, Carlos, that London being picked when Jameson Williams was still available, does that reveal that Terry and whomever else has input is about big players, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, or do you think that they were maybe backed off of who the best receiver in the draft was because of the injury, which really shouldn't be a concern because Jameson Williams is going to be running around at mini camps and OTAs and whatever else?
I think, Chuck, they have a profile, and what we're seeing is that they like the best available player that they have on their board and that they do reward size. And we've talked about that. If you're going to make a mistake with size. That is one of those deals where you talk about some teams that don't draft small corners, some teams that don't draft guys that have a shorter arm length or won't take left tackles that are not a certain size. Yeah, I think that what we're starting to see is that they have a profile.
Front office Lowe's, Carlos Medina is with us live out there at Academy Sports and Outdoors. He's with Chuck and Chernoff on the Hobson and Hobson Newsmaker line. So it sounds like the top 10 played out mostly the way you thought. Talk to me about, let's say, 10 through 20. Did anything surprise you about where a guy went or what a team jumped on in that range?
No, and that's the fun part. I was looking through so far with my top 50 board, and the only player that I have, there's only 2 that I have in the range from 10 to 20 that are left on the board. Everybody else left. If you want to even talk about how things finished with Kenny Pickett at 20, I had him ranked 25th. That's not a giant surprise. I didn't think that he was a first-round guy.
Can I ask you, Kenyon Green? You had Kenyon, because I mentioned taking guys out of the SEC, everything being equal, the other day, and I rattled off Texas A&M, and somebody said, who's the A&M player capable of a first-rounder? I said, I don't think Kenyon Green's a first-rounder, but somebody could. I really didn't think he'd be a top 15 player.
No, I looked. I had him and I had Zion Johnson both at 30 and 31. But we got to that point in the draft where it's we've now almost exhausted all the guaranteed first-round guys. Now it becomes eye of the beholder. What do you like? What kind of profiles for you? The only 2 guys that I have in my top 20 that are left, one's Nakobe Dean at 18, and the one that's obvious is David Ajabo, who I have at 14. I think that's going to be one of those redshirt years, and I would not have a problem, if we're being very honest about this thing, if the Falcons did that at 43 and sat him for a year, that's a top 15 player that you'd be getting.
Well, I'm with you. I would do the same thing. We're going to find out if the Falcons have any patience. Because the last 2 years, I think they took players who they think are going to get something right away, which maybe matters to them. And I'm not saying it shouldn't matter, but that would be a thing to think about with Ajabo. Los, the Malik Willis thing that played out where he doesn't get drafted last night. Matt Corral, Desmond Ridder, do we get a run early in the second round? Do teams trade up? What do you sense is going to happen with the quarterbacks?
I definitely believe so, because I think what we're going to see the last couple of capable pass rushers within the top 50. Ebiketie from Penn State. That's going to be one of those players I think that's going to go very early in this round. But when you want to just talk about rankings, like I had Malik Willis over at 22. I have Sam Howell at 36. I have Matt Corral at 38. I would not be surprised if we had a bunch of these moves. Even a team like Seattle, who's holding, I think it's 39 and 40 right in front of the Falcons. I would be surprised if one of those picks is not quarterback, considering the work they put in on quarterback this offseason.
No, a lot more fun to look ahead because Falcons got 4 picks. 4 picks right now is what they have. But I want one more quick look at what happened yesterday. Quay Walker, I always was really intrigued with. I was like, man, if he just played more snaps. Well, he got to play more snaps last year. And he's 6'4" with really long arms. And to me, that's passing lanes. That's covering any tight end in the league. Tell me what you think about Quay Walker and the Packers deciding, hey, we're going to go to Athens.
A stud, and
no.
I think that's the challenge here. When you look at the film, it screams this guy is a top 50 player. I have him in my top 50 board. He was actually 40th overall on my board. Them getting him in the 20s, I was like, fine. When you just look at how clean he is as far as the size and the speed, I can see where they looked at it and said, you know what, Nakobe Dean's got a couple things that we're not so crazy about. This guy kind of profiles a little bit more, and he's a bigger version than you would have gotten had you gone with a Devin Lloyd, who, oh, by the way, that's an older player too at 24, soon to be 25. So they went with a younger, faster, bigger athlete.
Los, let's peek a little bit ahead to round 2. As Chuck said, they'll, on the board anyway, right now, pick at 43 and 58 in round 2. They have 74 and 82. I might be surprised if they take all 4. Like, I think they're going to package something to try to move up. And to your point, the question becomes, is that a quarterback or one of those pass rushers? You mentioned the Penn State kid. There's a kid from Minnesota. Like, there are 3 or 4 pass rushers left, but I think they're going to be snapped up at the top of the second round. Could the Falcons move for one of those 2 positions?
Definitely. The extra third round is a big-time help. If you want to talk about, what did we get out of the Matt Ryan deal? You might have gotten your future pass rusher. Because overwhelmingly, the pass rushers come out of the top 50. You're not going to find a whole lot of third-round, fourth-round guys that are, 8, 10 sack players. It's just very rare to get that in this league. So if you want to just take a look at a couple guys, like I said, Arnold Ebiketie is one of the guys from Penn State. You also have Logan Hall, who's a big defensive end over with Houston. Those are the first couple that I would say right off the top of my head that you can go with. And also, by the way, another player who's really intriguing that's going to be in this round, I like Christian Harris as a linebacker, and I like him as a linebacker who also can time out blitzes. The younger guy, the guy from Alabama, he's a lot of fun to watch. I think he's going to go off pretty early in this round, too.
And then, of course, as you mentioned, David Ojabo is one to watch. Do we see one of the 2 running backs that everybody's pointed to, Breece Hall or Kenny Walker, come off somewhere in the middle of the second round?
Yeah, I think that they are going to be off by the second round because they're the 2 that profile as far as they're not just big guys. They both ran sub 4.4. They're fast for being this big, and so but the entire running group back group is fast. A guy, when we talk about James Cook, he ran 4.44, and that was like, okay, that's really good speed. There are faster, bigger dudes in this draft, so that's something to look for. I think when it comes to the end of this third round, if you're looking to land some Georgia players, you're going to have an opportunity to do about 5 more. My prediction's been there'll be 10. I think there'll be 10 by the end of tonight.
So I want to ask you about a couple of Georgia players here. First of all, you mentioned James Cook. Is that somebody, if the Falcons were just to keep their powder dry at 74-82, is that value make sense in one of those?
Absolutely. I would love to see him and somebody make that move in the third round. This is a player that if you want to just talk about infusing another weapon, a really unique weapon into your backfield, yeah, you can hand him the ball off. But all the different things, all the crazy stuff you can do with a guy out of the backfield, I think that's one of those players out there that somebody's going to get cute, but they got to have a plan for him. If you have a plan, you can use him, he can make some plays.
I love Channing Tindall. I just don't know the projections on Channing. I just think because he can run. Everybody loves guys in the NFL that can run. Like, I think you do a lot of stuff with Tindall. Where does he profile? And is that a late second? Is that a Falcon could be in the third kind of a look?
I don't think he's going to get out of the third, and here's the big reason why. Most of the time, and it's a little bit different because this draft is really fast. Most of the time, by the time you get to the fourth round, there's some sort of wart to you. There's something where it's a lack of playing time or not as much size, or a lot of times it's not as much speed. Tindall has all those things. So I think there will be somebody out there that goes, we can wait and we'll take a slower, smaller guy, or we can take Tindall and see what happens with him. I think he gets in the third round.
Pickens, middle of the second, top of the second. Like, again, the projections with the catch radius and the size and all that stuff. Like, will somebody jump on him early?
I think so. I think when we saw the run on receivers, it really got rolling. Obviously, the Falcons did what they did at 8, but 10 was really the number that I thought where it was going to start with the Jets and Garrett Wilson, and then it took off basically from there. I think you're going to see another one of those quick runs because in this round, like there's a lot of good players into the 3rd and 4th round, but the Sky Moore, the George Pickens, the Jalen Tolberts, that's the second-round guys. And so if you don't get one in this round, then you're going to go down a little bit, and you're going to get some guys that are still good, but there's a little bit more to their game that you have to be aware of. Like Christian Watson, he has a little bit of trouble with his hands. Fast, huge, got a little bit of trouble with his hands.
As we wrap up, were you as either amused or surprised at the Patriots picking Cole Strange out of UT Chattanooga as Sean McVay and Les Snead?
Put it this way. And this is the funniest way and most honest way I can do this. So Chuck and I have been talking about Tyler Smith recently, and that's a player that I had looked at because it was a possible for my top 50. I never even thought about looking at the player that they picked. That's when it surprised you and you go, uh-oh. Like every now and then there's one out there where you went, I looked at about 75 players, didn't look at him. I thought it was funny when Sean McVay basically goes, yeah, we thought we could get him at 104.
I love the reaction. It was super enjoyable. All right, Lo, stick around. We got a lot more from Carlos coming up. I would tell you he's a perfect follow for the next couple of days on Twitter, too, with updates on his boards and just great analysis on all the stuff in the draft. Front Office Los, our draft insider, our guru, giving us all the great stuff there. All right, coming up next, the transfer portal is creating a monster, an unanticipated advantage as well for some coaches and gamblers. We'll tell you why it makes sense to all of them next.
Even though the Hawks season has come to an end, the 2022 NBA playoffs roll on, and the Fan, along with ESPN 103.7 Atlanta, are bringing you every epic moment of the 2022 playoffs.
Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker!
Plus, the Fan is your exclusive home for the Eastern and Western Conference Finals and the 2022 NBA Finals. Atlanta's 29-year home for the NBA. The Fan.
Oh, yes, folks. Spring is here again. It's that time of year when new and unheard of roofing companies start popping up all over town. Unfortunately, if you were to end up doing business with them and hand them money in advance for a roof install with an extended warranty, industry statistics show that 98% of all roofing companies go out of business within the first 2 years. As I've said over and over, your roof is the largest exterior project can take place at your home, so why would you take a chance? The guy knocking on your door, unmarked vehicle, might not even be an employee of the roofing company that he represents. Why are you going to trust that guy to replace your roof? Instead, trust the folks at Roof It Forward. Been in business in Metro Atlanta since 2005. Great guys, and they back that up. Donations more than $400,000 to help kids in need with cancer. With Roof It Forward, you get a free video roof inspection, company with a ton of accolades, and experts who handle almost all the paperwork and hassle with your insurance company, if that's what you're doing, getting a roof replaced. Bottom line, don't trust a stranger. Work with Roof It Forward. Have your roof checked today. Go to roofitforward.com.
Springtime is here. Looking for a fun weekend with family, friends, and the kids? The Mitsubishi Electric Classic, a premier golf tournament on the PGA Tour Champions, returns to Metro Atlanta this May. Pick your favorite hole to watch along the ropes or find public seating throughout the course. Children 15 and under receive complimentary tickets with an adult. Join the party at TPC Sugarloaf in Duluth, Georgia. Tickets now available at MitsubishiElectricClassic.com/tickets.
We're going to do some bragging. Yes, we're going to do some bragging on our partners at Georgia Natural Gas. We've told you G&G is closing in on offsetting, which basically means removing 100 million pounds of carbon emissions from the atmosphere. That's a very big deal for you, for me, but it's a bigger deal for our kids, for our grandkids. You got to think about your kids, Marty. Thousands of Georgians have made this change to Georgia Natural Gas to join the Greener Life program so that we can reach this milestone together. And Chuck, the good news is when they cross over 100 million pounds, G&G is going to contribute even further by offsetting an additional 10 million pounds of carbon.
This is all through G&G's Greener Life program. Georgia Natural Gas, and as Matt said, thousands of folks out there, more than 15,000 G&G customers are currently participating in the Greener Life program. And what that means, again, natural gas usage in your home, carbon neutral, heating your house, cooking food, not at the expense of Mother Earth. To help everybody get there, G&G's offering Greener Life free for a full year when you sign up by May 4th, so you got like a week or so. Join us at gng.com/green.
The biggest election in Georgia history is coming, and for the first time ever, 2 of the biggest Atlanta talk radio celebrities will be on one stage to talk about it. For less than the price of an average date, you'll join Neil Bortz and the Kimmer, along with Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station at the Extra 106.3 Town Hall. Your tickets include food, drinks, and a night with Neil and Kimmer. Go to xtra1063.com/townhall. Use the promo code EXTRA, XTRA, for half off your tickets to this historic Town Hall event at Governor's Gun Club in Kennesaw on May 12th. Tickets are limited, so get yours today.
We all love wings. We all love our families. So just bring the 2 together and feed your family the best wings. W&B Factory Wings. College Football Hall of Famer Joe Hamilton here, and I love W&B Factory. W&B has 24 signature flavors, so go get a ton. Try a bunch of flavors and feed your family right tonight. The Noonan W&B is my go-to, but with over 50 locations in Atlanta, there's sure to be one by you. So feed your family like I'm feeding mine. The best wings in town from W&B Factory. WNBFactory.com, only the good stuff.
Grapes and Grains is your locally owned neighborhood store for wine, beer, and spirits. Download the Grapes and Grains app at grapesandgrains.com to pre-order online and then pick it up in their drive-thru. Grapes and Grains is located in Johns Creek, and their second location in Chamblee is now open.
Shane Jackson, Jacko lines up and fires and scores!
Did you know the legendary Lyle Thompson, the reigning league MVP Shane Jackson, and more of the best lacrosse players on the planet play right here in Gwinnett County? Visit GeorgiaSwarm.com to get in on the action.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good, really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless, now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
The latest news on demand. This is the Fan Sports Center.
Live from the new Academy in Conyers, I'm Dan Matthews. Braves Rangers weekend series getting started tonight in Texas. No Ronald Acuna Jr. in the lineup. Travis Demerit going to be in right leading off as Guillermo Heredia getting the start out in left, hitting 7th. It's going to be Ian Anderson and Garrett Richards on the mound. 680 game day starts just after 6:05. This update is brought to you by Bruce Hagen.
Hey, this is Bruce Hagen, the People's Lawyer. If you get in a car wreck, you don't have to go through it alone. Call me and we will walk you through the entire process. Hagen-law.com.
More from baseball. Dodgers pitcher Trevor Bauer has received a 2-year suspension without pay for violating baseball's policy on sexual assault and domestic violence. Second and third round NFL draft tonight. Falcons have 4 picks. We are your home of the world champion Atlanta Braves. This is The Fan. You're also listening on the Fan app.
Live from the Strip, Chuck and Chernoff are back in Vegas for the first time since David Copperfield made a dinosaur appear out of thin air.
It's an effing dinosaur! It's an effing dinosaur!
But this time, it's all about the 2022 NFL Draft.
And weed and prostitution.
Yeah, it did happen. Well, I mean, I think it happened. There was a dinosaur. There was a spaceship.
Dinosaur disappear.
Oh no, they were there. They had to be there to disappear. There was a dinosaur in a spaceship. They don't just come out. Oh look, there was a dinosaur over my head.
Okay.
There was a spaceship hovering above me in the David Copperfield
So the
Theater.
dinosaur wasn't there when you showed up.
No, it wasn't just hanging out next to me in my seat.
Oh my God, T-Rex.
The one guy that was there and then disappeared was Hoyt at the Copperfield show.
Okay.
That was the one. But the dinosaur in the spaceship, that happened. Chuck and Chernoff live in Vegas day 2. Getting ready for rounds 2 and 3 of the NFL Draft happening tonight over at the Link at the Draft Theater. We are live at Chateau, high atop the Paris Hotel. If you're watching on the 680 The Fan app or on the YouTube channel, you'll see the setup still behind us with the draft stage, the Bellagio, and the fountains. Just a beautiful Friday afternoon. We'll take you right up to Braves baseball tonight on The Fan. It is a free cigar Friday, thanks to our friends at Grapes and Grains in Johns Creek and Chamblee. They have an extensive selection of fine cigars, and they're going to offer you a 10% discount when you buy 10 or more. So visit them in store, or you can download the Grapes and Grains app. Go on grapesandgrains.com to order online, then pick it up in the drive-thru on your way home. I've got a $50 gift card to give you, caller number 8. It's yours from Grapes and Grains. Call now, 404-231-1680. So the transfer portal has created a monster. Arr! Who's the monster in question this time?
Yes, it's an advantage for some coaches, like 3 coaches in particular. and gamblers.
Uh-oh, that's where you got my attention.
As long as the portal is operating as currently, beginning this very season, we're going to see an increased number of upsets by the service academies that aren't really upsets. Now, that's an opportunity for Monken and Calhoun and Nehemiah Tololo and all of us. Here's their advantage. And this is true for every single coach in college football. The less time you spend recruiting, the more time you have for coaching. And that has been established over decades of bringing in like 1 year, 2 year guys from JUCO. Everybody knows why that is. The service academies have an advantage because their incoming class each year isn't really about football very much at all. Ever so often, there's an Anthony Schlegel, if you remember him. He played at Air Force for 2 years and was like...
Schlegel.
He was on that the Ohio State team after he transferred with A.J. Hawk and I think Bobby Carpenter. But he played 2 years at Air Force, was an ass kicker, and was like, wait a minute, I'm an NFL prospect. So he transferred out. Ever so often, there is an NFL caliber guy at the service academies. The other 99 times out of 100, it's a guy who will be supervising radar systems like in the Black Sea somewhere, in 4 years. Tally this offseason. Kids leaving the programs in West Point, Annapolis, Colorado Springs. Would you like to guess how many players transferred out of the Army system? 0.
None.
Navy.
0.
Air Force.
0.
All right.
Zilch.
How about another big advantage on the field? How many scholarships does in the Mountain West have, for instance?
Unless it's changed, I believe it's still 85.
Yeah, all 3 of the service academies, they have unlimited scholarships.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, literally, every kid at school is on full scholarship. And academic suspensions, yeah, they don't really happen. Grades not really much of a concern for the players they bring in. We know they don't have the same caliber of athletes, not even close. Part of the big reason it came to roost with Charlie Weiss at Notre Dame, do you remember? They lost to Navy.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like first time since Staubach beat Notre Dame. And they were like, dude, we can't lose to Navy. Just look at the talent difference. But there is a balancing out of that to some degree. It's called a mitigating factor when we have 9 returning juniors and seniors in our secondary. We have 10 returning offensive linemen who are juniors or seniors or fifth year. I'm telling you, and it is going to hit the field this very year. Now, our advantage, betting the win total over for this season and really considering some early season lines when they may be underdogs. I'm telling you, this is absolutely real. The 3 schools combined for 0 transfers.
I need you to remember this when we get close. I want some payoff on this. I want to cash some tickets. I need you to turn and help me out.
Oh, there's a college futures sheet at MGM.
I love it. I love a good future bet. Makes me warm and cuddly. Braves lineup is out for tonight. Sadly, there is no Ronald Acuna Jr. in said lineup.
Son of a...
I know it. Ronald said he wanted to play tonight. Braves are going to be cautious. Cautious until the 5th inning when he's in the game. Like, don't be shocked, right? Somewhere tonight. Now, the Braves will line up this way with Travis Demerit leading off. How about TD? A couple of more hits last night.
Why aren't you at least DHing Acuna?
I don't know. I'm with
We're
you.
not to run the bases.
Well, I don't think you could do that. Like you're saying, do the Babe Ruth thing where he hit and then somebody ran for him.
No, hang on, I'm sorry.
You can't ask that guy to play half speed. You're not an athlete.
I didn't say have a ghost runner.
Ghost runner.
No, I meant not steal from...
Okay, but Ronald is going to be Ronald. Like Chuck is going to be Chuck. You don't...
Matt Olson doing...
Right.
Matt
you
Olson
don't care about things. Ronald's like, I want to play. Demerit leads off, Olsen hitting second, Riles hitting third, Ozuna, then Albies, Duvall, Guillermo. William Contreras behind the plate, Dansby all in front of Ian tonight. Again, that game at 8:05 on the Fan and the Fan mobile app. The Tampa Bay Bucks are on the clock. They hold the 33rd pick in the NFL draft. The second round will begin on their watch. I always think it would be fascinating to be the first pick on the second day because the calls must be left and right. They have 24 hours to take calls, and for teams who are on everybody's board right now, there's a guy, they're like, gosh, if that guy's there, we think it's a steal in the second round. We wanted to trade back into the first, but we just thought it was too rich. Now trying to get to 33 because the Bucs will have no problem. They already moved back once. Yeah. They went from 27 to 33 to pick up 3 picks. Would that happen again tonight? Like somebody's like, well, Malik. Got to get Malik now at 33 or got to get, the pass rusher that we think is the best. That's a fascinating place to start. Remember, the Falcons will pick 43, and they have 58. And they have two third-rounders.
Currency.
So they have some capital to work with if they want to start moving around the board.
There are also
tonight.
at least 2 quarterbacks still on the board that they weren't expecting to be there at 33 or 34 or 35 or 36.
No question. All right, coming up next, despite our limited opportunities, there's one area Atlanta trumps most other cities when it comes to all-time greats. We'll tell you what it is next.
It's Chuck talking Brown & Company Jewelers and that purchase you have to get right, the diamond ring. And believe the following, your intended has very definite ideas about this ring and she doesn't want to be surprised. Involve her. Sarah Beth Brown, amen?
Yes, Chuck, amen. Involve her. At Brown & Company, she can select from any of our styles or work with one of our custom designers to create her ring. We have 2 locations for the purchase you absolutely will get right.
The Olivers on Holcomb Bridge or the Buckhead location on Peachtree, and always online at brownjewelers.com.
Stay connected to the Braves from the most connected baseball experts in the South by subscribing to Kevin McAlpin's Braves podcast. K-Mac always has the latest from the locker room, interviews with Braves coaches and players, and everything you need to know every week. Subscribe now everywhere you get your podcasts or stream it free anytime at thepodcastpark.com.
Is your spouse talking about divorce and you are concerned about protecting your money?
Call Hobson & Hobson to talk to an experienced attorney today. At Hobson & Hobson, we are committed to protecting your interests and will fight fiercely to defend your financial assets. Don't be caught off guard in a divorce and lose your financial assets. This could cost you thousands of dollars.
Our legal team is here to fight for you throughout this divorce process.
Visit areyoubravenough.com now to schedule a consultation and learn how Hobson & Hobson can help you. Don't wait until it's too late.
Body Armor Edge is sports hydration with a boost of caffeine. Get your edge and take your game to the next level. With 100 milligrams of caffeine and 1,000 milligrams of electrolytes, Body Armor Edge is boosted hydration that will keep you going through the last buzzer or finish line. Plus, it's got potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, B vitamins, and no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes. It's more than just a sports drink. It's Body Armor Edge. Get your Body Armor Edge today at your local Kroger.
Cedar Crest Grill, located on Cedar Crest Road, is the #1 location in Dallas for ribeye, prime rib, and some of the juiciest hamburgers you'll ever eat. And if you haven't tried our bacon wrap kielbasa, then you don't know what you're missing. And kids' meals are half price on Tuesdays. Enjoy our Wednesday night tasting events or Thursday trivia and live music on Friday and Saturday night, with a delicious Sunday brunch to close out the week. Open till midnight on the weekends. Cedar Crest Grill on Cedar Crest Road. Relax. Let us make the food and serve the drinks.
W229HE Atlanta. The most listened to sports station in the South. WCNN North Atlanta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM.
I think I'll roll with Charles Jefferson, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I like the edge guy, the pass rusher, especially you wreck the Corvette. What are you going to do? You're going to set Jefferson loose.
We asked you as part of our Winging It idea for your #1 pick of fictional football players that would go in your draft. You'll send those to the Harris Cherokee Casino's Twitter feed. Chuck and Chernoff Live, Day 2 in Vegas. We get ready for round 2 and 3 of the draft tonight over at the Link at the beautifully constructed theater. Last night was just about perfect, from just the look of the crowd, the setup. Vegas does this stuff as well as anybody out there. The weather was perfect. It was just a good night. And I don't know if I haven't heard anybody getting in any trouble, which is good news for all involved. The 4 o'clock hour of the show is brought to you by South Point Financial Services. If you're looking to refinance your home or investment property, you need to contact South Point Financial Services at spfs.com. We're live at Chateau Nightclub, high atop the Paris Hotel here in Vegas, as the Bellagio behind us, the NFL Draft Theater. You can see it all for yourself. We're not hiding it from you. We're on the 680 The Fan YouTube channel as well as 680 The Fan app, where you can see all the fun. Chuck's got a college football today in 5 minutes. What can we look forward to?
A giant contract extension for a man I wasn't certain would ever be a head coach again.
All right, we'll find out who that is coming up. But first, despite our limited opportunities, Chuck says Atlanta trumps all else in this category.
I believe so. When it comes to all-time greats in sports, we do a really good job with our statues. Did you see Baker's statue at OU? We didn't talk about this, but it is the latest. Like, a statue isn't a short-term investment, and it's not cheap. Everybody gets statues wrong. Here in Atlanta, I'm telling you, when you look at the Baker Mayfield thing. It's the latest example, world-class artist being commissioned to sculpt a person, and it looks like you opened a yearbook to a random picture and said, okay, we'll put that face on him.
Actually, it looks like David Hasselhoff. I'm not kidding.
Was the Hoff a 1-1?
Don't hassle the Hoff. In Baywatch, he was. And
Okay.
I'm sorry, did Kit run itself? No.
You heard?
Michael Knight did that.
Who I heard it compared to that I thought was actually pretty good, Robert Patrick, the T-1000 from Terminator 2.
Okay, I can see that.
But, again, it doesn't look like Baker Mayfield.
Statue making is not easy, Chuck.
All right. We don't have that many.
It's a statue.
The Bobby Cox statue is as spot on as you will ever see.
It's a wonderful statue.
The Necro statue,
Great.
the same. Dooley from when they won the title. The Bobby Dodd statue. I don't know about John Heisman because I don't really know what he looks like. Bobby Dodd statue, north end zone, that looks just like Bobby Dodd. Now, there's one exception, and this one hurt a little bit. Somebody made Dominique look like really angry, like an angry Charles Oakley.
Can I tell you what that was? No. Here's where you're not
Now,
getting
the
it.
dunk is.
That's when go back and watch when a neat dunk would happen with the ferocity. He had that face on. Like, I'm serious. Go watch it. Now, the Dominique we all know and love off the court or, coming on off the bench.
No.
When he's dunking, he was bringing the thunder with that face was there.
No.
That's the Neek slam face.
But it looks like Charles Oakley and somebody, put a lemon under his nose or something.
You're wrong. No, you're wrong.
So they got the face wrong, but the dunk is perfect.
Neek statue is a perfect 10. Like a dunk contest, they give it a perfect 10.
Yeah, but the rest of the statue, bullseye as well. So like I said, we don't have as many statues.
Interesting.
But we get them right.
It's a major award.
It is.
Who's the next to get a statue?
Does Chipper have one? Somewhere?
Chipper doesn't he have a statue? Well, his house. And Chuck would say, "And at third base, he was a statue." So I don't know, Chuck.
All right, hang on. That's Matt being able to kind of gig Chipper a little bit, but oh no. Hey,
true.
Chipper, did you hear what Chuck would have said?
Listen, the Hall of Famer knows on this show who, butters his bread. He knows who's got his back.
Chipper maybe, but
Larry Wayne Jones, that's my guy.
You have to be older or past.
Oh, really? Dominique's not older or past. You got to think this one through, brother.
I was thinking about the Braves, though. Like Warren Spahn, he was past, wasn't he?
Should there be shouldn't there have been a Glavine Maddox Smoltz statue together, like some of them, like a ball right in the middle? Something there.
That's nice.
Could be there. Does Murph have a statue?
No.
Murph should have a statue. Put it up at Murphy's.
Hang
his
on.
restaurant.
Hang on. Let's go. Who has statues? Warren Spahn?
Right.
Necro?
Yeah. Don't do the Hall of Fame. You're going to do the Hall. Murph should be a Hall of Famer. Don't do this.
I'm not
First of all, you slandered the Dominique statue. Now you're going after Murphy. Who else do you want to go after? The Pope?
I'm going after Murphy. I'm saying what the Braves have set the standard as.
They should have Murphy statues.
What do schools do all the time? They give up. They put up Heisman trophies of. They put up big statues of Heisman Trophy winners.
Right. Because the voters are wrong doesn't mean Murph shouldn't get a statue. 2 times.
I agree with that.
How many times in franchise history have they had back-to-back MVP winners?
Not to disrespect, but
it's coming.
Trammell, Simmons, he is Mazeroski. He is more than so many people in the Hall of Fame.
Thank you. Now you're coming around.
But if the Braves standard is Hall of Famer, then you can't do it.
Who said that's that's the standard?
Spawn.
No.
Everybody who's got it. Bobby.
That's fine. What I'm saying is he's one of your legends.
But right now, Tommy Lavin's listening going, yo, where's my statue?
Thank you, Maddox, Smoltzy.
Maddox isn't listening. Smoltz is probably not listening. Tom Glavine maybe.
I guarantee Maddox he lives in Vegas. He's here. He's on the app. He's like, Matt and Chuck are in Vegas. Let me listen.
He's trying to make his way over right now.
Absolutely right. He's I know for a fact he hangs out at Chateau 3 times a week.
He's on the 4th tee box, and if he gets through this round,
exactly right.
He will get right over here.
Right after the back 9, Maddox.
Or someone texted him, hey, they're talking about you, Matt and Chuck. They're over at Paris. He texted back, who's Matt and Chuck?
When would we get a statue, a Matt and Chuck statue? Is that something
for
radio excellence?
What?
I just told you.
Declared by who? Like, we win a Marconi?
I don't think we've ever been entered, but if we were entered, we'd have a chance. And I think they would screw it.
No, it would.
They
be
would
like
screw
a
it up
and winning Best Picture.
But they would screw it up and send it to somewhere called Macaroni, and Hoyt would have a .corn, website instead of sending it to the right, Marconi address. I'm saying if the station really wants to, Matt and Chuck have been here a long time, Atlanta institutions, let's build them a statue. Right outside the Dickey building, right there at
I'm
the
going to
Battery.
say there's a pretty good chance that doesn't happen.
See, but your attitude's not helping. If we really pushed for it, you understand it would happen.
Which Chuck goes on the statue?
We got to go skinny Chuck, because that's a lot more expensive to make the bigger one. Like, that's a lot more in the way.
So it's a cost-cutting measure.
Correct. It's
We're going to go with today's Matt and Chuck.
Think of it this way. What is Elvis always remembered as? You don't want to do the fat Elvis. Like everybody.
68 comeback special
Thank
in
you.
black leather.
Right. We saw Elvis last night, by the way.
Okay, and did he offer to take a picture with you for $10?
I said to Hoyt, do you want to go take a picture with Elvis? He was on a scooter.
Elvis was on a scooter.
He was on a scooter.
I don't think it was a scooter. I think it was a motorized wheelchair.
It looked like a scooter to me.
Oh, like a weasel?
Looked like it a little bit. But he was just kind of hanging out over by the lake. There he was.
He was also catcalling as well.
Jumpsuit?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the glasses, the whole nine.
Well, seated.
Now, around the corner, we saw every Marvel character as well. We still haven't. Hoyt is having the biggest time figuring out, too, between wooers and hooers.
No, Matt thinks.
No. You don't recognize hookers. They're everywhere.
You think.
Oh, I saw one this morning.
No, you didn't.
Yes, he did.
I did.
They're hookers everywhere.
Morning, I saw her I don't know. She was about 5'10", a leopard skin dress that there wasn't enough material there, but she didn't care.
Matt thinks if the skirt is above the knee,
Not at all. No.
It's a hooer.
I don't know. I saw a 5'11" Asian woman with a little businessman who was 41 years old. He's like, what a couple they make. Okay, I'm telling you. They're hookers everywhere.
Okay, is that short enough for you?
And he's like, he's trying to fight. Where's the bit? Where's the wooers and hooers?
We will be playing that on Thursday. Or Wednesday. Wednesday's
next
game
week?
time. Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't feel like you're invested.
It's
if you don't keep pulling me out to go to craps tables at Ellis Island for $5.
Ellis Island Super 8.
There were hookers in there, too.
Yeah, $5 hookers.
We did have one girl stop us. Hey, you guys want to party tonight? And then we saw Brandon Joseph an hour later, so I don't know what happened, but it seemed like a good night. This weekend is the Legends of the Spring event. You guys can be a part of it at Lake Point Sports in Emerson, Georgia. You can join Dan Matthews and Westy 11 to 2 on Saturdays. They broadcast live from the baseball complex. If you haven't been to Lake Point, it is a sight. You got to go check it out. It's a weekend event full of exciting opportunities with the best travel and youth sports. All the great athletes from across the nation competing in basketball, baseball, football, beach volleyball. Dan and Westy 11 to 2 tomorrow at Lake Point Sports.
You won't compromise, you shouldn't settle for less, because happiness just makes sense. Duffy Realty, DuffyRealtyATL.com.
Chuck Oliver's College Football Today, brought to you by Duffy Realty of Atlanta. Because money matters.
It's got to be the king. DuffyRealtyATL.com.
DuffyRealtyATL.com. That's the website. If you got a house to sell, use Rhonda Duffy. It just works out better. Bottom line, the number one thing, regardless of what it costs, almost, I need somebody else on this house. Rhonda Duffy, you can get that done, and she lets you keep virtually all the money. It's an awesome deal. DuffyRealtyATL.com. Mike Loxley got broke off. He originally signed a contract paying him about $2.5 million a year, and that has now been upped at Maryland. Details to be released, but took over a program, was not in a good shape. Remember the Randy Edsall thing had happened, and then the DJ Durkin thing had happened, and it was just bad. So he takes over. And I say that a guy gets a new contract that I didn't think would ever be a head coach again. I've always thought he was a tremendous coach. The reason I didn't think that he would ever get an opportunity again was it's different calling plays, being an assistant, because somebody else's name is on the stationery. When you hand him the keys, that's different. And Maryland hired him as a head coach. He hadn't really distinguished himself on the field when he was head coach at New Mexico. They were 2-26, so that was bad enough. Throw in that they tried to cover up a DWI that involved having a recruit on campus in the car that got the DWI, and then he also took a swing at an assistant coach. I thought, he's just going to be somebody's assistant right now, and that's going to be fine. And remember, he was the OG in Tuscaloosa. He was one of the first guys that Nick Saban was like, Mike Loxley? Hell yes, I'll bring Mike Loxley in, because you know what he can play? Boogie ball. Giddy up. If you go way, way, way back, something that you see every offense practically in college football on Saturdays now, that mustard seed, go back, YouTube your computer to the 2007 season. Wasn't that the season UGA and Hawaii play in the show? Okay, 2007 season, You know who played the Rose Bowl that year? Illinois. All right. Imagine how talented a QB and an offense must just be spinning it for a Ron Zook-coached Illinois team to represent that conference. They go out to the Rose Bowl with Juice Williams. You remember Aurelius Ben, Mike Williams, Rashad Mendenhall, who was a first-round pick. Folks, go YouTube your computer, 2007 Illinois. What a fabulous offense. Well, it's evolved from all of that stuff. But he just wasn't going to have success as a head coach, it turns out, in New Mexico, plus the off-field stuff, the on-field stuff. So I thought he was destined to be an OC and somebody who was going to get a great one. Maryland hired him. 3 wins, 2 wins last year. First winning record for the program in damn near a decade, plus they won a bowl game. So they choose to extend him, get 2 more years on the contract. Good for him. It's probably a third chance that he got, but good for him for cashing in so far.
Chuck Oliver's College Football Today, brought to you by Duffy Realty of Atlanta on the college football voice of the South, 680 The Fan.
Man, Chuck bringing back some painful memories of that Illinois team. God.
Thank you, David.
David's an Ohio State fan. So.
What just Falcons introduced Drake London today.
They beat the Buckeyes that year.
Oh, that's awesome. We are covering it chapter and verse. The Falcons introduced Drake London today. Typical stuff you would see from a kid. The Falcoholic, our friends over there, have updated the Falcon wide receiver room now. You ready? Drake London, Auden Tate, Olamide Zaccheaus, Damiere Byrd, Frank Darby, Kadarius Hodge, Austin Trammell. We always forget about Austin Trammell and Chris Hansen to go along with Kyle Pitts and Cordero Patterson. Remember, Cordero will be called a running back. You know he'll get a lot of time in the wide receiver. So there are going to be points. Hold on. There are going to be points where when you have 3 or 4 pass catchers on the field, you're going to have Drake London outside. You're going to have Patterson on the field. You're going to have Pitts on the field. And then one of these speedy slot, Damiere Byrd, Olamide Zaccheaus. It's not going to confuse you for the Rams of the greatest show on turf. It's doable. It's fine. Now, they might add to the room tonight, but that's okay.
That doesn't sound done to me.
It's not done. But it's not as bad as you could think.
There are always 5 eligible targets. At times, 2 of ours last year were Keith Smith and Lee Smith. Wasn't Smith as fullback again last year? Was that?
Yes. Yeah.
So this is hopefully going to be an upgrade. But if you have 5 eligible targets, Cordero's one of them on a 3rd and 11.
Yeah, no question.
And he'll line up in the backfield or something.
Or in the slot or somewhere, yeah.
And Kyle Pitts would be, so that's 2.
There's your 2 top options. London now with that.
All right, Drake London. Fill it out with whomever else you want to. That doesn't look done to me.
Might not be.
3rd and 11's a reality for this team.
It might not be, but I guess I would say to you this way. If we were having this conversation after Russell Gage was drafted, we would have said the same. Russell's good. Russell did a good job here. Like, they did a good job developing him. To their credit, he became a legitimate, like, Matt fell in love with him on 3rd down.
That's why I got some money.
Who knows? I don't know what Olamide Zaccheaus can be, and I have no idea what Frank Darby could be, but hopefully they develop them into that 4th or 5th option that they can play around with. We'll see how it looks, but London now officially in Atlanta as an Atlanta Falcon. All right, coming up next. Tonight is more important to the Falcon future than last night was, and it's not even a debate. I'll tell you why next.
The 4 p.m. hour is brought to you by South Point Financial Services. If you're looking to refinance your home or investment property, then you need to contact South Point Financial Services at spfs.com. That's spfs.com.
Hey, did you really think you'd heard the last of us?
They can't keep us quiet.
And there's only one station in Atlanta brave enough to have both me, Neil Bortz,
and me, the Kimmer, together for the first time in history on this same station.
Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station is Extra 106.3. Join me every Tuesday for the Neil Bortz Show on the Morning Extra and every day for the Bortz Report.
And every Friday, I join Tug and Rhino on the Morning Extra. And don't forget to download the Extra 106.3 app, and you'll get access to the Kimmer Podcast. It's Atlanta's only true conservative talk station, Extra 106.3 FM.
All 4 Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. What a wonderful company, folks. They're a local company, been serving everywhere around Atlanta. Been here for 20 years. King here, and if you're looking for reviews, the honest feedback on all 4 Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. You can find real customers telling their story about all 4 Seasons, all kind of places on the internet, Yelp, Kudzu, wherever you want. All the reviews are going to tell you the quality of work they do when you have any need for garage door or entry doors. And I can tell you, too, my wife actually got me a new garage door from all 4 Seasons. It's my birthday present a couple years back. But if you want an example of the real reason, you may want to call Dan Watkins and the crew at all 4 Seasons. Ask anybody in my neighborhood because they're like, Wait a minute, we haven't heard Chuck's Garage Door in a few years. Yeah, that's right, about 2.5 years ago. That all changed. One easy step, all4seasonsgarages.com. Dan himself, the owner, he was at our house, listened to our needs, gave us options, said, get back when we're ready. Well, that very weekend we were ready. New garage door, changed our experience every time we come back home, as well as literally improving how our home looks to every person that goes by. It was old and loud and ugly, and now it's not. It's all because of All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. Get with them today online. It's all4seasonsgarages.com.
Hi, Subaru of Gwinnett Hotline.
Hey, I'm on SubaruofGwinnett.com right now. Are these prices real?
Oh, they sure are. And you're going to pay less at Subaru of Gwinnett.
Yeah, but...
No buts. Just low prices and a huge selection right at your fingertips.
That's so awesome.
I know, right? Next caller.
Hey there, what about trade values?
Subaru of Gwinnett pays top dollar. And with Subaru's trade-up program, you could be driving a new Subaru for less than you're paying right now.
I'm on my way.
You chose Subaru because you know Subarus are built to last. And you know all about Subaru's legendary safety, reliability, and all-wheel drive standard in most vehicles. So now, the only decision you have to make is where to buy your Subaru. And that decision is easy. All right, time for one more call.
I just gotta say it. Subaru of Gwinnett was the best car buying experience I've ever had.
Subaru of Gwinnett, home of the world's happiest Subaru customers. Start your search online right now at SubaruofGwinnett.com. That's SubaruofGwinnett.com.
When your job is essential, communication is critical. Every day, essential teams have a lot on the line, but there's a network built to support them. Critical Link from Southern Link, the network that performs under pressure, mobilizes teams and resources. More than a mission-critical LTE network, a network of people there for you in critical moments. Public sector grade push-to-talk, LTE voice, mobile data services. Critical Link from Southern Link, beyond reliable. Proud sponsor of the World Games 2022. Call 866-450-LINC for more information on Southern Link products and deals. Or visit Highfly Technologies in Atlanta, cable and broadband telecommunications in Conyers, or NextLink in Duluth. Go to southernlink.com to find a dealer near you.
With Northside Hospital, you can look forward to new beginnings, look ahead to comeback seasons, and look up for hope and strength. Northside welcomes you into our community of care, guided by one clear direction, a mission to heal. Led by our expertise in maternity, heart, cancer, orthopedics, and more, you can move into tomorrow with confidence. For a healthier future together, look to Northside Hospital.
I'm attorney Ken Nugent. If you're hurt and trying to choose a law firm, here are some questions you need to ask. Can I sign up online? You can with us. Do they have their own app that allows me to handle all aspects of my case from home? We do. Have they developed artificial intelligence to maximize the value of every case? We have. One call, that's all.
Ken Nugent, proud partner of the Atlanta Braves.
Call 1-800-CALL-KEN. Spokesperson for Kenneth S. Nugent, PC, Attorneys at Law. 1355 Peachtree Street Northeast, Suite 1000, Atlanta, Georgia 30309.
Hey, Atlanta sports fans. Make plans to head to Lake Point Sports April 29th through May 1st for the Chevrolet Legends of the Spring. Come check out 4- and 5-star basketball recruits at the Rise Hoops Live Showcase 1 in 12 Court Champions Center. Or check out the Rising Travel Stars in Prep Baseball Report's Battle at Lake Point. For more information, visit lakepointsports.com and get ready for all the games by stopping by your neighborhood Publix grocery store today.
The Sportsocracy has all your football prep. Join Tank Spencer and Jeremy Green for college and pro picks, fantasy football, and DFS plays, injury updates, and all the top storylines. Find them at thesportsocracy.com. The Sportsocracy, brought to you in part by Ingles Supermarkets.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $69.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
Thompson goes flying in and ducks one over the extended hands. Lyle off to Bomberry. Bomberry Berry. Jackson from way outside. Mosley tied for the dunk. Oh, baby.
The Georgia Swarm is looking to sew up its 6th straight playoff appearance on Saturday, April 30th against the Philadelphia Wings. Sting City will be rocking. Come out to Gas South Arena in Duluth to see pro lacrosse at its finest. For tickets, just visit georgiaswarm.com.
The latest news on demand. This is the Fan Sports Center.
Live from the new Academy in Conyers, I'm Dan Matthews. Braves-Rangers weekend series getting started tonight in Texas. No Ronald Acuna Jr. in the lineup. Travis Demerit going to be in right leading off as Guillermo Heredia getting the start out in left, hitting 7th. It's going to be Ian Anderson and Garrett Richards on the mound. 6:80 game day starts just after 6:05. This update is brought to you by Bruce Hagen.
Hey, this is Bruce Hagen, the People's Lawyer. If you get in a car wreck, you don't have to go through it alone. Call me and we will walk you through the entire process. Hagen-law.com.
More from baseball. Dodgers pitcher Trevor Bauer has received a 2-year suspension without pay for violating baseball's policy on sexual assault and domestic violence. Second and third round NFL draft tonight. Falcons have 4 picks. We are your home of the world champion Atlanta Braves. This is The Fan. You're also listening on the Fan app.
There's nothing like the roar of a Mercedes-Benz from RBM. And there's nothing like Atlanta traffic. Time for RBM of Atlanta traffic on The Fan.
Good afternoon. We got a middle lane stall, 75 northbound near South Marietta Parkway. It's really starting to back things up as you're approaching Delk Road, headed towards 575. Then we got wrecks coming in and going on the top end perimeter, 285 westbound after Roswell Road, 285 eastbound near Spaghetti Junction. This report is sponsored by Northwest Exterminating and TiredOfMosquitoes.com. There's a revolutionary new way to stop mosquitoes in their tracks. Go to TiredOfMosquitoes.com to see this amazing technology. It's clean, it's green, and there's never been anything like it before. TiredOfMosquitoes.com. That's TiredOfMosquitoes.com. I'm Art Van Van the Ring, 680 The Fan, RBM of Atlanta Traffic.
Live from the Strip, Chuck and Chernoff are back in Vegas for the first time since David Copperfield made a dinosaur appear out of thin air.
It's an effing dinosaur! It's an effing dinosaur!
But this time, it's all about the 2022 NFL Draft.
And weed and prostitution.
That could very well be true. We'll see how the rest of the weekend plays itself out. Chuck and Chernoff live from Las Vegas at the Chateau Nightclub high atop the Paris Hotel. I want to thank these folks for allowing us to barge in and otherwise what is a closed area. So they were super cool to allow us, have security watching our back.
And they're filming the beginning of Hawaii 5-0 in the background. So
I thought the Braves drumline had come to Vegas with us because it's party time in Las Vegas, everybody, here at 1:20 Vegas time. Back home, we're in the 4 o'clock hour of the show, which is brought to you by South Point Financial Services. If you're looking to refinance your home or investment property, you need to contact South Point Financial Services at spfs.com. Reminder, watch us on the 680 app, 680 The Fan YouTube channel. If you want to see this just gorgeous setup that we have with the Vegas Strip and the Bellagio and all the fun behind us. Doc, the special Doc McChuckin's appearance during the NFL Draft from round 1 to round 2. The Doc will join us in 5 minutes. What does he have?
With the 43rd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, I'll tell you who Scary Terry likes.
All right, that's a good lead-in because I want to bring back Front Office Lowe's to join us here as we talk about tonight. Tonight is much more important than last night. I know that doesn't add up. What's a first-round pick? Yeah. Drake London might be Calvin Johnson. From my lips to the football god's ears, he might be Julio Jones.
Please.
It won't matter unless tonight works out in the way that I'm going to tell you. Tonight is one of the more important nights in the current history of this franchise. When you have 4 picks that are valuable AF, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, you need to find 3 starters tonight. Now, I don't know that they're going to take 4 picks. They might use some of the capital, move up. But with 3 picks, which I believe they will make at minimum, you need 3 starters tonight. This is no ands, ifs, or buts. With this team's current situation, forget about next year. Next year, they get rich again. Right now, though, they've got to take advantage of what they have in this surplus of picks to get a year of, we're going to take an edge rusher tonight, he's going to plug and play. We're going to get a running back. We're going to take our future quarterback. We're getting an offensive lineman. We're going to expect them to get on the field in the way that Richie Grant could not get on the field because he couldn't get the playbook down a year ago. Tonight is 10 times more important than the 1 pick they made with Drake London. Drake London's success will be largely contingent on other things around him happening, i.e. what you might see in this foursome if they do take the 4 picks tonight. Tonight is, I can't say, tonight's huge for the franchise. Huge.
If they got it right with Drake London and he can play, it may not benefit the Falcons to the degree that they got the pick right because, well, they didn't block for him or they didn't go his way or the team decided to double him or whatever the hell. There could be a lot of reasons that they actually do hit on that pick, and it doesn't equal this number, this number, this number.
So the
it's risky as hell, man.
It is. The 2015 and 2016 Falcon drafts, had a definite impact on a very surprising team that wasn't as good as we thought, but making a Super Bowl run. Those 2 years of the draft were, we found Grady in the 5th round? Cool. We got Devontae Freeman in the 4th round? Awesome. 2016, we got Deion Jones in the 2nd round. We got Austin Hooper. We got Brian Poole as an undrafted free agent. Devondre was a 4th-round pick.
Damn.
They hit.
Starter.
Correct. Those 2 years produced, I bet, 7 starters, and they played. So of all the stuff I gave Dan Quinn brief over, the one thing I will give him credit over is he played young guys, and they performed well.
But that was that was the Keanu Neal.
Yes, starter. Deion starter, Hooper starter, Devondre starter, Poole starter.
The best player of all of them.
And they couldn't resign him because they couldn't afford him. Same with Hooper. But even now, I would also, if you count 2015 Grady, I mean the Grady pick, home run and a half. That's a 5th round pick. Devontae Freeman's a great pick in the 4th. Tevin Coleman's a fantastic 3rd. They hit. They have to. That's what it's got to be tonight. Now let me bring in Los for more on this, Carlos, because I know we're going to go over some names, but let's all be very real about this. There are so many good football players left on this board that will be taken in round 2 and 3, that will be home runs in 4 or 5, that they need to have an angle on taking them. So, Carlos, let's do this a couple of ways. Let's start this way. The Falcons stay where they are at 43 and 58. Let's start at 43. Give me 2 or 3 players that you think project to be there when they make their pick.
Arnold Ebiketie is going to be right around in that area, the defensive end from Penn State. He's the last really good, maybe first-round quality edge rusher. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen pretty quick. You're also going to have Kenny Walker right in this area, the running back from Michigan State. I believe Jamari Sawyer is going to find his way into the 2nd round. Wow. If you're looking to shore up some guard play, I think that's going to be another one. Darian Kennard, big guard/tackle from Kentucky. I've got him at 45. And Christian Harris, a linebacker from Alabama, I have him at 47. There are a lot of players in this draft. We talk about always trying to find 3 in every draft. What if you can find 5? That accelerates everything with this team.
Yeah, the guy you mentioned from Kentucky, he is just a ball of pissed-off meanness, man. He is that exact personality that you get. Who was it? Sternberger came out a couple of years ago. Just mean, tough dudes. I love him. All right. Despite me getting my prop wrong on 5.5 under for wide receivers, because it went to 6.
It went to 6, correct.
Carlos, there's still so much draftable, like day 2 legit 2nd and 3rd round talent, but people probably didn't watch South Alabama, North Dakota State, Western Michigan. Just a quick flyover of a name other than John Mechie that a Falcon fan may hear tonight.
I'm sorry, Chuck. We lost you there for a couple seconds as the broadcast on our end fell down.
Small school wide receivers.
The economy was better that time.
Yeah, sorry about that. Jalen Tolbert is the guy to watch. If we're talking about a smaller school wide receiver that can make some plays, if you want to know about a guy and say, how do you end up at South Alabama, I don't understand, because when he played against Tennessee, he matched up against everybody. That's kind of the player that we're looking at. I think the closest thing I would say is, at times when we would look over at Roddy and say, how did you end up at University of Alabama, Birmingham? You say the same thing with a guy like Jalen Tolbert. I think that's a guy I would want to watch. And also, if you're looking to get big, I like Travis Jones, a defensive tackle from UConn. I have him in my top 50 board. That's another one of those players that if you're looking to add some size to this group, and we talk about rebuilding the lines, that's where I would do it with those types of players.
Let me ask you a 2-parter on Nakobe Dean. A, why do you think he's still available, and could he be there at 43 and with the Falcons consider that, knowing that's not one of their primary needs?
Definitely. This is a size issue. This is a size and speed issue. The word is out. Nakobe Dean is a brilliant football player. That mind is what gets him to the ball. He sees what's going on in front of him, but he's not going to test well. And there's a reason. I know he called it, I haven't been able to run, I haven't been able to train. He made sure not to run the 40. And I think he knew that if I go out and run the 40 at 5'11", 230, and I go run 4.75, everyone's going to look at me then and say, nah, there's no way this guy can be in the top 40, top 50. The man is a mechanical engineering major. He's incredibly sharp. He will figure out this game, but he does need protection up front, and so if you can give him that, then that beautiful mind gets to take him all over the football field.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Los. It almost hurts him that he had Jordan and Devontae around that you're going to be holding against him that I don't know in NFL people's minds. Can he do that with a team, and in the Falcons case, that just doesn't have that kind of playmaking ability in front of him?
Well, it's protection. And for smaller guys, when they have protection, they excel. We saw what happened when Deion Jones was forced to, all right, we're going to force you out of the middle. You're no longer going to be as protected. You got to work through blocks. Some guys are just not capable of doing that, or at least are not comfortable doing that.
Corner, another position, a legit run happened. Even Buffalo was like, damn, we got to move up. Was it 2 spots they traded up to make sure they got their guy? Is there still first-round talent for the Falcons if they want to give A.J. to somebody to play with?
I think that if there's one player left on my board, and that's Roger McCreary. You know him very well, Chuck, from Auburn. That is the player that you can go and look at some of the games against Alabama, and he was a nuisance, and he's able to make some plays on guys. That I think if we're going to talk about you can draft him and possibly talk about starting him early, Roger McCreary is probably the last one. There's a lot of safeties. There's Jalen Petrie from Baylor. I love his game. The guy is an enforcer. He played the star position, so he lined up all over the field for Baylor. You do have a couple of players like that are going to be out there, but for the most part, the defensive backs, they got picked over pretty quick in that from about 15 all the way down to 32. The better defensive backs came off this board. The only other one to keep a track of, too, Andrew Booth from Clemson. That's another one out there that we'll see what the reasoning is, but I would expect him to go early.
You told us earlier you don't think there's anything in the way of tackles that jump off the page when the Falcons are going to be picking at 43 or even 58. So I want you to talk about that. But I think, Los, they're going to trade a couple of these picks to move up in one of these rounds, notably round 2, whether that's for a quarterback or you mentioned some of the pass rushers. Is there an offensive lineman that they would be worth trading up for, or is that already gone?
A lot of them have been picked over as far as what I had in my top 50. Again, I told you about Jamari Sawyer and Darian Kennard there. There's one tackle that, again, if it depends on what you believe, and there was some smoke on this. Bernard Raymond over at Central Michigan, I know some people are going to say, oh, my God, it's a small school guy. This is a pretty athletic player, and if we want to talk about guys that are capable of probably playing inside and eventually then playing tackle, this is one of the last ones that I have on my board where I would say, this is not a right tackle only guy, because we're starting to get in that area where you hit that RTO and you realize this is all this guy can play. He's not quick enough to be a left tackle in the league. This on my board would be the last guy where you say definitely has left tackle capability.
You down with whatever round pick on Camarda maybe?
Yeah, no, I don't. Okay, so I'm the weird one when it comes to Matt Araiza and Camarda. Those are field flippers, and so. I know it sounds crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth it. If you have someone who can flip the field consistently on you and is that good at it, it's worth it a late-round pick. I would expect us to see the first punter come off probably in the 5th round.
There could be 4 or 5 plays every Sunday where you can count on winning that play because of a 7th-round draft pick.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chuck. You're not happy with Thomas Morstead at 38 years old?
Just saying, if you're looking to the future.
Well, I'm just telling you, if you ended up with Matt Araiza, you would – go watch him. It's a punter, but it's a weapon. He routinely punts at 70 yards.
The Falcons just took a punter 2 years ago. What happened? Where's
Go get another one. Go get a one
that's legit. Hoff? Wasn't it Hoff?
These guys run 4.6s.
What's the guy's name? Where's my Hofhecker or whatever it is? Hasselhoff. Where's that guy?
It did happen.
I need that guy. All right, Los, hang right there. We're going to come back to Carlos coming up in just a little bit as he has done a great job. And again, I would be following and liking and subscribing to all things Los tonight with round 2.
He'd be following me and liking me and subscribing.
Round 2 and 3 in the draft to look forward to. After the doc, this is starting to look like it's very real. And I mean a real right answer for the Braves.
Dr. McChuckins.
Time for your checkup, time for your checkup. I'm gonna check your ears, check your eyes, find out how much you've grown. Time for your checkup. It's okay if you giggle.
Ha ha ha.
This will only tickle a little. Time for your checkup, time for your checkup.
Yeah, I told you with the 43rd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, I think the Falcons can keep it. There is so much quality talent, and they need basically everything except a tight end. And I mean, like, with a worthy pick at 43, they could look at any position on the board, including wide receiver, and go, okay, this does fit. I'm developing an opinion. Scary Terry likes big. I don't know that, but maybe we'll see it again. I would like to roll with DeMarvin Leal on the defensive line here. You know, he's not big. He's, I don't know, 288 or something maybe, but he's versatile as well. Texas A&M may have made a mistake playing him outside, but in the NFL you absolutely can do that, especially if he was that big end in an odd front. I love me some DeMarvin Leal, but let's say Terry Fontenot does want to go big. But Darian Mathis, guy at Alabama, he's got all the off-field stuff and leadership, permanent team captain and all that other. And I mean, I'm not dismissing that. I'm saying he has all of it. I asked somebody over at Tuscaloosa about an evaluation of him. He was called a Saban-style run stuffer, which I immediately knew what that was, Matt. Blockish, square guy. that would get both hands on you,
That's it.
and then you weren't moving. The guard and the tackle, that's where the line of scrimmage was stopping. That's Fedarian Mathis.
Is that a Marcel Darius type?
Damian Square.
Yeah.
I mean, just those big dudes there in the middle. And so that's what you're going to get with Fedarian Mathis. And it's not out of bounds at 43. And he can play nose. He's 320. He can play nose or, again, just the traditional, the three technique, actually, the traditional tackle there. So you got some options there with Mathis. So I like him, and he's a major upgrade, maybe a trade Gertie. Because we saw trades.
I heard you say something.
I said, well, who knows? Maybe there are transactions because we saw trades in the first round last night.
Oh no, there was a run on some trades. We had some stuff moving and shaking
with premier players, and Grady with a year left, and he's a premier player, so maybe.
Time for your checkup. Time for your checkup.
The one thing I'm a little bummed, I was in and out when we were, in the middle of craps and draft and everything else last night of not watching every pitch of Kyle Wright. This is funny. I've gotten to the point 4 starts in. I'm like, I want to watch Kyle Wright tonight. That's how good he's been. Kyle Wright last night. Here's what I loved about Kyle. Kyle didn't have his best stuff. And I always think it's a big deal for a pitcher at that level, a young pitcher, that when they don't have everything working and they can pitch like he did last night. I've heard every pitcher I've ever talked to tell me, now this sounds funny because they're in the bigs. They're like, oh, it's easy when everything's working. I got 4 pitches. They're all, the velo's there, the spin's there, all of it. I can do that anytime. Glavine has said on this show, he's like, the nights when I didn't and I could get through 7 and hold you to a run, he's like, that's when you know something is real. And last night for Kyle Wright, it was just that. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned. He walked 4. That has not been the Kyle profile this season. 2 in the first inning and then scattered 2 more. But he struck out 8, and he got through with an economical 7 innings. In the 5th inning, I was looking at the game cap on it. He was getting line drives hit on him. Plus 100-mile-an-hour stuff that good defense for the Braves, a double play included, helped him out. But to be able to do that, not get run out of the game in the 5th inning because he was giving up shots, I think is very big. What you're seeing with Kyle Wright looks real to me. And, you don't want to go crazy. It's 4 starts. Let me give you a couple of numbers on Kyle. He's now 2nd in all of Major League Baseball with 34 strikeouts. He's 2nd in the NL, 4th overall at ERA with a number at 113. And Mark Bowman had this number, which I love. Kyle Wright's 34 strikeouts match Javier Vasquez in 2009 as the 2nd highest total by any Braves pitcher.
He was a horse. He was.
By any Braves pitcher through the season's first 4 starts. Only John Smoltz in 96 when he won his Cy Young, and Kevin Millwood in 98 when I think he won 18 games. Both had 35 strikeouts. Only one more than Kyle Wright.
In an era where you went 7, 8, 9.
This is some dominant issue watching through 4 starts.
And my expectation, I said this earlier, I was looking for him to fill the 4th or 5th role. Now, I know the numbers don't matter.
No, they don't.
But I was making an assumption that if he can pitch as well as the 4th best starter on this rotation, he's been the best starter on the team, and Fried's been really good.
Fried's been better and better. Kyle, couple of things.
Like for Ian to be good tonight, but go ahead.
Here's what I'm so happy for him. He's doubted himself in a way that he never doubted himself before over the last year or 2 plus.
When you're the 5th overall pick, things been kind of.
I would bet for Kyle Wright, and I don't know this. I bet when Kyle was 14, he's like, just better than everybody.
Yep.
I throw harder.
He was Mike Strickland.
I'm better.
Lawrenceville, who you had somebody. Yeah. Everybody had that one kid that
was just better.
You said he's 17, but you went to school with him the whole time, so you knew he was your age.
Correct. And now I don't know the Kyle history of what he was drafted as before he went to Vandy. Doesn't matter. He's that good as a top 5 talent that he's never it's always been somewhat easy for him. Then he got through the minors pretty well. Then he got up here and went
whack.
Huh. Well, let me try this.
Whack.
All right, let me go. And it wasn't working. And it wasn't working on a big stage while the Braves are trying to win a championship. Remember his first couple of years here, they're in the midst of pennant races, and they pitched him against the Dodgers in the bubble in 2020, and that was the blowout game where the Dodgers killed them.
And there was a Bryce game, and so he's looking around going, oh, where's my spot?
That's exactly right. Then of all the crazy things ever, and it was the game 2 against the Astros, where the Braves were down 4 or 5 runs, whatever the number was. He came in and struck out the side in the 9th inning. Or 8th inning of a game that was out of hand, but I was like, that's interesting. Didn't think too much of it. Then they put him in the game 4.
Earned himself something.
That was the game that Dylan Lee started, and poor Dylan had no shot. And
is that the foggy night? Or the really, really cold?
I don't remember. It was cold. It was October.
No, really cold that night.
I don't remember the temperature. I was there. I was bundled up. I felt good.
72 degrees.
Anywho, that he got out of that jam and whatever it was, the second inning, first inning, and stayed in that game and gave the Braves innings and only held he only gave up one run. I don't know if the light came on for him then or the confidence or whatever the hell it was. Combine that with the work he must have put in this offseason. His stuff, I was watching a breakdown of his stuff again last night. His stuff is moving in a way that you're like, that's filthy. Darno said it last start. He's like, I don't want to hit against him. Stuff is breaking. The fastball is moving. And last night it wasn't close to his best stuff, right? I love everything you're seeing out of him. If he is close to this, and you said you're worried about Charlie, not worried, but concerned.
No, I'd like to see a good start from him.
And I would too. I'm still not concerned about Charlie.
He was missing too.
Like Charlie will be fine. I really believe that, unless he's hurt. I don't know that. If he's healthy, he'll be fine. And you have that foursome. I'm also going to hold out some hope. Dear sports gods, let Mike Soroka's Achilles heal and have him back in June.
Please listen to Matt.
Could you picture Mike Soroka looking something similar to Mike Soroka later in the summer? You're like, that's my 5 starters. You're talking about one of the best 2 or 3 rotations around. If some of these things work out, if Charlie's still Charlie, if Kyle's real, and if Soroka comes back, that's some like high level. Let's go. I mean, you got some playoff decisions if you're in the postseason to go. I like my 3 or 4 right there.
Yeah, and so far, the point about, hey, it's easy when my stuff is good. Glavine in Game 6. There's a guy, nobody knows him, but Len Barker. He had a perfect game. He used to pitch for the Braves.
Lenny B.
And he sat in the bullpen that night. He crossed up his catcher. A guy called for a curveball, and he's like, I called curveball. That was a slider. He's like, no, that was my curveball tonight. He said, when you're throwing a curve, he said, and then I had my actual slider and my actual fastball. He's like, I threw a perfect game. It was easy the entire night.
Let me be clear,
and he's
too.
the guy that finished it like a 10-year career, like 500 pitcher. He's like, everything was easy.
Just so you know, Len didn't do that with us. He did that with Cleveland.
Oh, he did that with Cleveland. I'm sorry.
Yes. Yeah. And we traded Brett Butler and Brooke Jacoby for him.
He's like, but he had that one night. He said the spin on the curve was so tight in the break. He's like, it was a slider.
Had that perfect night. He couldn't ever come close to doing anything like that again.
Nope.
Yeah, we watched that sadness. All right, coming next, there's a Falcon move being touted today that Chuck says is 24 hours too late. He'll tell you what it is next.
The biggest golf tournament of the summer is right around the corner, and the Fan is officially opening registration for the 2022 Fan Classic. It's our 21st annual Georgia Zone Credit Union Fan Classic, presented by the PGA Tour Superstore, June 9th and 10th at Lanier Island's Legacy Golf Course. We're loaded up once again with 2 flights that include food and adult beverages, tons of swag, and all your favorite fan personalities. Plus, it's all to benefit our friends at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. But flights are filling up fast, so lock yours up now at 680thefan.com. It's all presented by the PGA Tour Superstore, the painting company of Atlanta, Scana Energy, Fairway Social, Corona, and Engineered Solutions of Georgia.
Chuck here, and the calendar is screaming at you. It's yelling, hey, have you looked at all the important dates coming up? You got to buy people some gifts. Tell them how happy you are for them. Yep, you're looking at the calendar. It's Mother's Day, Father's Day, graduation, everything else that we celebrate with the people we love. I know a place with the perfect gift for all the folks on my list. It's Brown & Company Jewelers, and even with me and my wife being longtime customers. Holcomb Bridge Road, that's our Brown & Company location. There's a new service that has already become our favorite part of it, the Brown & Company Wish List. Makes gift giving easy for me, awesome for my wife, whether anniversary, birthday, Christmas, Valentine's Day, everything that's coming up right now. You're going to know exactly what to get after your loved one creates a wish list. You can always give the right gift, eliminate returns. With Brown & Company Jewelers, from rings and necklaces to bracelets, earrings, and watches, so many important dates coming up. At Brown & Company, they're here for you, man, 6 days a week. The Oliver's location on Holcomb Bridge and in Buckhead on Peachtree and online at brownjewelers.com.
The only thing better than cheering on your World Series champion Atlanta Braves is cheering on their championship greatness with a mountain cold Coors Light. Whether you're cheering at the Battery, the park, or your home and your living room, make sure you're maximizing your fan cheering and chilling potential with the official beer of the Atlanta Braves, Coors Light. 2022 Coors Light Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
April is Roundup for Children's Healthcare of Atlanta month at your local Ace Hardware. Help your neighborhood Ace support the great work our local hospitals do for the children of Atlanta. That 15 or 30 cent donation turns into hundreds of thousands of dollars for children's healthcare. Help us help them every time you check out at your local Ace Hardware.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. Piedmont Bank knows that succeeding in business takes drive, it takes dedication, and your journey will be easier when you have an experienced partner leading the way. Piedmont Bank wants to be that guiding force. We offer specialized advice, products, and services that are customized for your banking needs. Open the door to a banking partner so you can reach your next milestone. Open the door to Piedmont Bank. Piedmont Bank is proud to have Westside Bank and Mountain Valley Community Bank as part of our banking family. Take the first steps towards your future by visiting Piedmont.bank.
What's your car worth? Find out now at JimEllisBuysCars.com, the safe and hassle-free way to sell your car. Plus, Jim Ellis will beat any CarMax purchase offer by $500. Sell Jim Ellis your car today. Fast, easy, fair. JimEllisBuysCars.com.
The Atlanta Braves are proud to continue the annual tradition of Hank Aaron Week at Truist Park. Come join the Braves as they honor the life and legacy of the Home Run King, May 6th and 7th, when the Milwaukee Brewers come to town.
There's a new home run champion of all time, and it's Henry Aaron.
The first 15,000 fans through the gates will receive a Hank Aaron Barrier Breakers figure, presented by Delta. Celebrate Hank Aaron Week at Truist Park. Get your tickets and all the details at Braves.com/Hank Aaron Week. Atlanta Braves Baseball. For the
I can walk again, I can cross my legs again, I can wear heels again.
After years of living with chronic joint pain, Andrea Southard is now living a normal life, pain-free, thanks to natural biologic treatments at QC Kinetics.
We tried everything, and my husband had heard the commercial for QC Kinetics on the radio, and he told me to call him and check it out.
That phone call changed Andrea's life. QC Kinetics used powerful natural biologics to treat her aching joints. It's high-tech precision medicine that can restore and repair damaged joint tissue with no surgery and no drugs, providing lasting relief.
I felt like I was in my 20s again. I could tie my own shoes. Really the little things that you don't think about.
Pain in your hips, knees, back, shoulders? Get rid of the pain now. Call QC Kinetics.
770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. QC Kinetics. 770-285-8026.
I want to share a great poem with you by Benjamin Mays, the former president of Morehouse College. It's called I Have Only Just a Minute. I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it. Didn't seek it, didn't choose it. But it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. Why don't we take it to heart today? This is Tom Gray, and This Stuff Matters.
ThisStuffMatters.net.
The latest news on demand. This is the Fan Sports Center.
Live from the new academy in Conyers, I'm Dan Matthews. Braves, Rangers starting up weekend series out in Texas. No Ronald Acuna Jr. in the lineup tonight. It's going to be Ian Anderson against Garrett Richards. 680 game day going to start at 6:05. This update is brought to you by Georgia Natural Gas. Join thousands of other Georgians in GNG's Greener Life program today, and together we can reach the goal of offsetting more than 100 million pounds of carbon by the end of the month. Sign up today at gng.com/green. Second and third round of the NFL draft tonight out in Las Vegas. Falcons have 2 picks in the second round, 2 in the third. The league leading rugby ATL looking for revenge when they take on LA tomorrow, 3 o'clock over at Silverbacks Park. It's a rematch of last year's MLR championship. We are your home of the world champion Atlanta Braves. This is The Fan, and you're also listening on the Fan app.
If you've got to be stuck in traffic, wouldn't you rather be stuck in a Mercedes-Benz from RBM? This is RBM of Atlanta Traffic on the Fan.
Good afternoon. 75 northbound slows near Mount Perrin as you're trying to head up through the Cobb Cloverleaf, with delays on 75 southbound stretching back from 285 all the way back past North Marietta Parkway. The top end perimeter, 285 westbound slows near Powers Ferry in the north side, headed towards the junction with continued heavy traffic on the outer loop headed towards the West Freeway. This report is sponsored by Northwest Exterminating and TiredOfMosquitoes.com. You've about had it with mosquitoes ruining your summer, haven't you? Well, you can stop the bite. Just go to TiredOfMosquitoes.com. There's a special offer waiting for you. Take back your summer with TiredOfMosquitoes.com. That's TiredOfMosquitoes.com. I'm our Madman Mirring, 680 The Fan, RBM of Atlanta Traffic.
This is Brock Bowers, tight end for Georgia. And this traffic update is brought to you by Associated Credit Union, my #1 pick for all your financial needs. Associated Credit Union, where anyone in Georgia can live, bank, and grow. Learn more by visiting acuonline.org.
Live from the Strip, Chuck and Chernoff are back in Vegas for the first time since David Copperfield made a dinosaur appear out of thin air.
It's an effing dinosaur! It's an effing dinosaur!
But this time, it's all about the 2022 NFL Draft.
It's Groundhog Day. Chuck and Chernoff on the Fan, live in Las Vegas. We're live at Chateau, dinosaurs on the top, spaceships all around. Having ourselves a big day, day 2 in Las Vegas. Look at it. It's beautiful. It's inviting. It's saying, give me your money. Play cards. Throw dice. And we shall oblige them tonight as we get ready for night 2 of the draft here at the Link. We're right around the corner, high atop the Paris Hotel here at Chateau Nightclub with the Eiffel Tower. There it is, right above me. You can see it all on the 680 The Fan YouTube channel or on the 680 The Fan app to keep up with all the goings-on. We're with you till Braves baseball tonight, putting in the extra time as we get ready for Braves in Texas. 1st to 3 with Ian Anderson getting the ball for the Braves. So Charles tells me there is a Falcons move being touted today. And I've got to lower my voice because this sounds big. A move being touted today. That's 24 hours late.
Yeah, I do believe, and I've even heard you say it. I said it myself this morning. I woke up this morning saying, oh, my gosh, can't wait till the Falcons. Oh, man. Trade up to the top of the second round and get...
Could happen. Matt Corral.
Or...
David Ajabo.
Malik Willis.
Sure.
Whomever.
Yes.
Trade up to the top of the second round. If you're trading up, specifically if it was a quarterback, if you're going to trade up to 33 for a quarterback, you're pointing out you really should have traded up to 32. If it's a guy that you love enough to move up, 10 spots?
The question becomes, was 32 really going to trade out? We have to be fair about this. You might have wanted to, but somebody's got to be willing to get out of the spot.
Have a premium there.
Because your point is you want the 5th year, and I get that, but 32's got to be willing to play ball with you.
Detroit traded out of 32. Now they traded up.
Yeah.
But a team. All right, let me ask you then. Who was that? The Vikings?
They took Louis Saint.
Okay.
Correct.
If you trade down 20 spots, honest to God, is the 5th year option on a safety
no
a big deal?
It's not. But again, for them to move out, they must have. I don't even know this.
No.
I wonder if they just don't think the value's there. I don't know.
There are so many moving parts to what happened with that 32nd pick as wasn't even Detroit's to begin with.
Correct.
Obviously, they didn't win the damn Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Hashtag Matt Stafford, who last night, McVay is like, comment on just no action for the Rams. He's like, the ring does the talking. He was like, I think we get an A for our first round tonight.
Do you know how many teams didn't have a first-round pick last night?
There were 8 teams that had more than one.
Right. 10 teams didn't make a pick last night. I don't remember
the start of the night. Right.
I don't remember ever. A third of the league sat the first round of the draft out, which is beyond weird.
Yeah, it absolutely is. So if you were going to trade up to 33, you're pointing out that this is a guy that you really, really like, and if it's a QB, I mean, he's 32. Now, as I always say, what's done is done, and there is no point in anybody in Flowery Branch rehashing this. And also, go get your guy. If Matt Corral is your guy, if Malik Willis is your guy, if you surprise and Carson Strong is your guy, because like Kenyon Green at 15, I was like, I really like that guy. He's going to maul people at guard. I really like him. I'm expecting him to be 15th. But at quarterback, I've always, because that's the one where a lot of assets are always traded, and that's the one that you always talk about, did you pay too much? If the answer is you got your 10-year starter, you didn't pay too much at quarterback, so whatever. But you really have passed on a major reason for trading up when you bypass having control the option as the 5th year.
Yeah, for those who are kind of really wanting to flesh this out, let's say the Falcons at 33 or 36 or 39, whatever, 43, they took Malik or they took Matt Corral or they took Desmond Ridder. Your window for looking and evaluating them just becomes that much smaller. You've invested in Marcus Mariota this year for a reason. You're going to play him. You didn't take somebody in the first round because there was nobody there worth playing. So let's say that whoever you drafted sits out at least half the year, whatever sit out means. They just are going to play Mariota. Now you're giving yourself a 3.5-year window to really evaluate the guy, and that might be enough. But there's also a chance one of these quarterbacks wouldn't blossom until year 2. So now you're down to 2 years to evaluate the guy, and that's where you run yourself into a tough situation because you kind of like it, but you'd love to have that one more 17-game window to look at, and they won't have that. So that's a concern of theirs moving forward. It's not a reason to avoid taking the quarterback in Cincinnati. You know I'm Team Matt Corral. I think Corral's going to be a big-time player in the league.
Are you really?
I love Corral.
Okay.
I think Corral can do a ton of stuff that I think profiles into this league today. I know. Hoyt's over there saying he's little. I'm looking around the league right now. The height thing does not bother me near as much as it used to. I'm not saying he's Kyler Murray with his running ability, but I think he can make plays. I'm just not as concerned about height. This is not the league that you need to be 6'5" playing quarterback anymore. If you're athletic, you can make up for the lack of size in a lot of ways. And I think Corral can do that. I don't know if the Falcons will take him. I think whoever does might find themselves a nice little gem.
You're going to be okay with all the jewelry and all the tattoos and all the stuff.
How do I live my life? I'm a jewelry tattoo guy.
You are. You're inked. Oh, which, by the way, this morning, Ely Coffee, that kind of famous European coffee.
I thought that was a second-round pick I was looking forward to.
No, there's a coffee shop, 6 a.m. It ain't open. The tattoo and body piercing studio open at 6 a.m.
I was there. That's how I live my life, tats and pierces. Let's go.
There was someone doing tattoos on the Strip last night.
Someone? It wasn't just someone, by the way. There was multiple someones.
They were just on the Strip doing tattoos.
That's awesome.
It wasn't a parlor.
Guy had an LLC. He started a business. I support small businesses.
You can go to Home Depot, buy a pressure washer, drive around the neighborhood.
That's it.
Now you're in a business.
I support small businesses. So Al's Tattoo Parlor right there on the Strip. Let's go.
Amazon for $143. You too can have a tattoo ink gun.
How do I make sure he's cleaning the...
Oh, I'm sure his insurance handles all that.
Do I need to sign some paperwork?
No, it didn't look very formal. There was a chair and a gun.
So
my kind of business.
The waiver,
You know what that is? Lack of overhead. He's got a business plan, that guy. He laid it all out. All right, coming up next, Georgia made some very impressive draft history last night, with more to come this weekend, by the way. And Kyle continues to have the right stuff for the Braves. You're singing in your head. I know you can hear it up there. We'll talk about it next.
The latest on all the big business in Atlanta. This is the Fans Business Update, powered by Atlanta Business Chronicle and brought to you by Total Body Therapy of Georgia. If you or someone you know suffers from ED, Peyronie's, or PE, we can help. Call today, 404-777-1911. Online at stopmyed.com.
Investors no doubt glad to see the weekend and the end of April trading. A steep sell-off today left the Dow down 938 points. The S&P declined 155. The NASDAQ dropping 536 points. Analysts say April has been the worst month for the NASDAQ since the Great Recession back in 2008. Local stocks also taking a hit today. Shares of UPS down $10.20 a share. That's a 5% decline. Home Depot off $11.29 or more than 3%. Coca-Cola fizzled $1.55. Delta Airlines dropped $1.32. One of the few local gainers, NCR, the stock price up $3.16. Well, there could be changes coming to a long-time Buckhead fast food spot. The owners of Zesto on Piedmont Road have put the restaurant on the market for $11 million. The 1.5-acre site also includes the Splash Laundromat and Fiesta Foods Market. The restaurant is still open. The owners say they're just now starting to explore their options. That's your business update. I'm Crystal Edmondson from Atlanta Business Chronicle on 680 The Fan.
The 680 Business Update, powered by Atlanta Business Chronicle on The Fan.
Is it time for you to fight for custody of your children?
Call Hobson & Hobson to talk to an experienced custody attorney. At Hobson & Hobson, we are committed to fighting for your children and providing an excellent representation. Our legal team is here to help you win. Don't fight alone. Have the experienced attorneys of Hobson & Hobson on your side.
Visit areyoubраveenough.com now to schedule a consultation and learn how Hobson & Hobson can help you. Don't wait until it's too late.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good. Really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless, now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Broken tent, magazines, old honey jars. Spring cleaning is a time to get organized. Kick your spring cleaning into gear and save when you choose Scana Energy as your natural gas provider. They have options for every family. Right now, you can even get up to $100 when you sign up. Call 877-GO-SCANA or visit scanaenergy.com/100 for details. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply.
Thompson goes flying in and ducks one over the extended hands. Lyle off to Bomberry. Bomberry. Jackson from way outside. Mosley Mosley, try for the dunk. Oh, baby.
The Georgia Swarm is looking to sew up its 6th straight playoff appearance on Saturday, April 30th against the Philadelphia Wings. Sting City will be rocking. Come out to Gas South Arena in Duluth to see pro lacrosse at its finest. For tickets, just visit georgiaswarm.com.
If you're a valued customer, you deserve a simple gesture of appreciation from your credit card company. And that's why Discover matches all of the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year. Discover. Exceptionally common sense. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply.
DQ presents, picture this. You stand before the new signature stack burger menu at DQ. 5 cheeseburgers with 100% real seasoned beef, like the loaded A1 stack burger. And your mouth wonders, where have you been all my life? DQ. Happy tastes good.
Traffic. Well, it's just Atlanta, and there's nothing more Atlanta than a Mercedes-Benz from RBM. This is RBM of Atlanta traffic on The Fan.
Good afternoon. We got a report of a new accident moved to the shoulder on Interstate 285 eastbound Top End Perimeter at Roswell Road in Sandy Springs. In Powder Springs, they were working a stalled-out vehicle in the left lane on Dallas Highway westbound at Mars Hill Road. And we picked up a 2-car insurance seminar near Chastain Park on West Wyuka, just off of Roswell Road. This report is sponsored by Northern Tool and Equipment. Demo Day is this Saturday at Northern Tool and Equipment. Bring the family for product demos, free food, exclusive offers, and a free gift to the first 75 customers. Find your nearest store at northerntool.com. I'm Art Madman Merring, 680 The Fan, RBM of Atlanta Traffic.
WCNN North Atlanta, a Dickey broadcasting station.
Touchdown! And the Bulldogs with some more bites.
Proud to be the official sports talk station of the national champion Georgia Bulldogs. The Fan.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
Na 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 na. Na 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 na. It's 5 o'clock on the dot. You know what that means. It's time for Matt Atlanta and the King. Yeah. Na na na.
Yeah, it is. The weekend is here, at least. I mean, back home where it's 5 o'clock, this time change, I don't understand it, but it's like 2 o'clock here, right? It's like 2:04 here. It's like 5:05 in Atlanta. None of it makes any sense. Chuck and Chernoff Live, day 2 in Las Vegas. Time change, it's a lot.
I said last week, I love Central Time.
Oh, West Coast time's the way to do it.
I think I like this time, maybe.
Everything. The draft was done last night at about 8:20, 8:30. Trip to life, fantastic.
The 9:35 baseball game has thrown me off a little bit.
9:35 a.m.?
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. You can bet it. We're live at Chateau, high atop the Paris Hotel.
Every Sunday is the London game.
It is. It's just, that's your reality out here. Here's the other thing. So I'm looking down on Las Vegas Boulevard. There's the Bellagio behind me. Only in Vegas could there be 2 women right now with feathers on their head, wearing boots, and no pants. Beside them is an oversized Wonder Woman and then a guy in a swim cap with no shirt on. Las Vegas! Like, you can't see that on Peachtree. You can't see that on Holcomb Bridge, and you can't see that on Piedmont. Only Vegas right now.
You realize I had to pay for pasties in Athens, but here it's free on the Strip.
It really is.
Could be, yeah.
We
now,
saw
$10 to get the picture made with them.
We saw every Marvel Avenger character last night. I mean, you name it, they're just everybody's got an angle around here. Take a picture, give me a couple of bucks, and that's it. I mean, that's the beauty of what's happening here in Las Vegas. Now, night 2 of the draft will commence at 7 o'clock Eastern time with round 2 and round 3, and I believe tonight is 5 minutes between picks, so this thing kind of cranks up and moves pretty quick.
It was doing that last night, man. There were a couple of teams.
What?
Detroit with Hutchinson.
Oh, my God. They ran the pick up.
The Charles Cross pick, which was, when was that?
After the Falcons.
That's right. It was after the Falcons. I knew somebody.
The commissioner went.
Who?
With the 8th pick, the Atlanta Falcons select Drake London. The Lions are on the clock. Or no, it was the Seahawks are on the clock. The pick is in. Charles Cross is the pick. Yeah, they ran that one up there. So
like it's like the Falcons. Really? Okay.
Let's talk about last night, then we'll look ahead. So Drake London was the pick by the Falcons at 8, and I think by now, if the audience has been listening, you know that was the last thing I wanted to see this team do, go down the rabbit hole of a wide receiver. It's nothing against Drake London. I don't know enough about Drake London. I don't watch USC football routinely. I'm going to hope he's Julio, Calvin. He's the next great player. He's whatever you want a receiver to be.
He wins with size, but he also has really, really, really good and strong hands.
But I'll tell you coming up more about just the positional value, the roster building,
dude,
it just makes no sense in my mind.
Can I help you with something?
Please, I need all the help I can get.
He's on your team's roster now, so let's just talk about what he does.
I don't know. I watched the highlights. He looks great. Yeah. Everybody looks great in highlights. But now reading the dumb draft grades and then the analysis, there were a lot of people, and these are just merely opinions of people like us in this business, who said, I don't think he was the best receiver in the draft.
Well, I like Jameson Williams.
That was a popular one. Garrett Wilson was a popular one. There were a lot of
thought what they thought.
Yeah, there were a lot. They traded up.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people that thought that Drake was the third best. Doesn't mean they're right or wrong, but that's just some of the opinion that you got out there. I thought it was telling how quickly Seattle, who's in the same situation as we are, no quarterback, sort of rebuilding, putting things together. They're like, stud right tackle, 9. Here's the card. That's how quick they got it turned in. So now for the Falcons, they get very busy tonight. 2 picks in the second, 2 picks in the third. They will pick at 43, 58 in the second, and then 74 and 82 in the third. Doesn't mean they'll make all the picks, but they have the capital to work with those picks. Here are a couple of notes from round 1 that I think tell you about the direction of the league. Number 1, 10 teams didn't make a pick. It's changed. Teams don't value first-round picks the way they used to, and if they do, they're willing to say, we value the player available now. Here's our pick next year. We'll sit out next year.
The team that won the Super Bowl did not make a pick.
Remind me later in the hour to play you some audio of McVay and Les Snead. I think they were having a good time in the war room without having a pick story about.
Team that won the Super Bowl 2 years ago didn't make a pick.
I know. It's just the whole construct has changed in a lot of people's minds. So the run began in the first 5 picks on all defensive players. First 5, all defensive players for the first time since 1991. 5 players went off the board in that spot, top 5.
Were you paying attention when Thibodeau got picked?
Oh, yeah.
Boy, he was having a fun time.
He was one that I wondered about if he was going to be there or if somebody would move ahead and all of a sudden he's in the Falcon range. After the run of defensive players, then it was about the wide receivers. 6 receivers went in the first round for the first time in the common draft era, and they started coming off the board. London went at 8. And then you looked up, and, now
like
it's
11, 12, 13 or something.
It's like, then it was Olave, and it was Jameson, and it was...
It was 11, 12, 13.
Yeah.
I think.
Teams jumping at it. 13 was Jordan Davis, I believe. Wasn't it? Didn't the Eagles make him the 13th pick? But, yeah, they came off the board pretty quick. And the other notable part of the first round, you had 2 corners go in the top 5 for the first time since 1997. All these draft and roster building things are changing right in front of our eyes. There used to be a hard and fast rule of, I'm going to build OLs, I'm going to build DLs, I'm going to build quarterbacks. Teams are all over the board now.
It's picks based around the passing game, which you think, well, that's everybody.
Did you hear the tone in his voice, the way he said it? So disappointed.
The passing game is left tackle, edge, receiver, corner.
Yeah. But then you have
Devin Lloyd, who's looking around going,
what about me?
I might be the best inside linebacker in the draft, and I went 20 whatever.
They said, we'll get to you later.
Nakobe Dean, who's like, yeah, I think I'm better than him. And Nakobe's still waiting. He's in the green room or the purple room or the blue room, wherever you go with the second day. He's still waiting because you know why? He ain't really about the passing game, is he?
Well, we said with the Bengals a year ago, they valued the receiver over the tackle. You're seeing it right now with the 6 wide receivers.
Penei Sewell.
Yeah, all right. So what you're seeing with 6 wide receivers when there were interior players on the board that teams just jumped at in those spots. All right, for Georgia, record-setting night. The Dogs set a new NFL draft record with 5 defensive players taken in round 1. They topped FSU and Miami. FSU back in 2006, Miami in 2004.
Miami had more first-rounders that year, but they weren't all on defense.
Right. What a night, though, for Kirby Smart. Trayvon Walker ascends to the number 1 pick in the draft. Jordan Davis goes in the top 15. He ends up at 13 to Philly. Quay Walker and Devontae Wyatt both go to the Packers, and then Lewis Cine, for a team that traded into the spot, said, we want Lewis Cine. Like, that's again, we talked about the recruiting dream come true for Kirby yesterday. It played out last night.
I really like Devontae Wyatt, obviously Trayvon. They're all really, 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 really good prospects. I think I like Nakobe Dean versatility. I think I like Nakobe Dean.
Right.
You know what? Let me put it this way. He's going to go to a random team, all right? Of all the Georgia defenders that, he's playing today when the Packers or Chiefs or Jags or whoever, like, I want to see Nakobe Dean play.
Agreed.
He's still out there.
Yeah, I think Nakobe's going to – somebody's going to get a gem in round 2 and we'll go, he's shocking because we know how good Nakobe is, but he doesn't profile the way teams want.
So Kirby has gotten a lot of crap, especially because of however the offensive has been called or who he's hired or whatever. Kirby's way works, or at least it worked this time.
It did indeed.
And it's validate. I mean, what you saw last night, that was Kirby's way that resulted in a national championship. It worked for Kirby, and it worked for all the kids.
You've got a big night, I think, ahead for a lot of other dogs, too. Nakobe, Pickens, Channing Tindall, James Cook. They're Jamari Sawyer. Like, you got some guys that are going to come off the board tonight.
That's another position. Doesn't have anything to do with the running, with the passing game. Not really running back.
I want to talk more about the Falcons' decision and the future of their franchise based on what we saw last night. We'll do that coming up in about 20 minutes. But let's talk about the Braves, who are in Texas tonight. They won their first series of the year, which sounds weird to say as we near the end of April, but they did that in a 5-1 win over the Cubs last night. Kyle Wright, outstanding again, even in a night where he didn't have his stuff. Kyle went 7 innings, 3 hits, and an earned run, struck out 8. He did pitch around 4 walks. We're in a good place when we're like, Kyle didn't have his best stuff, and he went 7 innings. Braves then didn't have to tax the bullpen last night, where they went, they go Minter, Will Smith, I believe the way that one played itself out last night. Forgive me for not investing my 9 innings as I typically would for the Braves. We were at a blackjack table. I was like, oh, the Braves are on. It was nice to see them over my shoulder.
We were at a blackjack table barely.
I'm sorry, again, Bougie Chuck, man. Bougie Chuck. We're at Bally's, and we stopped by Ellis Island, and you are the most judgmental bougie guy. We're everyday Joes playing craps and blackjack with other everyday Joes.
A lot of blue-collar people there, Chuck.
Thank you, Chuck. What color you got on right there? What color is that? White?
We're staying at a place, MGM Grand. I don't know, largest hotel in the world.
Oh, it's that lobby.
Figured out.
First of all, that lobby is the size of North Dakota.
It's giant. And the West Wing, yes, West Nevada. But beyond that, there are so many other places you could have gambled last night, and y'all chose a place that on its sign they include Super 8.
Do you know what they also
Ellis
include?
Island, Super 8.
They also include $5 craps. And that had the boys' attention last night, okay? And I'm sorry.
Hang on, but you'd already won at a real place.
Oh, you crap! I was cursed. You crapped on Bally's earlier. Well, you guys are going to Bally's. You could go to Aria, Cosmopolitan. Sorry, top 2% Chuck.
Yes, I was at the Win.
I mean, we're just.
Hang on, what was I playing this morning? I was playing the Boggle Craps game.
That's a bad choice, but where did you play?
It's got the giant dice, and you hit the stopper, and it pops them up in the air.
Where'd you play?
Paris.
This guy, and I love Paris. Thanks for housing the trip. I'm just saying we like to see all the different elements of the Vegas Strip.
Well, you know what? Long block off the Strip. You got to see it, yes.
You know why this place looks like it does, or Bellagio? Because they take people's money, Chuck.
Boom.
You know why the Super 8, what is it called?
Ellis Island.
Ellis Island, thank you. You know why it looks like the way it does? They give money back, Chuck.
They were giving it to us. Here, take our money, take our women, take it all, have it, and a steak dinner for $3.99. Hello, Vegas. Nice to see you.
Steak isn't spelled the right way, though. It's
When did you become Bougie Chuck? When did this happen? You used to be one of us.
Yeah, 3 steaks for $2, $7.99, but it's steaks with a Z.
Had a facial and a shave yesterday, right?
This got facial and a shave.
No, she talked me into a haircut as well. I wanted the sideburns right, and my neck was just a little furry.
But you're cleaned up now. So you can play your craps
boggle.
Was on. I know. Listen, we were all up and through there, baby.
It was good.
We were all up, but after the night's over, that's the West Coast. It doesn't begin. Things get turned at 8:30.
Well, that's me tonight getting turned.
And we got turned at Bally's at Ellis Island.
Hoyt and I are getting turned. We're looking for dessert.
Hoyt goes, Chuck, what are you getting into tonight? Chuck's response, a dessert. Slow down, Captain. That's all I'm going to tell you. I got some dessert later, too. I already got it. I'm not going to share it with any of y'all either.
Pumpkin brownie souffle down the sidewalk.
Souffle.
Just saying.
Okay.
Comes a little crock.
Very bougie. I mean, seriously, the bougie alert right now. We need a
hang on.
We need a bougie alert.
I said I'm having a dessert. Let me rephrase that. I'm having 50% of my dessert for the year tonight. So, yeah, I'm not going to have a Twix.
I understand. After that, why don't you join the boys and we go sit at a craps table or a blackjack table together? Why don't you do that with us?
I'll play some craps.
Okay. But not the video craps.
Another thing, by the way, why not just frickin' Captain D's? All right, we're in Vegas, and Hoyt's going out for cheeseburgers that we could get anywhere.
He's in and out. He loves his
No, you can't. It's only on the West Coast.
He loves in and out. He's a West Coast guy. West Coast Hoyt. That's what he is. He's
Bougie Chuck, West Coast
Hoyt. Everybody's got names,
Didn't
right?
we have dinner plans tonight?
We have dinner later, but this is a snack. I don't even know what time it is, first of all.
Do you know nobody's eaten, by the way?
I had a muffin this morning.
I haven't had breakfast or lunch.
I didn't know what time I woke up. I didn't know what time the show started today. I didn't know Honestly, the math is not hard for 3 hours. And other people have traveled from east to west. I am so lost with time. What time is it?
I found a pretty decent breakfast place open at about 6:15.
Were you there this morning?
6 o'clock, and I walked out of the MGM, and I was like, all right, where can I eat? As I said, the coffee place wasn't open. The body piercing and tattoo parlor was.
Right. So you thought about it?
They had business. There was a line.
All right.
But I found a breakfast place. But that was now, 6:15? I don't even know how many damn hours ago it was.
I'll just say there's a lot. We don't have to work in the morning.
I'm hungry.
We don't have to worry about getting up. Tonight's the night. It happens tonight.
Is it hard?
Chuck, we're going to get Chuck tattooed tonight. We're going to get it pierced.
Welcome to Jamaica, man.
You're going to have, and we're going to get a dessert tattooed on you. That's so you can always have dessert. We're going to have a souffle tattooed on your arm.
Somewhere between this patch of grass and the MGM, there's a dessert waiting.
He won't go towards the link because there's too many people in the draft.
He goes, I won't go left.
Hang on. There's too many people. Again, that's one way of saying it. Another is there's 500,000 more people than normal.
But don't you want to get in the mix?
Is that enticing to you?
We got in the mix last night. We walked down to the draft theater.
Ellis Island is not in the mix.
No, but that was after the draft. We did our work.
Management brought us out here to go left, and he's going right.
Let me show you something, Chuck.
I don't even have my credential.
Let me show you. What's in my bag?
Because I didn't have someone that looked like you.
What's that say right there?
Yeah, somebody else picked that up.
It says Matthew Chernoff. Matthew Chernoff, Media Elite but look at that picture. I look like a serial killer.
Yeah, very nice.
Anywho, so tonight again after work.
Hitting it hard.
Hitting it hard tonight, getting turned.
Tattoos.
Okay, it's all happening tonight. If we don't come home with tattoos, piercings,
shots.
Shots is a given. I mean, shots is happening. Anyway, where was I before I went on that tangent? Oh, yeah, the Braves. Braves win last night in the Ronald Acuna return game. Ronald went 1 for 5 after his standing O, which was awesome to start the game. Had a single, couple of stolen bases. He did say after the game, I don't know where you guys heard I'm not playing tomorrow. I'm in that lineup, B. He's not in the lineup, B. Travis Demerit's leading off tonight. Braves are going to give Ronald the night off.
Why not even DH?
I don't get that. I mean, I don't know.
He was stealing bases.
I know. I guess their fear is he can't play at 50%, so he gets a hit, tries to turn a double to a triple, or he's trying to steal. But I don't know. What's one night off going to do?
I don't know what tonight is. Like, you're literally you're skipping 4 at bats.
Right.
That these 4 may be where he gets himself hurt. Or maybe they're saying day after so much exertion.
Maybe
see if they're swelling or. I don't know.
Listen, they want to be rather safe than sorry, I guess. I'd be stunned if he doesn't pick up a bat tonight, though. This game in the 8th inning is 5-4, and you've got I'm looking at the Braves lineup right now. The way it sets up, I told you, Travis Demeritte had 2 knocks last night. Good for TD last night. But let's assume Guillermo Heredia is coming up in the 8th inning of a 5-4 game. You got 13 over on the bench. What are you doing?
What's the matchup? Righty lefty. What are we doing?
I don't care if the guy throws with both arms.
He's amphibious.
Exactly right.
Yet. I don't know why Snitker would do that.
Would what?
Not put Acuna.
I think this is over Snit. I think this is an organizational. When he comes back, here's how we're playing this. I'm not saying Snit can't make the choice, but with Ronald, I think when he came back, it's like
scripted, or not scripted, but this was all kind of segmented out.
Correct. Like
game on, day off.
Correct. Tomorrow night DH, then he's back on the field. Like I think that's sort of
they
how
have a day game Sunday after a night game.
I
Maybe
assume.
They'll play this out through the Texas thing, and then
I don't know.
Where do they go after Texas? Arizona.
I told you don't ask me questions in Vegas. You're doing it again. I'm in Vegas, and you're asking me questions.
Mets.
Oh yeah, that's the 4-game series with the Mets.
Doubleheader.
There's a doubleheader Tuesday after the game Monday,
right.
So it'll be interesting to see how they play that one. Good news is he was back tonight. The Braves lineup put up 5 runs and 11 hits.
Can we come back to Vegas for that doubleheader? Because this is really working for me.
We should, though. When the Braves and Mets are in New York, we should be in Vegas. Nothing says Braves Mets at Citi Field like Matt and Chuck at Chateau.
Braves Mets. We got to have Matt and Chuck on the strip again.
Oh, there's Spider-Man. Who would have guessed? There he is. I didn't know Spidey was out early. Good. Why would somebody be in a Spider-Man costume at 2 o'clock on a Friday in Vegas? Why not? Why not? Anywho, the other mentioned Braves lineup, 3 home runs last night. Riley, Duvall, Dansby. Dansby had a good night. He's like, I get to hit behind this guy, essentially, the second time Acuna comes up. So good to see Dansby have a night. Hopefully he breaks out. Braves will start the series tonight with Ian Anderson on the mound against Garrett Richards. The game at 8:05 after the Ford leadoff show. We'll walk you right up to those festivities with 680 game day. So a ton to get to. Let's get our Winging It idea.
It's time to wing it. Brought to you by Wing and Burger Factory. With over 50 Atlanta locations, find yours at WNBFactory.com.
This was a Hoyt special. I'll give him credit on this one. We asked you to send your Winging It idea answers to the Harrah's Cherokee Casino Twitter feed. Since the NFL Draft Round 1 is behind us, well, we turn to the fictional football player you would have taken number 1 in your NFL draft. I went with a combo backfield of Forrest Gump, Al Bundy. That's the best of both worlds. Guy who can score. And with Forrest, though, you got to be pretty specific about you got to run behind that guy. There's no.
So it's like Army, Mr. Inside, Doc Blanchard, and
That's it.
Glenn Davis.
Because you can't have
Mr.
anything.
Inside, Mr. Outside, sure.
You're going to try to toss something outside to Forrest? No. You got to have people in the end zone with a stop sign.
I gave you Charles Jefferson. I like to get in the backfield, pressure the quarterback.
He's a scary dude.
Yeah, you screw up the Camaro.
You're
set him on fire Friday night.
Do it at your own risk. I thought he was going to kill that Mike Damone. He should have. Guy selling tickets if nothing else. Fat Casey, surprising pick from Fat Casey. He went with Billy Bob from Varsity, like looking in the mirror.
I think it was like Varsity.
So you said he got to mention a player in a restaurant.
He got it
right.
like melded into.
He said got to build from the trenches, and Billy Bob was a glue guy. I think that guy's dead. Didn't he die? That guy? Was that? Okay. Was that Ron Lester, or am I confusing my fat guys? Alyssa said she's going with the most clutch kicker ever, Kathy Ireland. And for her coach, Goldie Hawn and Wildcats. I see what's happening there. Kathy Ireland, by the way, for that role, which maybe the easiest role ever, was horrible. Yeah, the
Armadillos.
Armadillos. Steven went with Kathy Ireland, too. A very popular pick among the folks. George went with Stefan Georgievich. Tough, scrappy. All the right moves.
Tom Cruise.
And he gets kicked off the team before the biggest game. Now, he did throw trash in his coach's yard, which is usually a bad choice.
Rifleman shouldn't have been.
Reed went with Johnny Walker. Johnny Be Good. Big hit. Remember Young Uma Thurman in that movie, yeah? Eddie went with Paul Crewe, Mean Machine.
Which one?
He went with the Burt Reynolds, the original. I'm sorry, Adam Sandler.
So you went with the former varsity letterman at Florida State over Adam Sandler.
Right, over the water boy.
Okay.
Hunter went with Shane Falco. You could just call him Keanu Reeves. You can say what his name was in the movie. It doesn't matter. He's always Keanu Reeves. Greg went with Gus the Kicking Mule. How could I forget?
At distance.
He really did. Sia went with Drake London. I don't think he counts. I don't think that's...
No, he's real.
Bobby Boucher got a mention from Atlanta Sports Guy. Plenty of Shane Falco. Oh, Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds got a little mention. Do I not have anybody from the program here making this list? Like, there was that steroided freak. Then we had the good running back Omar Epps played. Like, there were some choices in there. And I'm seeing a lot of Bobby Boucher and Shane Falco up and down this list. Charles Jefferson, somebody else gave him a little love, like you did. Finally, the program. There he is, my steroid.
There
guy.
you go.
Yeah, we got to the bottom of it. So
Not the running back from Last Boy Scout.
No, Damon Wayans, right? No, we'd have a different set of circumstances. So you can send your answers to the Harrah's Cherokee Casino's Twitter feed.
We had Steamin' Willie Beeman earlier.
Dual threat quarterback.
Leaves the lady dreaming.
Other things, too. But we're a family show, so we'll leave it at
Applauding.
that. Yeah. All right, coming up next, I told you I was going to die on this Falcons Hill. Well, R.I.P. Matt, because I'm officially dead. We'll talk about it next.
The Fans Braves coverage is bigger than ever this season, and we start your week with a couple of Braves icons. Hall of Famer Tom Glavine is now on every Monday at 3:30 with Chuck and Chernoff, presented by Brown & Company Jewelers and attorney Ken Nugent. And our very own Jeff Francoeur joins Nick and Chris on Tuesdays at 12:30. Make sure you tap that Fan app and take the biggest Braves coverage in the South with you anywhere. And stream Braves baseball totally free all season.
A little bit of time plus a small amount of money could equal one of the most impactful changes to how your entire home looks. I am talking about getting a new garage door from All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors, and I'm Chuck Oliver. That was exactly the math equation at Mikasa about 2 years ago. Garage door was old, ugly, and loud, and now it's none of those things because All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors happened. That's right, they were out at the house. What was by far the toughest part of the entire home to lay your eyes on. Dan Watkins and All Four Seasons made it great. I said a little bit of your time. That was conversation. Dan and the First Lady, they talked, they chatted, they looked at options.
2 days later, Chuckingham Palace had a brand new, beautiful, clean, functioning, quiet garage door, bushel full of credit to All Four Seasons. And remember, it's All Four Seasons garage and entry doors, so you can cure the garage door blues like the Olivers have and make it all bright and shiny and new with your front door, patio door, basement door. You get it. Dan and All Four Seasons got you covered. Best way to get gorgeous with your garage and entry doors, online at allfourseasonsgarages.com. All the number 4 seasons, garages.com.
Hi, Subaru of Gwinnett Hotline.
Hey, I'm on SubaruofGwinnett.com right now. Are these prices real?
Oh, they sure are. And you're going to pay less at Subaru of Gwinnett.
Yeah, but...
No buts. Just low prices and a huge selection right at your fingertips.
That's so awesome.
I know, right? Next caller.
Hey there, what about trade values?
Subaru of Gwinnett pays top dollar. And with Subaru's trade-up program, you could be driving a new Subaru for less than you're paying right now.
I'm on my way.
You chose Subaru because you know Subarus are built to last. And you know all about Subaru's legendary safety, reliability, and all-wheel drive standard in most vehicles. So now, the only decision you have to make is where to buy your Subaru. And that decision is easy. All right, time for one more call.
I just gotta say it. Subaru of Gwinnett was the best car buying experience I've ever had.
Subaru of Gwinnett, home of the world's happiest Subaru customers. Start your search online right now at SubaruofGwinnett.com. That's SubaruofGwinnett.com.
The biggest election in Georgia history is coming, and for the first time ever, 2 of the biggest Atlanta talk radio celebrities will be on one stage to talk about it. For less than the price of an average date, you'll join Neil Bortz and the Kemmer, along with Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station at the Extra 106.3 Town Hall. Your tickets include food, drinks, and a night with Neil and Kemmer. Go to xtra1063.com/town hall. Use the promo code EXTRA, XTRA, for half off your tickets to this historic Town Hall event at Governor's Gun Club in Kennesaw on May 12th. Tickets are limited, so get yours today.
Every mom is precious. Hi, I'm Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, where we've been helping Atlanta celebrate Mother's Day since 1939. To me, there's no better way to tell mom thank you than diamonds set in gold. Gold is warm, precious, soft but durable. Diamonds represent her beauty and strength. That's how we put together the D. Geller & Son gift guide this Mother's Day. Come visit us in Atlanta, Kennesaw, or Sandy Springs. Tell us what makes the mom in your life so special, and let us help you find the perfect way to tell her. Shop ahead at dgeller.com.
Buck Bellew here with Sean Combs and Sean Martin, South Point Financial Services. And guys, tell us about this competitive housing market we've got here in Atlanta.
Well, I mean, Buck, the housing market is probably the hottest housing market that I have seen. So here at South Point, we really focus on going 15 to 18-day turn times, and we're getting them to the closing table and getting them the houses.
Check out the website, spfs.com, for South Point Financial Services.
South Point Financial Services, NMLS number 32841, located at 5955 Shiloh Road East, Suite 205, Alpharetta, Georgia 30005. South Point Financial is a Georgia residential mortgage licensee number 13475.
Cedar Crest Grill, located on Cedar Crest Road, is the #1 location in Dallas for ribeye, prime rib, and some of the juiciest hamburgers you'll ever eat. And if you haven't tried our bacon wrap kielbasa, then you don't know what you're missing. And kids' meals are half price on Tuesdays. Enjoy our Wednesday night tasting events or Thursday trivia and live music on Friday and Saturday night, with a delicious Sunday brunch to close out the week. Open till midnight on the weekends. Cedar Crest Grill on Cedar Crest Road. Relax. Let us make the food and serve the drinks.
Give up to a teammate and put it in the back of the net. Beautiful, beautiful. 1-2 play.
The Georgia Swarm is back in action at Gas South Arena, and Lyle Thompson is once again taking the lacrosse world by storm. To see how you can bring a family of 4 to a game for under $50, visit georgiaswarm.com/tickets.
Your new Academy Sports and Outdoor store is about to open in Conyers. Kickstart the fun with 3 days of activities and giveaways, plus exclusive deals throughout the store. Your next adventure begins in Conyers on Old Salem Road off Highway 138. Check out academy.com/Conyers for details.
This is Bruce Hagan, the People's Lawyer. I don't care if you have a PhD or didn't get out of high school. If you've been in a car wreck, the insurance company's going to do everything they can to take advantage of you. Let me help you balance that out. Hagan-law.com.
The latest news on demand. This is the Fan Sports Center.
Live from the new Academy in Conyers, I'm Dan Matthews. Braves Rangers weekend series getting started tonight in Texas. No Ronald Acuna Jr. in the lineup. Travis Demerit going to be in right leading off. As Guillermo Heredia getting the start out and left, hitting 7th. It's going to be Ian Anderson and Garrett Richards on the mound.
Good afternoon.
680 game day starts just after 6:05. This update is brought to you by Bruce Hagen.
Hey, this is Bruce Hagen, the People's Lawyer. If you get in a car wreck, you don't have to go through it alone. Call me and we will walk you through the entire process. Hagen-law.com.
More from baseball. Dodgers pitcher Trevor Bauer has received a 2-year suspension without pay for violating baseball's policy on sexual assault and domestic violence. Second and third round NFL draft tonight. Falcons have 4 picks. We are your home of the world champion Atlanta Braves. This is The Fan. You're also listening on the Fan app.
Class-leading luxury and legendary power. Yeah, there are worse ways to brave Atlanta traffic. This is RBM of Atlanta Traffic on The Fan.
Good afternoon. An overturned vehicle accident being reported on Interstate 285 southbound at Langford Parkway below the West Freeway towards that airport back door at Camp Creek Parkway. 2 right lanes blocked, really causing delays. Also in Roswell, an accident reported on Highway 92 at Mabry Road. And in DeKalb County, we got power lines down blocking Shallowford between Briarcliff and Interstate 85. This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Feast on the new White Hot Ranch Nacho Fries. It's marinated grilled steak loaded on golden, boldly seasoned fries, then topped with warm nacho cheese, sour cream, cheddar cheese, tomatoes, and the new White Hot Ranch sauce at a participating Taco Bell location near you for a limited time only. I'm Art Badman Mirring, 680 The Fan, RBM of Atlanta Traffic.
Chuck Oliver is in Las Vegas, Nevada, broadcasting live from the Chateau nightclub. And Chernoff, he ditched the show again.
All right, let's review what's going on at 1:15 in the morning. I can't win anything. I can't win in blackjack. I can't win in crap.
But he's somewhere in Vegas for the 2022 NFL Draft.
How lucky
Not far off. It's really not. Night 2 of the festivities tonight with the NFL Draft, 7 o'clock Eastern Time from the link here in Vegas. Falcons will be on the board at pick 43 and then 58. 2 more picks in the 3rd round as we continue live here from the Chateau nightclub high atop the Paris Hotel. Thanks again to these folks for extending their hospitality to us for a couple of days. It has been a perfect, and I mean absolutely perfect, trip and a couple of fun broadcasts. I hope you guys have enjoyed them. And you can still see more of it on the 680 The Fan YouTube channel or the 680 The Fan mobile app, which I'll remind you, you can stay connected to the latest news and your favorite fan shows on the Fan app. It's driven by Beaver Direct, the fastest and easiest way to shop online. For your next vehicle, visit beavertoyotaofcumming.com to see what wow really means. Download the Fan app now in the iTunes and Google Play Store. You can also, if you get home, you've been listening to the show, what do we do inside? Well, you can stay connected to your favorite shows through your favorite smart speaker. It's brought to you by the mortgage professionals at South Point Financial Services. Visit them at spfs.com. Listen to the Fan on Amazon Echo, Google Nest, Apple HomePod, and more. Just say, hey, Alexa, play 680 The Fan, and you can keep up. Front Office Los is coming up here in about 5 or 6 minutes to talk about all things round 1 of the draft, his thoughts on the Drake London pick, the value of it, what was still left on the board, and better yet, what are the best options in round 2 as we look forward to the Falcons, again, having a couple of opportunities to improve their club here tonight. But let's talk about the Falcons yesterday. I told you I was going to die on this hill, and I'm dead. I mean, it has nothing, again, to do with Drake London. I will say this till I'm blue in the face. I don't know that I've ever seen Drake London play a full game. I've seen highlights. And I can regurgitate what I've heard others say about him. And I'm a Falcon fan. I hope he comes in and kills it. I want him to be great. But I'm more talking about the roster-building process. And Terry Fontenot's 50 times smarter than me when it comes to this. He is. Which, Chuck, makes me wonder, what's his roster-building philosophy when back-to-back years you take 2 luxury items? These feel like 2 picks that teams make when, we're pretty salted away on offensive line. We feel pretty good about our defense, so we're going to take a couple of luxury items. I'm not comparing this wholly to the Falcons taking the chance on the Julio trade in 11, but they felt like they were in a very different place. And it was a big, bold swing of like we were in the playoffs in 8, we won in 9, we made the playoffs in 10, we need something, and we're going to go big with this big move. This is wide receiver, tight end guy who's a stud, and then followed it next year with big wide receiver again, neglecting you're not good on the O-line. You have the worst pass rush in the league. You're devoid of playmakers on defense, but now you have wide receiver, tight end guy, and then a wide receiver the next year. I don't know what the roster building plan is. It's not coming crystal clear to me.
It would not be an unusual number. I don't know. Marcus Mariota, if he starts 17 games, stays healthy.
He hasn't done that once in his career. That would shock me.
All right. But if he does, or whoever, they're going to have someone taking snaps. Falcons as a team may total 350 completed passes. All right, Kyle Pitts going to get his. Somebody's next in line, or somebody may catch actually more. Jalen Waddle caught 106 passes as a rookie. So somebody's going to catch these. So let's say that in the past 2 drafts at 4 and 8, they got 2 starters, 2 Pro Bowl players as rookies.
I hope so.
2 uber protected.
I hope so.
Kyle Pitts set a rookie receiving record.
I hope. Yes, keep going.
All right, so all of that's true. That means they hit those picks in as much as you could. It's a weird-looking approach.
It is for a couple of reasons. Let's talk about Drake for a second.
It's like you're furnishing the house when they're still framing out the walls.
Well, better yet, you don't have furniture in your living room, but you're building a pool. You don't have the bedroom furniture, but you're going to build on the deck. It's like these are luxury things. You get a pool as a luxury item. We did this one time on the show a couple of months back. I'm like, kitchens and bathrooms. So here's the Drake London part of this. For Drake to be really good, either as a rookie or just in general, and I
a starter.
I would say this. Don't be shocked if Drake struggles early. Typically, receivers struggle. And I know not as much as they once did, but that is part of this, so don't go crazy if he doesn't break out in the first 4 or 6 weeks. But for him to be really good, the Falcons have to, 1, find the long-term answer at quarterback. 2, fix the offensive line. 3, Arthur has to be better than he was, at least creatively in my mind, getting his playmakers, and I use that word, very loosely.
More receivers.
Last year wasn't a bunch of playmakers, but getting them the ball and having them do some things with it. And then the last part, London himself has to be good. That's a lot of stuff. Whereas Charles Cross, who came off the board at 9, I'm just using him as an example. Charles can affect a lot of stuff himself. He steps into the line for Seattle, and he's like, that guy across the way, he's not touching the quarterback. Yep. The guy behind me, I just opened up a hole for him. So if I can do those things, if Charles is that.
Yeah, Cam Jordan gets shut out today.
Yeah, man, my run game's better, and hopefully it helps my defense stay off the field. Like, he directly affects all that stuff. Not many wide receivers can directly affect much unless they have all that other stuff around them fixed. So there's still a long way to go for the Falcons to get the most out of the Drake London pick, which has nothing to do with him.
Weird also is the and I just had this thought last night. You said wouldn't surprise you at all. Now, I don't know this, and it's only a guess. Evan Neal, suddenly, and the Giants are on the clock. I'm like, wait a minute.
He's right there.
Yeah. Maybe they take a quarterback, man, huh? And then, of course, they take Evan Neal. In that the pick still wasn't an offensive tackle, I don't know if Evan Neal was there because that's a hell of a pivot. We loved Evan Neal so much that our second choice was a receiver.
The Giants.
Evan Neal was so much better. I don't believe that at all.
Did the Giants take Thibodeau and Neal? Is that their 2 picks? Wow, how different. Team that was like, years ago we were built.
The quarterback.
Right.
Hit the quarterback.
We were built on our defensive front, being able to be multiple in different ways and getting to quarterbacks. And now they're running out of the hourglass on Daniel Jones. I don't know if
they didn't pick up his 4th year.
I don't know
fifth year.
I don't know if we know if Daniel Jones can play or not because he's surrounded by a crazy situation. Yep. But the Giants are like, we're going to give it the best chance by getting him this guy to block for him, and then this guy on the other side to hit the other quarterback to get him the ball back.
Yeah, Saquon likes it, I bet.
Go back to the Falcons now. I'm going to play. I like what you said there. This works. Drake London he's Mike Williams. He's Mike Evans.
You got it right, man.
He's Calvin. He's Julio. Oh, my God. What a game changer. Your salary cap in 5 years is going to have 2 guys at the top of the sheet who catch the football.
If it were today and you would advance to the 4th, and then 4th year for him, 5th year for Kyle, you're looking at a combined 50, not 15, $50 million, 25% of your payroll on a tight end and a receiver.
2 pass catchers. Awesome. Now, you can make that work if you don't have a quarterback, but you won't have a quarterback and you won't be able to make the other part of it work. There are so many ways to get pass catchers in this league right now. You saw it again last night. The Philadelphia Eagles, who need receivers, they drafted one a year ago, so they're like, we could draft another one at 18 that's a maybe, or we can go get a definite in A.J. Brown, and all we have to do is pay A.J. Brown. They broke him off with a new 4-year, $100 million deal.
And if we might be right with Jalen Hurts, well, we'd be paying our receiver the quarterback money because we're paying our quarterback like cab driver money.
So what the Eagles did is a couple of things. They said, we're going to give Jalen more stuff. We have a year to find out, Jalen. There you go. You got Devonta Smith. You've got A.J. Brown. We've got you weapons. Show me what you can do for a year. But even if you're right, let's say it works, they're not going to have to pay Jalen Still for a while so they can afford. And this is where the Falcons are going to be in a year. If they get the quarterback right in the draft, or if somehow Marcus Mariota turns himself into a reclamation Ryan Tannehill, you can afford whatever you want on the wide receiver market in a trade or in free agency. You could overpay at 6 positions, but yet they spent capital in the draft on the 8th pick, knowing they're going to have all this money to spend in a year. I cannot. Terry's a lot smarter than me. He's done this long. I just can't understand it. I can't see the picture yet.
And if the 43rd or 41st or 35th pick is Matt Corral, Sam Howell,
Desmond Ridder, whomever.
Like with Jalen Hurts we were talking about, because they're paying him beans, look what they can do, which is not smart, and they'll tell you it's not smart. But they gave a 4-year, $100 million whatever. Like Jalen Hurts, do you think if they play Dallas, he walks out, because, the quarterback's always, for whatever reason, quarterbacks have to talk to each other. He walks across the field, Dak's like, hey, good game, young man. He's like, how much do you make again? $44 million a year, really? Because I was drafted 2 rounds ahead of you, and I make $2.1 million this year.
Well, then, if I was Dak, and I'm going to be honest with the young man, I'm going to say they just gave you reasons to go get you $44 million. They got your receiver.
I start in the NFL, and you make 20 times what I do.
You can't always work this out. It takes a little luck. The teams that have shown us when you get it right with a young quarterback, the salary cap is non-existent
That's
to you.
The window, man. That was the window in Seattle. That was
Kansas City.
Oh, yes.
I mean, that's been the way it is over and over again, which always would tell me I'm going to take the chance on the quarterback, and even if he's just pretty good. I know you and I disagree. Just pretty good. Not great, pretty good. I can overspend on a ton of stuff to make that pretty good work. I can make that pretty good because I can overspend on a tackle. I can overspend on a receiver. Like Jalen Hurts is a great example. I think Jalen Hurts at best is just okay. But you know what Philly's doing? We're going to try to give him everything we can to see if it works because we can afford it. And the Falcons are going the other way, that they're hoping that Drake London's a star, so we have to give him that much money in 4 years or 5 years. Same with Kyle. It's a little odd. All right, so enough ranting and raving from us on this. Let's get more on the first round, the Falcons, and the look ahead to round 2 with Front Office Lows.
He's the man that knows the cap, bonuses and all of that. He's the one that gets you good. Front office, so don't give a word. He's the guy who knows the law, can't put him against the wall. He's the guy with all the answers. Matt and Chuck are backup dancers. Front office knows it all.
All brought to you by Entry Point Doors and Windows. Let's change the windows in your home. You know you need to. You've gotten the letters from the HOA. Let's get this work done with Entry Point Doors and Windows. They've been doing this for over 20 years here in Atlanta. Just go over and sign up for the free estimate. EntryPointAtlanta.com. By the way, guys, we're over at Academy and Conyers for their grand opening, and I now have what I think is going to be the internet sensation of the weekend. They have one of those 360 cameras that you see when people are on recruiting visits.
Right.
And Adam Gillespie took one of them shirtless.
Why wouldn't
awesome.
It's beautiful. It looks amazing. I can't wait to share it with you.
Yeah.
It's got to stay on brand.
So let's start with the Falcons here, and I want to get your thoughts on the way the board played out, where you had Drake London. You probably watched a hell of a lot more tape on him than I have, so give me him, give me where they took him, and kind of how the board played around them.
This is what made me a little bit crazy because Drake London I have as my number 3 wide receiver. I felt like Garrett Wilson is a better player. I like Treylon Burks more than I like him, but he's a good player. He's deserving of a first-round pick and definitely was going to be right around in this range. The part that makes me crazy was that in the first 9 picks of the NFL draft, I had my top 8 players go off the board. So I felt really good about where it was. The one team that did not pick somebody that I had in my top 8, top 9, that was the Atlanta Falcons. And so I had Drake London at 17, but the rest of my top 8, Walker, Ekwonu, Hutchinson, Neal, Cross, Gardner, Thibodeau, and Stingley Jr. were all off the board by that time. So, again, my top guy on the board at the time was Charles Cross, and it's just staring at you. And they decided that they were going to go with the receiver. I'm not knocking the player. I, too, am knocking the decision because in this round, if we get to 43 and there are some good quality receivers on the board, I will tell you that there is not another starting capable plug-and-play right tackle, left tackle in this league right now at this part in the draft like there was when you were talking at number 8.
Maybe it is the case of, like, you could have a guy same height, weight, speed, everything. Well, we just like this guy. Maybe it's just Drake London, we think he's a better receiver. But do you believe, Carlos, that London being picked when Jameson Williams was still available, does that reveal that Terry and whomever else has input is about big players, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, or do you think that they were maybe backed off of who the best receiver in the draft was because of the injury, which really shouldn't be a concern because Jameson Williams is going to be running around at mini camps and OTAs and whatever else?
I think, Chuck, they have a profile, and what we're seeing is that they like the best available player that they have on their board and that they do reward size. And we've talked about that. If you're going to make a mistake with size. That is one of those deals where you talk about some teams that don't draft small corners, some teams that don't draft guys that have a shorter arm length or won't take left tackles that are not a certain size. Yeah, I think that what we're starting to see is that they have a profile.
Front office Los Carlos Medina is with us live out there at Academy Sports and Outdoors. He's with Chuck and Chernoff on the Hobson and Hobson Newsmaker line. So it sounds like the top 10 played out mostly the way you thought. Talk to me about, let's say, 10 through 20. Did anything surprise you about where a guy went or what a team jumped on in that range?
No, and that's the fun part. I was looking through so far with my top 50 board, and the only player that I have, there's only two that I have in the range from 10 to 20 that are left on the board. Everybody else left. If you want to even talk about how things finished with Kenny Pickett at 20, I had him ranked 25th. That's not a giant surprise. I didn't think that he was a first-round guy.
Can I ask you, Kenyon Green? You had Kenyon, because I mentioned taking guys out of the SEC, everything being equal, the other day, and I rattled off Texas A&M, and somebody said, who's the A&M player capable of a first-rounder? I said, I don't think Kenyon Green's a first-rounder, but somebody could. I really didn't think he'd be a top 15 player.
No, I looked. I had him and I had Zion Johnson both at 30 and 31. But we got to that point in the draft where we've now almost exhausted all the guaranteed first-round guys. Now it becomes eye of the beholder. What do you like? What kind of profiles for you? The only two guys that I have in my top 20 that are left, one's Nakobe Dean at 18, and the one that's obvious is David Ajabo, who I have at 14. I think that's going to be one of those redshirt years, and I would not have a problem, if we're being very honest about this thing, if the Falcons did that at 43 and sat him for a year, that's a top 15 player that you'd be getting.
Well, I'm with you. I would do the same thing. We're going to find out if the Falcons have any patience. Because the last 2 years, I think they took players who they think are going to get something right away, which maybe matters to them. And I'm not saying it shouldn't matter, but that would be a thing to think about with Ajabo. Los, the Malik Willis thing that played out where he doesn't get drafted last night. Matt Corral, Desmond Ridder, do we get a run early in the second round? Do teams trade up? What do you sense is going to happen with the quarterbacks?
I definitely believe so, because I think what we're going to see the last couple of capable pass rushers within the top 50. Ebiketie from Penn State. That's going to be one of those players I think that's going to go very early in this round. But when you want to just talk about rankings, I had Malik Willis over at 22. I have Sam Howell at 36. I have Matt Corral at 38. I would not be surprised if we had a bunch of these moves. Even a team like Seattle, who's holding, I think it's 39 and 40 right in front of the Falcons. I would be surprised if one of those picks is not quarterback, considering the work they put in on quarterback this offseason.
I know, a lot more fun to look ahead because the Falcons got 4 picks. 4 picks right now is what they have. But I want one more quick look at what happened yesterday. Quay Walker, I always was really intrigued with. I was like, man, if he just played more snaps. Well, he got to play more snaps last year. And he's 6'4" with really long arms. And to me, that's passing lanes. That's covering any tight end in the league. Tell me what you think about Quay Walker and the Packers deciding, hey, we're going to go to Athens.
A stud, and I think that's the challenge here. When you look at the film, it screams this guy is a top 50 player. I have him in my top 50 board. He was actually 40th overall on my board. Them getting him in the 20s, I was like, fine. When you just look at how clean he is as far as the size and the speed, I can see where they looked at it and said, you know what, Nakobe Dean's got a couple things that we're not so crazy about. This guy kind of profiles a little bit more, and he's a bigger version than you would have gotten had you gone with a Devin Lloyd, who, oh, by the way, that's an older player too at 24, soon to be 25. So they went with a younger, faster, bigger athlete.
Los, let's peek a little bit ahead to round 2. As Chuck said, they'll, on the board anyway, right now, pick at 43 and 58 in round 2. They have 74 and 82. I might be surprised if they take all 4. I think they're going to package something to try to move up. And to your point, the question becomes, is that a quarterback or one of those pass rushers? You mentioned the Penn State kid. There's a kid from Minnesota. There are 3 or 4 pass rushers left, but I think they're going to be snapped up at the top of the second round. Could the Falcons move for one of those 2 positions?
Definitely. The extra third round is a big-time help. If you want to talk about, what did we get out of the Matt Ryan deal? You might have gotten your future pass rusher. Because overwhelmingly, the pass rushers come out of the top 50. You're not going to find a whole lot of third-round, fourth-round guys that are, 8, 10 sack players. It's just very rare to get that in this league. So if you want to just take a look at a couple guys, like I said, Arnold Ebiketie is one of the guys from Penn State. You also have Logan Hall, who's a big defensive end over with Houston. Those are the first couple that I would say right off the top of my head that you can go with. And also, by the way, another player who's really intriguing that's going to be in this round, I like Christian Harris as a linebacker, and I like him as a linebacker who also can time out blitzes. The younger guy, the guy from Alabama, he's a lot of fun to watch. I think he's going to go off pretty early in this round, too.
And then, of course, as you mentioned, David Ojabo is one to watch. Do we see one of the two running backs that everybody's pointed to, Breece Hall or Kenny Walker, come off somewhere in the middle of the second round?
Yeah, I think that they are going to be off by the second round because they're the two that profile as far as they're not just big guys. They both ran sub 4.4. They're fast for being this big, and so but the entire running group back group is fast. A guy, when we talk about James Cook, he ran 4.44, and that was like, okay, that's really good speed. There are faster, bigger dudes in this draft, so that's something to look for. I think when it comes to the end of this third round, if you're looking to land some Georgia players, you're going to have an opportunity to do about 5 more. My prediction's been there'll be 10. I think there'll be 10 by the end of tonight.
So I want to ask you about a couple of Georgia players here. First of all, you mentioned James Cook. Is that somebody, if the Falcons were just to keep their powder dry at 74-82, is that value make sense in one of those?
Absolutely. I would love to see him and somebody make that move in the third round. This is a player that if you want to just talk about infusing another weapon, a really unique weapon into your backfield, yeah, you can hand him the ball off. But all the different things, all the crazy stuff you can do with a guy out of the backfield, I think that's one of those players out there that somebody's going to get cute, but they got to have a plan for him. If you have a plan, you can use him. He can make some plays.
I love Channing Tindall. I just don't know the projections on Channing. I just think because he can run. Everybody loves guys in the NFL that can run. Like, I think you do a lot of stuff with Tindall. Where does he profile? And is that a late second? Is that a Falcon could be in the third kind of a look?
I don't think he's going to get out of the third. And here's the big reason why. Most of the time, and it's a little bit different because this draft is really fast. Most of the time, by the time you get to the fourth round, there's some sort of wart to you. There's something where it's a lack of playing time or not as much size, or a lot of times it's not as much speed. Tindall has all those things. So I think there will be somebody out there that goes, we can wait and we'll take a slower, smaller guy, or we can take Tindall and see what happens with him. I think he gets in the third round.
Pickens, middle of the second, top of the second. Like, again, the projections with the catch radius and the size and all that stuff, like, will somebody jump on him early?
I think so. I think when we saw the run on receivers, it really got rolling. Obviously, the Falcons did what they did at 8, but 10 was really the number that I thought where it was going to start with the Jets and Garrett Wilson, and then it took off basically from there. I think you're going to see another one of those quick runs because in this round, there's a lot of good players into the third and fourth round, but the Sky Moore, the George Pickens, the Jalen Tolberts, that's the second round guys. And so if you don't get one in this round, then you're going to go down a little bit, and you're going to get some guys that are still good, but there's a little bit more to their game that you have to be aware of. Like Christian Watson, he has a little bit of trouble with his hands. Fast, huge, got a little bit of trouble with his hands.
As we wrap up, were you as either amused or surprised at the Patriots picking Cole Strange out of UT Chattanooga, Sean McVay, and Les Snead?
Put it this way. And this is the funniest way and most honest way I can do this. So Chuck and I have been talking about Tyler Smith recently, and that's a player that I had looked at because it was a possible for my top 50. I never even thought about looking at the player that they picked. That's when it surprised you and you go, uh-oh. Like every now and then there's one out there where you went, I looked at about 75 players, didn't look at him. I thought it was funny when Sean McVay basically goes, yeah, we thought we could get him at 104.
I love the reaction. It was super enjoyable. All right, Lo, stick around. We got a lot more from Carlos coming up. I would tell you he's a perfect follow for the next couple of days on Twitter, too, with updates on his boards and just great analysis on all the stuff in the draft. Front Office Los, our draft insider, our guru, giving us all the great stuff there. All right, coming up next, one NFL coach and his boss just laughed at Bill Belichick for the world to hear. You'll hear what they were laughing at. You might get a good laugh out of it next.
The biggest names in sports are always on the Hobson and Hobson Newsmaker line.
From TNT's Inside the NBA, he's a Hall of Famer. He is Charles Barkley with us on the Hobson and Hobson Newsmaker line. If you're Trae Young, what's going through your head right now?
I got to get better as a player. I got to stop taking so many bad shots. Because with all those athletes, they should not be last in the league in fast break points. So that's the first thing I say to him, man, you got to push the ball. We should get some lives with those guys.
The Hobson and Hobson Newsmaker Line, brought to you by Hobson and Hobson Divorce and Custody Firm. Are you brave enough to take the first step? Visit areyoubravenough.com to schedule a consultation.
Every mom is precious. Motherhood is hard work from the second it starts, and for all the joy, there's just as much selflessness and sacrifice. Those things that mom always did that we didn't quite appreciate until we grew up ourselves. Hi, I'm Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, where we've been helping our friends and neighbors around Atlanta celebrate special moments like Mother's Day since 1939. If becoming a parent has taught me anything, it's that while motherhood is truly beautiful, it's sometimes a bit thankless. Mother's Day is the one time every year that we're reminded to tell mom thank you. To me, there's no better symbol than diamonds set in gold. Gold is warm, precious, soft but durable, and diamonds represent her beauty and strength. That's how we put together the D. Geller & Son gift guide this Mother's Day. Come visit us in Atlanta, Kennesaw, or Sandy Springs. Tell us what makes the mom in your life so special, and let us help you find the perfect way to tell her. Shop ahead at dgeller.com.
I'm Tank Spencer of thesportsocracy.com, and it's time for another Mullet's Money Making Minute presented by Ingles Supermarkets with one of the favorites gone in the pro basketball playoffs. What's the update on the odds, Flostradamus?
Thanks to the gift that keeps on giving in Brooklyn, I'm going to show you a way to not just win once, but win twice. I told you Brooklyn was the overrated narrative of the basketball playoffs. Now, Boston, the team that beat them, is the new overrated narrative. At plus 350 to win the title, Boston is pushing down the actual contenders because of the public narrative. First, Phoenix is plus 450. I understand they're hurt. All they have to do, survive the series, advance. They're still the best team with the third best odds. Next, Milwaukee, the reigning champions, are down to plus 650, which is astronomical to me. They would still be my favorites to take home the title, and at this number, it's a no-doubter. Finally, Philadelphia is a great dart throw at plus 1,200. Love the savings with Ingles. Love the winnings with me. Mullet out.
Do you have joint pain in your knees or hips or shoulder or back? Pro football legend Emmitt Smith knows how disruptive it is.
How can you focus? How can you be at your optimal best when your body's under attack by pain?
That's why Emmitt's such a proponent of QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is here with regenerative options using natural biologics, non-surgical alternatives that offer lasting relief for pain in your knees, hips, lower back, and shoulders.
This natural biological treatment gives them the chance to get back in the game and to have a normal life.
QC Kinetics treatments laser focus on areas of intense pain, allowing your body to heal itself with no drugs, so you can focus on normal life.
Walking up the stairs without pain, getting on your bicycle without pain, running again, playing with the kids.
Your consultation is absolutely free.
Call QC Kinetics, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. QC Kinetics, 770-285-8026.
This is James Haug with Haug Barron Law Group. You know us from chopping on 680 The Fan, and you can't spell Haug without UGA. Both of these teams are proven champions on the field. We are your champions in the courtroom. Many firms back down against big insurance companies. We are ready for them, and they know that. Read about our multi-million-dollar settlements and million-dollar verdict at championshiplaw.com. When you need a champion to fight for your best interest after an injury, visit championshiplaw.com. Win your case with championshiplaw.com.
April is Roundup for Children's Healthcare of Atlanta month at your local Ace Hardware. Help your neighborhood Ace support the great work our local hospitals do for the children of Atlanta. That 15 or 30 cent donation turns into hundreds of thousands of dollars for children's healthcare. Help us help them every time you check out at your local Ace Hardware.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Here's a cheers to golf. Returning to Metro Atlanta May 2nd through the 8th, the Mitsubishi Electric Classic proudly stands as a premier golf tournament on the PGA Tour Champions. Enjoy local craft brews and eateries, scenic views of the par 3 11th hole, and an exciting atmosphere at the Perch presented by Access Companies. Join the party at TPC Sugarloaf in Duluth, Georgia. Tickets now available at MitsubishiElectricClassic.com/tickets.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. That looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
For over 150 years, CIBC has helped people go from where they are to wherever they want to be. Commercial banking, capital markets, private wealth. CIBC. Ambitions made real. CIBC Bank USA, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
What's your car worth? Find out now at JimEllisBuysCars.com, the safe and hassle-free way to sell your car. Plus, Jim Ellis will beat any CarMax purchase offer by $500. Sell Jim Ellis your car today. Fast, easy, fair. JimEllisBuysCars.com.
Are you ready to get hop-noxious? Come on down to Stillfire Brewing in Swanee on May 7th for our first annual Hop-Noxious Block Party. We're breaking out all the stops in honor of our Hop-Noxious Double IPA release with live music all day, a must-see laser light show from Interstellar Echoes, food trucks, beer tents, local vendors, and so much more. Trust us, this is one event and one delicious double IPA release you do not want to miss. Head over to bigtickets.com and use promo code HOP, H-O-P, to snag 20% off your tickets now.
The latest news on demand. This is the Fan Sports Center.
Live from the new academy in Conyers, I'm Dan Matthews. Braves, Rangers starting up weekend series out in Texas. No Ronald Acuna Jr. in the lineup tonight. It's going to be Ian Anderson against Garrett Richards. 680 game day going to start at 6:05. This update is brought to you by Georgia Natural Gas. Join thousands of other Georgians in GNG's Greener Life program today, and together we can reach the goal of offsetting more than 100 million pounds of carbon by the end of the month. Sign up today at gng.com/green. Second and third round of the NFL draft tonight out in Las Vegas. Falcons have 2 picks in the second round, 2 in the third. The league-leading rugby ATL looking for revenge when they take on LA tomorrow, 3 o'clock over at Silverbacks Park. It's a rematch of last year's MLR championship. We are your home of the world champion Atlanta Braves. This is The Fan, and you're also listening on the Fan app.
Traffic sounds a little better when it sounds like this. This is RBM of Atlanta Traffic on The Fan.
Good afternoon. We've got a report of an overturned vehicle accident, Windsor Street at I-20. Reportedly, the vehicle came off the I-20 overpass and hit the road below. Also, watch out Mableton Parkway northbound near Donjan Road in Cobb County and in DeKalb County, down power lines on Shelliford between Briarcliff and 85. This report is sponsored by the Georgia Lottery. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $43 million. Select the multi-draw feature and stay in the game for the next 26 jackpot drawings. And when you visit your favorite Georgia Lottery retailer, do not forget to practice social distancing. I'm Art Madman Merring, 680 The Fan, RBM of Atlanta Traffic.
The Braves only play here.
Watch it sail out of the ballpark.
WCNN, North Atlanta, Dickey Broadcasting Station.
And the proud flagship station for Atlanta Braves baseball.
This is unbelievable.
The Fan 680 and 93.7 FM.
Edibles.
It's legal.
Egos.
I am a wealthy man.
And escorts.
One hooker for $6, or there's 6 $1 hookers.
Chuck and Chernoff live on the Vegas Strip.
Vegas!
For the 2022 NFL Draft.
All that could be true, or none of it could be true. You just never know. Day 2 of the NFL Draft, round 2 and 3 tonight from the Link here in Vegas, which is right around the corner from where we are, high atop the Paris Hotel at Chateau Nightclub, hanging out until Braves baseball. Domino and McAlpin will get you set for all the action tonight of the Braves and the Rangers. We'll walk you through 680 game day because we're Warriors. Put in the extra work. That's how we roll. And you can watch the rest of the broadcast here on YouTube, 680 The Fan's YouTube channel, or on the 680 The Fan mobile app to see this beautiful background. The NFL Draft Theater, where the red carpet happens, still up and running above the Bellagio fountains right there in the beautiful setting on Las Vegas Boulevard, so you can see all that fun where you are. Now, I thought one of the more fun moments of the night last night came from a team who didn't make a draft pick. We had 10 teams who did not draft. One of them is the reigning world champion, Los Angeles Rams. And I would say right now, Sean McVay is living his best life. He looks like he does. He gets paid what he does. He's a Super Bowl champion.
McVay.
And they did it a different way, right? We've talked about this. They didn't do it the old, built through the draft, 3-4 years, get good, win in the playoffs, lose, then win. They just made all these big swings.
Give you this for Matt Stafford. Give you this for Jalen Ramsey.
Big swing.
Give you this for Von Miller.
Big swing. Big swing. So last night was a pretty quiet night in the war room for the Rams. And I don't know why then Sean McVay and Les Snead were going to address the media. But as they're talking to the media, the draft is on. And the surprise of the first round came when the Patriots picked Cole Strange, who's a kid out of UT Chattanooga, an offensive lineman. I know we were surprised. Listen to McVay and Les Snead, they were equally as surprised.
Really? Oh, my UT Chattanooga to the first round. Hey, where is...
How about that? And we wasted our time watching him thinking he'd be at 104 maybe.
You can't say that.
So good. Now, it sounds like they were having a couple of pops in the war room.
Yeah,
No, you can't say that. You know why? Because you look like him. You're a world champion. Bill Belichick, you know what you could do, old man? Step off, because I'm the new guy around here. We wasted our time evaluating him at 104. Bill just took him at 28. That was priceless. That was so good. And you think Sean McVay gives any Fs right now?
No.
Like, he doesn't give, he gives 0 Fs right now.
I don't know.
He wouldn't have said that if he cared. That was a funny shot, but that was a shot at Belichick in the. Man, we were scouting.
Well, also for the kid though, who's an All-American. I mean,
I'll tell you this: they don't have a first or a second, so they're like, we're evaluating later. Good for the kid. He got picked that high, and he might be a star. I have no idea, but I just thought that was such a piece of honesty in the mix of maybe a couple of mixed drinks from Sean McVay and Les Snead.
Sounded like it was a very casual environment there.
What do you
from the audio? Yeah.
And here's the other thing: it's not like they could trade into the first round. They don't have anything. They don't have a first round pick till 2048. So they're like, we're gonna hang out, watch the draft. You guys want to go talk to the media in the middle? In the middle of the round, they went out and addressed
like
the media.
The first time, the manager had the headset in the dugout, like during the third inning. I thought it was cool.
It's a little different. Then there's always the wardrobe stuff that's thoroughly entertaining. Jordan Davis had a great moment when he had that red across the suit.
The green stripes on it. Was that Kenyon green?
Yes.
The white suit with the green stripes on
Then
it?
there was somebody had a yellow going. There was a bunch of stuff. But how about the video of Jordan hopping down through the crowd?
Wow.
Eagles fan gives him a big hug, and he's kind of jumping up and down with him. That's the biggest human being you'll ever see, and he's like giddy school kid. Oh, my God, my dream just came true.
13th, man.
I want you to think about that, because we always do this in the prism of our team got better, we took this kid. Do you know how many dreams came true last night? Like lifelong, mom and dad, kid worked that hard.
Oh, with him and his mom, that's for sure.
You get a scholarship, which is shortlist. You thrive in college, shortlist. And then you get picked in the NFL. I don't care if you were 1 last night like Trayvon or 32 like Lewis Seen. I can't even relate. If you're the mom and dad seeing it through that kid's eyes, but if you just saw that pure exhilaration from Jordan Davis last night, he's like, this is the coolest thing ever. I just got picked 13th in the NFL draft, hopping up and down, jumping in the crowd with an Eagles fan. That's pretty good. And I know we don't spend enough time on those type of.
This came back to do something like that.
I love that stuff for any of those guys. Hearing your name called becomes the lifelong dream come true, and a lot more kids will have that happen tonight here in round 2. I will remind you the Falcons will pick number 43, number 58 if they keep their picks. Same in round 3 with number 72 and 84. It's like such a big night. Man, let's say they trade one of the picks and they make 3. You have little margin. You got to find 3 starters tonight. Whether that's O-line, linebacker, wide receiver, running back, quarterback, you need 3 starters.
Though. I mean, even like Foye, who I always thought, and I think this is fair, he was always more productive.
Oh, I like Foye. No, I think Foye is really good.
That's what I'm saying. He's really productive. He wasn't $15 million a year productive, I don't think.
Well, he capitalized on the money that we're getting in free agency.
You got to replace him now.
But again, Foye was punching out fumbles. Like, he was a playmaking guy.
There's a lot of snaps available.
He was a good player.
So you say you got to get 3 starters.
You do.
It's there.
Now, in Foye's case, was he a 6th or a 7th? Remember, out of Yale, he was like a 7th round pick. You'll worry about that on day 3, but some opportunities tonight for the Falcons. So a lot more on the draft as we look forward to being back in Atlanta on Monday. A lot to look forward for the Braves as they begin this road trip in Texas, which leads us right now to 680 Game Day.
Braves baseball is coming your way, and we've got everything you need to know before the game on 680 Game Day.
0-2 to Dansby. Hit in the air to deep right field. This one's heading back towards the wall. This ball is gone! A tie game!
We're walking you right up to today's broadcast, only on the home of the Braves, The Fan. Now live from the Battery Atlanta at Truist Park, it's 680 Game Day.
Well, kind of. Chuck and Chernoff still in Vegas as we put our 680 game day hats on to get ready for the Braves and the Rangers. Game 1 of a 3-game series tonight from that beautiful ballpark in Texas. Ian Anderson gets the ball for the Braves. Garrett Richards for the Texas Rangers. The Braves have won a series, but won in the win column last night against the Cubs. Took 2 out of 3 from Chicago. They'll try to carry that momentum into this series against a young, rebuilding, but a team that's spending with the Texas Rangers.
Can I ask you a question real quick before we start proper?
Yeah, sure.
Are we still on TV, or can I do like Al Bundy and get a little comfortable?
No, we're on YouTube.
Are we still on YouTube?
Do you want to adjust things and shift?
Can I get to Al Bundy status anyway?
Do you want me to take you off YouTube?
How about
Yeah,
this?
probably.
Do this. Step out of the shot right there. Well, not that close to me.
No, I want some relaxation.
All
or
right.
something.
You're off YouTube. You're fine.
All right. Oh.
What if the YouTube? Oh, well, how disappointing for YouTube. All right. Anywho, the Braves, again, as I said, will send Ian Anderson to the Hill. Coming up tonight, we welcome in Chris Domino back at the Battery Atlanta to join us right now. Hello, Mr. Domino.
Hello, gentlemen.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Doing very well.
Good.
Little day 2 night of the draft to look forward to.
What does that really mean? Will you be watching the draft or not? Be honest.
Oh, yeah, no. We'll be over there right in the heart of the action,
lying.
Domino.